Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for yet another match of the KFC Big Bash. We're up to match 13 out of all 61 that we are going to be covering on the channel. If you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. This matchup, it is a rematch of a game that we did see just a little bit earlier on in the season. The Melbourne Stars, they will be taking on the Sydney Sixers. Now, this was actually the first ever game that we got to see of the BBL 11 competition, and it didn't quite go the way that the Melbourne Stars would have been after. They did get bowled out for only the 61 runs compared to the Sydney Sixers, who were able to set themselves a brand new total, an all-time high score as well for a first innings chase, and also just first innings in general. The Sydney Sixers were able to get themselves around that 214 mark. They've got a very talented side here, including that man, Josh Philippe, who at the moment is always scoring a lot of runs. 350 so far in BBL 10, 5 in BBL 9, and then in BBL 8, he was able to get himself the 2 as well. So he will be open to bring up another one. He already did in the first match up against the Melbourne Stars, but I hope you guys are all doing well. We have got there in the chat the two Aussies. Also, we have got there Ali and also Paddy Wagon. Welcome in, everyone. Hope you are all doing well. Hope you are all excited for yet another match of the KFC Big Bash. After that match that we did see yesterday, we do know that it is the Perth Scorchers who are sitting top of the bunch at the moment for the table. They are sitting there at the bunch, or the top of the bunch, I should say, sitting on the 10 points there. But they haven't actually received too many of the Bash boost points. They will be after a little bit more in their coming games. Someone who has been receiving a lot of them, though, the Hobart Hurricanes. In every one of their games, they have received the Bash boost point. Same with the Strikers, which is why those two sides are sitting just a little bit higher than a couple of the opposition who have also lost the 2 games so far. But the Stars and the Sixers, they are both sitting on 7 points. Whoever wins this game, theoretically, if they receive that Bash boost point as well, they will be going to the top of the table. And it is going to continue to rotate in the coming days, although not in the near future, because we have got the Ashes coming just around the corner. The schedule is well and truly in full effect for the Ashes. The day-night test match at the Adelaide Oval is going to be starting tomorrow, and we will be covering some of that match on the channel as well. As you can see, 5 p.m. New Zealand time is when that one is going to be starting. Then we've got the Boxing Day test, followed by the one that has taken place in early January, and then one more to close it out. Says to be determined for the time. That is whether or not it is going to be a day-nighter or whether it will just be during the day. I believe it will be during the day, and the reason behind that is because it is going to be at Hobart Hurricanes' home ground at Blundstone Arena. We have got Hey Sebastian as well, says and also the George emojis in there as well. Hello, Aim and all. Thanks for coming in. Well, that's coming in. Smash that like button and sub. We all know how to do it as well. And also, hey, Hamish, Ali, and Paddy as well. Hello, folks. Hope you're well. And I will mention there is a new channel emoji for you guys who are channel members. You can now access that 6 emoji that is there for the chat. So be sure to use that one. It was actually made by Mr. Sebastian himself. We're going to put him up on the screen for a little bit. He decided to make a nice 6 emoji. So be sure to use it whenever we have big shots into this game, which is certainly going to be probably in the first innings and just alongside at the second innings as well, because we've got the Melbourne Stars. They are going to be batting first. The Sydney Sixers, they won the toss. They decided that they do want to have a bowl for this picture. Namish, you still think Sydney to win as well, says Aiden. Are you putting money on it, Aiden? I will ask that question first. At the moment, the Melbourne Stars have a 53% chance of winning this game, and it is massive how quickly the odds can change in this competition, because we did see in that first game, like I mentioned, the Sydney Sixers, they were able to win that game by about 150 runs or somewhere around there. Yet they are the underdogs in this game. Hello, everyone, as well, says Ali Hills there. But anyone who is wondering where the Sydney Sixers are going after this game, we have got a few days off for the Ashes. Then their next game is going to be next week on Tuesday, and that will be up against the Adelaide Strikers. Then they've got the Sydney Showdown. That's taking place on Boxing Day, and it is going to be the Sydney Thunder having a battle and a half up against the Sydney Sixers, the two Sydney sides going at it. Then it is the Brisbane Heat, Melbourne Renegades as the next 2 games for the Sydney Sixers as well. Then for the Melbourne Stars at the moment, they are sitting pretty decently on the table for how they have been going for the early stages. They've fought back well after getting bowled out for only that 61. They have got the Hobart Hurricanes, then the Brisbane Heat. That's just going to be a bash fest, that one on December 27th. And then they've got the Scorchers, which will also be a hard-hitting affair, followed by the Stars taking on the Scorchers once again, kind of back-to-back games, only about 3 days apart as well for those two there. I've got there. I put $4 on them. I'm just curious, Amish, as well. Says Aiden, I think I'm still back in the Sydney Sixers in this game. Will be a tough one for them, that is for sure. But I feel like the Melbourne Stars, with them batting first, they're going to set that total around that 180 at the MCG. But the Sydney Sixers, they have got the talent to be able to chase it down. Although saying that, the wins that the Sydney Sixers have been able to get so far, they have been setting the total for that 215. They did come up short in their last game up against the Hobart Hurricanes, and I tried the 6 emojis and it not work as well. Says a Paddy Wagon there. That is interesting. And also, we have got the apologies, people. The emoji didn't come out as big as it was supposed to. It broke my spirit. I had numerous attempts as well, says Sebastian. Yeah, hopefully. So is it not working at the moment? And also, why no BBL matches scheduled for 3 days? It is because we have got the day-night test taking place at Adelaide Oval. And the reasoning behind not having the test matches at nighttime, I believe, is so that they can kind of keep people watching the Ashes series rather than going over to the BBL for the later sessions of the day, because there should be some very good action, I will say, for that one as well. I'm just going to see whether or not that emoji works for myself. Anyone who hasn't already, sure to leave a like on this live stream as well. We have got the emoji from Sebastian there in the chat as well for the Sixers. So be sure to use that one when we do get to see plenty of Sixers. But the Australia starting 11 for the Adelaide Test match, it is going to be Marcus Harris opening the batting. Also David Warner. Marnus Labuschagne is going to be there as well. Steve Smith, very classy at number 4 and very solid for their innings. Travis Head, last week he had an absolutely phenomenal session for the Aussies, and he was able to bring himself up a very quick 100 right there and then Cameron Green still there for in the midfield of the Australian batting lineup. Alex Carey going to be behind the stumps. Adelaide strikers will be wishing he would come back for just a little bit. Pat Cummins, Mitchell Starc, Jai Richardson for the Perth Scorchers going to get the opportunity, and then Nathan Lyon will be the man who will be slotting in as the kind of, I guess you could say, the last ditch effort in that batting lineup for the Melbourne. I almost said the Melbourne, but for the Australians in the Boxing Day Test match that is coming up very soon. Although it's not quite Boxing Day, we've still got one more. It is the day-nighter as well. It not worked for me as well, says Betty Wagon. Or it might have been, depending on how long you've been on this live stream, maybe it could be because you were on the live stream before we updated the emoji. So if you cancel off the live stream, come back in, it should then work for your Paddy Wagon. But you guys have been here for a little while. I do see that you guys were chatting at about, it was 8:44 or so. So it might have been the case of it was after that we did update it to the new one. We have got the High Amish as well. Says Cricket Lovers, welcome in. If Steve Smith comes in, please tell him to go to sleep. He's got a long night tomorrow as well. Says Aiden, of course, shares the name with a very famous Australian cricketer, Steve Smith. And also, there we go as well. Says Patty Wagon with the Sixers there and the emojis. But do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who do you think's going to win this match? It is going to be the Melbourne Stars. They will be batting first. Marcus Stoinis at the top of the order alongside Joe Clark, Nick Larkin, Glenn Maxwell, Hilton Cartwright, Bo Webster, Andre Russell. He's been making an impact since making his way out there. Nathan Courtenay, also Case Ahmed, very talented bowler there. And then Adam Zampa, Brody Couch, and then the two X-Factor players that they have got up their sleeve. It is Hinchcliffe and also Rainbird, who they will be able to use at some stage if they do decide that they do want to. I was here like 50 minutes before. Yeah, you guys were early today. I did see slotting in nice and early for that one. 666 is the Satans in a circle. Yeah, the boys as well, says that Johnny Blaze there in the chat. Welcome in to the live stream, mate. So we've got 3 sixes in a row from Sebastian and also 3 sixes in a row from Paddy Wagon. And also we've got that Robert Boss. Are you there? As well, says Cricket Lovers. I think we might be a little bit too early for Robert to be slotting in just right now, but we have certainly got plenty of action that will be coming up for this matchup, which is why, ladies and gentlemen, we have once again got a beverage. We've got the water that does become see-through, which is a lot of fun. Hydration, good for you. Be sure to grab yourselves a drink as well, because I know that I am going to be chatting big time, but you guys hopefully will be cheering for your team in this matchup. Let me know what you would add or remove to improve the emojis as well, says Sebastian there. That is for the 6 emoji that he has just put in, and the reasoning behind that is, unfortunately, the 6 comes up a little bit small. We were discussing this beforehand for me and Sebastian, but he was the one who did make that emoji, so fair play to him as well. I'm giving him a little clap, even though you probably can't hear my hands clapping and you probably can't quite see them either. But the Melbourne Stars, they are the team that will be batting first in this one. Sydney Sixers, they won the toss and they were like, you know what, we're going to have a bowl here rather than sending the massive total like we did last time. But this last game, they did play at the SCG. Josh Philippe and also it was Moses Enriquez, both able to fire on all cylinders for that matchup. And Kiwi lads, bro, what do you think? Run total as well. I would say for the Sydney Sixers here, it's a good question for what they would feel comfortable chasing. I feel like anything under 160 they would well and truly be happy with. But the Melbourne Stars, if even just one of Stoinis or Maxwell fire, it's going to be tough for them. That's the thing. People don't even mention the names such as Nick Larkin, Hilton Cartwright can hit a long ball, Andre Russell down the order if they need him. He's going to be there and he's going to be smacking the ball all over the place. Just curious, if you are sponsored by KFC, do you get free KFC whenever you want as well? Says Aiden, I am not sponsored by KFC. If I was, then George would be my best friend in the whole wide world. He would be over every single day and he'd be like, oh, mate, We're going KFC. We're going KFC today. But unfortunately, yeah, we're not sponsored by KFC as of yet. Who knows, maybe one day. Mate, I was just playing some PS5. What game were you playing, James? Do let me know. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are going to be back for all of the KFC Big Bash matches that are coming up in the future, and also the Ashes tomorrow. We are going to be covering a little bit of it as well, although Johnny's comment comforts me. But I saw, or he saw straight away that it is a 6 as well, says Sebastian there. And also we have got the, I assume that's concerns you a little bit for Johnny's son. And also, thanks so much, bro. And I give you my live stream today. Someone wants Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville with you again. It was Sam as well there. Says that Brandon, although unfortunately I still haven't quite got it all downloaded for the new Xbox because they don't really give you too much space as well. I was playing Watch Dogs 2 as well. Good game. Watch Dogs. I know that it's a mixed review game. Same with Just Cause. How some people love it, some people hate it, but I don't mind it. It's a decent game. I like how I said that some people love it, some people hate it, and then I went straight in the middle, which is kind of like neither of the options there, but they are just showing here for the KFC Big Bash. It is going to be very exciting to see how it does go in this matchup. Last time we saw these two sides play, it was very one-sided in favour of the Sydney Sixers, but that's the thing. Their net run rate is sitting at 2.1 at the moment. At that stage, after the first game, they were sitting at a 7.6, I believe it was, for the net run rate, which is absolutely phenomenal for them, that is for sure. But the Perth Scorchers at the moment are top of the bunch. They have won every single game that they have played so far, the only side to be able to do so. Now, also, 2 games that are coming up. We have got a couple of days off due to the Ashes, but then after that, these are the next fixtures of the BBL that are going to be taking place. They are going to be in 4 days, 15 hours time. Who knows, by then, maybe the Ashes will already be summed up, but it is going to be the Heat taking on the Thunder at 9:40, and then it will be the Scorchers taking on the Hurricanes. That is going to be on the 20th of December as we move closer and closer towards getting to the Christmassy festive time of the year, which we are already well and truly in. Epic Sport joined today as well, says Brandon there. Also meant the cricketers, if they are sponsored by KFC, the Big Bash, doesn't mean they can get KFC whenever they want. I'd like to think so. Surely you get some sort of perks for being out there wearing the KFC kind of badge on your arm. It's our Watch Dogs. It's a great game, all 3 of them as well. Says Sebastian there, but at the moment, Moses Enriquez, he has got himself the golden cap for the Sydney Sixers, and also from everyone in the competition, he is the man who has been leading the charge in terms of the run scored. Josh Philippe, he will be wanting to take that back after this game, perhaps, but we do see then actually Ben DeWarsha, is going to be in that starting lineup for the Sydney Sixers, which is great to see. We haven't actually seen him play as of yet this season. He's got a big smile on his face. He's got that massive mustache that we know him for, and he can take plenty of wickets. Also, Lloyd Pope, I do see, is in there. The leg spinner. I believe his nickname, I don't know whether or not it is, but I heard someone call him the Ginger Ninja, and I'm going to go with that, but I'm probably not going to call him that too many times, because if it's not his nickname, then that sounds really bad. But they've also got Jordan Silk there as well. We have also got the said Kiwi lads need to watch Rugby Sevens podcast as well. Says up Brandon there, and also 222 is the highest score at the MCG and the BBL as well, says Robert. So who was able to set that? Was that the Melbourne Stars when Stoinis went absolutely berserk and got himself like 140 something runs? Robert, I think that was last season, wasn't it? But James Vince, Josh Philippe, Moses Enriquez, Daniel Hughes, Jordan Silk, Dan Christian, Tom Curran, Chris John, the 2 Englishmen still in the starting lineup. DeWarsha, Stephen O'Keefe, and also Lloyd Pope are going to be the starting lineup with Jack Edwards, the big tall man, and also Hayden Kerr as the 2 X-Factor players that they will be able to bring in then for the Melbourne Stars. Their batting lineup, about as deep as they want to go, is about that 7 mark with Andre Russell. But before him, Bo Webster, Hilton Cartwright, Glenn Maxwell at 4, Nick Larkin, Joe Clark opening. He hasn't really fired too far this season so far, but he will be open to in this matchup. And then it is also the big man Marcus Stoinis who will be opening the batting for the Melbourne Stars, and he will be getting a chance extremely early on as the Melbourne Stars now are making their way out onto the field. Like I mentioned, Stoinis is there. Aaron Finch is still there on commentary. Unfortunately for him, the knee injury is still playing up a little bit for him, so not back for the Renegades as of yet, but maybe after the Ashes, we do get to see that man get an opportunity. Question time coming back now as well. Says Brandon there, and also we have got there, I was in the hood on Watch Dogs too, and there was a lot of gang fights as well, so I was just running around watching them shoot. Then the cops came, and it got way more violent as well. Says it was James Gordon there, and also we have got the high boss as well, Robert. And the chat says cricket lovers, but now it is going to be Joe Clark, like I mentioned, and also Marcus Stoinis. These 2 men opening the batting. Both have power, but we've only really seen one slightly decent innings from Joe Clark so far. So maybe at the home ground of the MCG, this could be his moment to be able to shine. And also we have got there who will be winning as well. Says Mayank, at this stage, it is 53% chance for the Melbourne Stars, but I'm still back in the Sydney Sixers here, even though they're away from home. Unless Maxwell or Stoinis, one of those 2 men, and maybe even Andre Russell lower in the order do fire and get a whole heap of runs in a hurry, I think the Sydney Sixers will be able to chase it down, but it could still be relatively close. We have got there was these two clubs, these two clubs in 12th of January 2020 as well, says Robert Miller. So it was relatively recent for these two sides early in the year as well, or sorry, early in last year, I should say. I can't believe we're already almost in 2022. Stephen O'Keefe, he is 37. He has sitting 78 matches, 68 wickets, and he did have the golden cap, although it has been taken off him, unfortunately for him. So he will be wanting to get it back. But first of all, he will have to try and get this massive wicket of Marcus Stoinis, who will be on strike for the first delivery at the MCG. It looks like there's a decent crowd there. Of course, with the MCG being able to hold 80,000 plus, it always looks like there are less people there than there actually are. But it is going to be Stephen O'Keefe to Marcus Stoinis. This is going to be a good battle with the ball in hand and also with the bat of Marcus Stoinis. He will be hitting this ball over the fence, possibly multiple times throughout this fixture. Hey, cricket lovers as well. And the chat says, Robert, but do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, what is your prediction for how many runs they will be able to get in this first innings for the Melbourne Stars? Jordan Silk in the outfield. He has been very silky with his skills in the past few weeks, being able to really just cut off everything that is around. But Moses Enriquez, like I mentioned, he has got that golden cap. I want to work out whether or not you can buy a golden cap, because I might get myself one for Christmas. We'll have to wait and see. I'm predicting the Stars 220 just to beat the record as well, says Robert there. And also, I hope you are well. And they're from cricket lovers as well there. But now it is going to be the first ball bowled by Stephen O'Keefe. Nice little bit of spin off the surface there. It looked like it had plenty of turn on offer and went straight outside the outside edge on Marcus Stoinis. He's got a big smile on his face. What has this ball done? It's just well and truly just kicked and bounced and done all sorts there for Marcus Stoinis. And that is something that the Boxing Day Test match, Nathan Lyon, he will see that and he will be licking his lips for sure. And Stoinis bowled first ball as well, says Aidan there, not quite. He was in the situation of it was just outside of the stumps. That's going up in the air though from Marcus Stoinis, just clears the man at mid-off, and that is going to be racing close to the boundary, but cut off by the veteran Dan Christian there in the deep. I'd say 164 runs for the Stars as well. And also we have got there Jai Richardson in the Ashes squad for Hazelwood Hamish as well, says Robert. Yeah, and I did see also it is Marcus Harris in the opening side of it, rather than, who did they have opening last week? Because I know that David Warner is still there. I actually thought he was the one who was going to be out due to an injury, but who is it that was opening last week that they have lost here? Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be Stoinis now once again. Hits it straight to the man, Moses Enriquez. So it is a dot ball. Nicely bowled by Stephen O'Keefe so far. And it did give them a little bit of an opportunity when that ball's up in the air. You've always got a chance of being able to catch out the big Stein. But when you've only got two men outside of the ring, it also means that it is not going to be too easy. It's a nice white pitch at the moment, and that's going up in the air from Stoinis, full short. Once again for himself, he's getting very lucky at the moment. Bender Warshus throws it into Philippe. He gets himself a single Stoinis, but that is the second time that he has put that one up in the air. 3 ball and in 4 knee as well. Says amongst the gaming YT, and Harris and Warner opened as well. Says Aidan, so was it actually Harris last week as well? Because I heard that someone was saying that maybe they would be missing one, Alex Carey as well. Says Sebastian there for Marcus Harris and Alex Carey. Will be behind the stumps as well, Alex Carey, which is great to see. Of course, the strikers at the moment, they're not sitting too badly on the whole table. I believe they are 4th at the moment, but Stephen O'Keefe, one delivery here, it is just going to be blocked by Joe Clark, trying to find himself a little bit of momentum early on in this inning. Something like that's the thing. I believe the most balls that he has faced so far in a BBL game is probably around that 10 to 15, which is not very much at all for an opener. He hasn't got himself a huge amount of runs, but perhaps now this could be his opportunity. Whips it off the legs, and they are going to be able to get through for the single there. No, they don't get back for the single, and that it's going to be the end of the first over, and it is number 3 here as well. I need to get ready for my live stream and come see Cummings back see at 10:20 as well. Says Brandon there, and also in the second innings, first innings was Warner here as well. Says Sebastian there. At the moment, they are just showing there is a bit of spin on offer there for Stephen O'Keefe, and that will make Case Ahmed a very happy man for the Melbourne Stars. Also, Adam Zampa, who will be doing a little bit of the spinning later on in this game, who hasn't really picked up a huge amount of wickets so far in BBL 11. I'm just trying to think of how many he has been able to get. I feel like he's only got maybe one or so, and that was in that final over of the other game where they were able to win that extremely close fixture up against the Sydney Thunder. And I like Hamish, I like Kiwi Ladders as well. Says David, welcome into the live stream, mate. And when we do have a 6, be sure to use that new 6 emoji. Sebastian did design it for us, and be sure to use it when we do get to see a few 6s. Of course, this is probably the one ground we're not going to see a huge amount of 6s because we are at the MCG, which is about 80 metres right around for that one as well. You carry open in the second innings with Harris, and first innings it was Warner and Harris as well. Says it Robert there, but now it is going to be Bender Warshus, the left arm bowler, best Figures for him is 4 for 13, and he is back in the Sydney Sixers side for this matchup alongside Lloyd Pope. It was a bit of a leg spin. Oh, beautifully bowled there from Dwarshus, and he picks up the wicket of Stoinis early on. And that is an absolutely phenomenal one to get. Welcome back to the BBL. Stoinis not too happy with that one, but Leavitt's hit his glove. Unfortunately, he doesn't look like he's too happy. He's shaking his head there, Stoinis, but that could be the first wicket down. What is happening here? Stoinis going to be looking at the replay. What is this hit? It really pops off the surface here. Yeah, just hits the glove or something along those lines for Stoinis, and he is on his way as well. We have got there David Good Vibes, and we can watch it as well, depending on what country you're in, Harvey. Which country are you trying to watch from? Do let me know, and we will try and help you out. 220 cricket lovers as well, says Robert, but that is Marcus Stoinis. He is out, caught Philippe. Bowled Ben Dwarshus, his first ball of the BBL, and he has certainly made an impact for that one and got the big Stein out for only the 3 runs off 5 deliveries. Now it is going to be Nick Larkin having to make his way out there a lot earlier than he would have been expecting. I've used that saying a lot of times so far, and I was like, no, hey, goodbye, he's gone as well. In Australia, says Harvey Brown, so it will be on 7+, I believe. 7+ might be where you can find it, Harvey, if I'm not wrong. I am from New Zealand, so I'm not too sure of how the kind of broadcasting happens in Australia, but I think either KO or 7+, if you've got either of those two, might be able to help you out. And also we have got there, but Robert Miller, is it possible? 1 wicket lost already, says Cricket Lovers there in the chat. But Nick Larkin now at the crease, average of 35 for him. He has got 800 runs so far in the BBL, and he is straight into the deep end trying to get this one. And also we have got there the 6 nights in the chat from David there as well. But at the moment, it is going to be Ben Dwarshus once again bowling another delivery here for himself. It is a big factor of Ben Dwarshus. He's got that left arm and he can swing it quite nicely. And Foxtel on Channel 7 as well says 8 in there for the other options that you have got for being able to watch this game. So it is around on quite a few channels. I'm not too sure how many of them in terms of free-to-air. I know that in New Zealand, I don't think we got any of these games on free-to-air, which does suck because of the fact that you do need a subscription to be able to get yourself one or be able to watch these games, I should say, as well. Another dot ball there for Larkin. He has faced 2 dots so far in the early stages, but they will be very happy with the way that this has gone so far for themselves. We have got there, which is superior innings for Black Caps in outside New Zealand. Ross Taylor, 290, and Australia in Perth versus Devon Conway, 200. I'd say Devon Conway's for me just is at that, like, it's at a very high standard for myself because it was his debut as well. I need to remember the fact that he was on debut for that one. That one is the wicket of Stoinis. They are just showing Dwarshus was able to pick it up. Very happy with that one. It's on KO and Foxtel and normal Channel 7 on TV as well. Says it Robert there in the chat. But now Dwarshus so far, he's looking like he's trying to go towards that wicket maiden for his very first over of the BBL 11. Already 3 dot balls, including one, which was the wicket. It's going to be lofted there. That's gone over the top. And it is a nice shot, but fielded nicely in the deep there. And it's going to be cut off and just kept to the 2, and Larkin now off the mark as well. You guys are lucky we have to watch, or we have to pay to watch rugby union as well. Says that it was 8 in there, and also we have got there. It's a bit small. Sorry about that, especially the Rockets, but I'll keep working on it as well. Says Sebastian there. I still think it looks very nice indeed for the Sixers, that is for sure. And also get a in the chat, says Sports Stuff. That's the thing. You could also consider the fact that it may be a Sydney Sixers logo in a way for this matchup. Who knows how it will go in this game for them. Last time they played up against the Melbourne Stars, they were able to get themselves 214 runs. That's a little bit down the leg side for Dwarshus. And that is going to be the first wide of the day that we have seen from the Sydney Sixers bowling attack. But it is going to be very interesting to see whether or not Dwarshus will be able to pick himself up more than just the 1 wicket, because normally his swing bowling, definitely from a left arm point of view, it is just very tough to be able to read. We have got no Stoinis gone. Yeah, early wicket for Ben Dwarshus there to be able to pick up that massive wicket of Marcus Stoinis in the early stages. They've got Larkin and Clark at the crease at the moment, and then they will be bringing out Maxi as well. A little bit of a swing and a miss there from Larkin. Tried it at leg side, even though it was outside of off stump. And once again, another dot ball there for Ben Dwarshus, who hasn't actually had any opportunities, like I mentioned, this year so far, alongside Lloyd Pope. And those two are a good combo, definitely. With the amount of spin that we've seen from Stephen O'Keefe in the early stages of this game, I would say Lloyd Pope will have a field day as well. I was careful not to make it look, make it a pink shade as well. That's a very biased emoji as well, says Sebastian there. Also, we've got there, who's better, rugby or what's better, rugby or cricket? I think it just depends on, like, that's the thing. Cricket is your summer sport, rugby is your winter sport. So you got rugby and cricket going all throughout the year if you do watch both of them. So it is absolutely awesome to be able to watch both of them as well. And looks fine to me, brother, as well. And I got to go see you tomorrow as well. There's James Gordon, no worries, mate. We will see you later on. They are just showing there the wicket of Stoinis once again. The ball just popped up and he wasn't quite able to read it. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated you guys all being here. We are sitting on 18 likes already, and our like goal, as you guys know, is always to get ourselves up to that, sitting around the 100 mark or so, trying to get a century. So if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We have got a couple more matches that are coming up for the BBL, although they are not in the next couple of days. We do have to wait a couple. That is due to the Ashes ban on Philippe. So we have got the Heat versus the Thunder. That is on the 19th of December, which is when the Big Bash will be returning. And then also the Scorchers taking on the Hurricanes. That is going to be on the 20th. Tell you what, that's gone straight through. That could be a stumping here, and that could be Joe Clark out for yet another duck. Very nicely done from Stephen O'Keefe, going straight through the English opener. Was he able to pick up this huge wicket? Yeah. In the early stages, I think Joe Clark, he ended up falling forward just a little bit. So it's whether or not he was able to get himself back. It is a legal delivery from Stephen O'Keefe. Foot behind the line. Did end up having the foot outside. That's out. That is out. And that is absolutely brilliantly done behind the stumps from Josh Philippe. And that is going to be the second goodbye to number 2 as well there. And Stephen O'Keefe is so underrated left-arm spinner, which could have played more for Australia at international level. His records are very good in limited international he played as well. He's a very talented spinner. He was going to retire, which I am glad that he didn't, because at the moment he's trying to take that golden cap back. I believe that is going to be the wicket there. And unfortunately for him, once again, Joe Clark is going to be underway. And also we've got the LA image. So stoked for this game. I am too, mate. We have got the situation, luckily, that we do get to see some more of these two sides playing off. Last time we saw it, 214 runs for the Sydney Sixers, a new high score for any of their Sydney Sixers sides throughout the BBL so far. And then Nick Larkin is going to be at the crease alongside Glenn Maxwell, as Joe Clark is out for another duck here at the top of the order. And that is off 3 deliveries this time. Maxwell won't even make 10 as well. Says Aiden there in the chat. The moment he's going to have to, if they want any chance of setting a decent total here for the Melbourne Stars, they are going to need Glenn Maxwell to be able to fire for them at the top of the order. But Nick Larkin, he was probably lucky he was at the non-strikers end for that one, because Joe Clark, he's only just been out there for the first couple overs. And I mentioned it at the start, he hasn't really had more than about 10 or 15 deliveries that he has faced so far throughout the BBL. But now it is going to be Glenn Maxwell. He loves himself a switch hit, has the most runs out of any player when it comes to completely swapping hands and hitting it like a left-hander, I should say, rather than the right-hander. But 2,265 runs Glenn Maxwell has got for himself so far in his BBL career. But at the moment, he is going to be on strike to an informed Stephen O'Keefe, who just seems to be able to pick up wickets anytime that he wants to. It is going to be a dot ball there, hit straight back down the ground to Stephen O'Keefe, and a good dot ball to start off to Glenn Maxwell. You can't end up giving him a freebie in the early stages, or else he will be able to hit that all the way to the 6, because at the end of the day, we're still inside of the power play. Nice bit of a turn there for Stephen O'Keefe. Ended up beating the outside edge of Glenn Maxwell. This is looking like a good spinner's surface. So that makes me excited to see not just Zampa, not just Case Ahmed, but also the leggy Louis Pope for the Sydney Sixers getting a chance a little bit later on. Switch it from Maxwell straight away, and he has been able to roll it all the way to the boundary there for Glenn Maxwell. So his first boundary of the day, and it was the switch it that did end up getting him the boundary. I guess I probably jinxed that big time, saying that it is the shot that he uses the most that does give him plenty of runs throughout his BBL career. But the Melbourne Stars, at the moment, they certainly needed that boundary. I believe, if I'm not wrong, that is actually the first boundary they have got of the day so far. So that is certainly a nice one to have. Definitely while we are in the second last over of the power play, Zampa's only going to get 1 wicket in BBL 11. It was Alex Hale, or only got 1 wicket in BBL 11. It was Alex Hales as well, says the Robert. So yeah, he hasn't really got himself a huge amount. Or did he get one right at the end of one of the matches up against the Sydney Thunder? Did he get a second one, or did he just have a few dot balls in a row? Oh, actually, now that I think about it, he did have a couple catching opportunities for them in that final over, but they weren't quite able to get it. These spin-friendly pitches are not good for T20 cricket, especially for young fans, which are looking for fast-paced cricket as well. So nice shot there for Glenn Maxwell. Although it does, if you're a young spinner and you watch this, it does make you very excited to see, like, oh, if we're seeing some bowlers doing decently with that spin attack early on, I feel like that also kind of goes both ways for that as well. It turns out I got tested 2 days ago, and I said I possibly could have had a week positive during Friday to Monday, when which was when I was sick as well, says the Dwub. So that's only like a 50-50, isn't it? How they said you could possibly have had it. So hopefully they do find out a little bit more for you in the future. And Ashes are around the corner. James Anderson back, England, go England all the way as well. And it was from Kevin, but they are just showing that switch hit from Glenn Maxwell, just able to generate such power by switching the hands And he has used that shot so many times throughout his BBL career. And you can tell how kind of sound he is with that technique for it as well. We've got some grapes in the chat from 100%. And also we have got there as Broad back. I'm not too sure whether or not Broad is also back for them. But if he is, that is going to be dangerous for the Aussie side. Definitely with Hazelwood out, although they have brought in Jai Richardson, who will be great cover for that pace bowling attack. But speaking of pace bowling, Chris Jordan here is going to be the man running in to deliver his first ball of this match up against the Melbourne Stars. Was able to pick himself up a couple wickets last time. And it'll be the no run there off the very first delivery. Nicely bowled by Chris Jordan. And he has been taking quite a few wickets throughout this season as well, which is great to see for the Englishman. And alongside him, Tom Curran as another option for the Sydney Sixers. And also, what's your prediction for the Ashes test tomorrow night as well? Says Aiden. Or it's a good question. I think because Australia have not lost a day-night test, I am going to be back. And then beautiful delivery. And Chris Jordan. Oh, the umpire has said not out. I swear that came off the outside edge there. And they were almost celebrating before that one had even gone straight through while it's the fruit bowl as well. Says Dodson. Also, we have got there in the chat the two Ashes as well. 138 all out. Says Paddy Wagon there. Oh, that's a ripper of a delivery. Chris Jordan trying to get himself a spot in the Ashes English side. Oh, it was so close. I think there was a little noise, but that could have been maybe the bat and the glove kind of having a little bit of friction there. And also we have got their low Paddy Wagon as well, says David. And also we have got their Stars aren't doing too well as well, says the two Aussies. They certainly aren't, but they have still got 2 men at the crease who can do good things. Oh, I thought he missed that one, Larkin. Has hit it straight back to the bowler, Jordan, who has been very sharp throughout the early stages of this BBL 11 competition. Doesn't really throw up too many loose balls. That's another 3 dot balls in a row here for the Sydney Sixers. And the more dot balls that they have early in this matchup, the better for them, because we're in the power play and the Melbourne Stars are only sitting on the 10 runs of 3.3 overs. So that means that they have faced a total of 21 deliveries for only 10 runs. When you've got someone like a Glenn Maxwell, Larkin, and also they did have Steiners earlier on, whipped off the legs there. Nice shot by Larkin out to the deep mid-wicket boundary, and it is cut off by Bender Walsh as we have got there. Hopefully I get a text back to say I didn't have it. Otherwise I feel embarrassed being the first case in my town as well. Says it up. So hopefully it does come back negative for you, mate. Yeah, and also we have got there, there's 2 day-night ones, and England have never won a day-night test as well. Says it Robert Miller there, and also we have got there, yes, Broad back 2, epic attack as well. Yeah, that's the thing. England, they're going to be bringing out the big guns for this one. They need to try and level out the series, but to be able to do that in a day-night test in Australia is very tough indeed. How much runs does Melbourne have? I can't count as well, says 12. So they are sitting at the moment on 11 for 2 after the 3.4 overs. 11 for 2 after the 3.5 overs now. Once again, Stars are in big trouble here as well, says Sebastian. They certainly can't afford to have too many more dot balls, or else they will end up just getting a little bit tied down in the early stages. And 10 12s as well, says Robert there. And also we have got their thanks, says the cricket lovers. But for anyone who is wondering about these two sides and where they go from here, the Melbourne Stars, they have got themselves a fixture up against the Hobart Hurricanes, also the Brisbane Heat. That is going to be on the 27th of December, followed by 2 matches back-to-back up against the Scorchers. Only 3 days apart for those two as well. Chris Jordan, final delivery of his over. And it is going to be going straight to the man, Moses Henriquez, who was covering the kind of cover region. So that is going to be the end of the over. That's the end of the power play as well. And they have only gone for 3 runs per over so far for the Sydney Sixers. The Sydney Sixers, though, speaking of them, they have got the Strikers in their first matchup. Then they have got the Sydney Thunder. And that is going to be a very awesome derby between those two sides. The Sixers and the Heat then have got a playoff game, and then it will be the Renegades on the 1st of January, the first BBL game of the new year as well, which is going to be absolutely awesome to see. Have you ever thought about streaming motorsport or New Zealand school rugby or something else different as well, says Dwubs? I've considered the schoolboy rugby a little bit for ourselves. Also, motorsport. I know that Isaac is a very keen man when it comes to the Formula One, and we have talked about maybe doing a live stream or two with him on the channel in the future for the kind of Formula One side of it, but it does depend on his work schedule as well for whether or not he can stay up super late to be able to do it as well. We have got there. We are in big trouble from a Stars fan as well, says Gregor Galway. Yeah, that's going to be over the top of Josh Philippe. That was almost the 3rd wicket down, but Maxwell gets away with it, and that is going to be his 2nd boundary of the match. Living dangerously at the moment. Glenn Maxwell for this one. Also, the West Indies did a lot better yesterday, bowling and batting-wise, but still not quite enough. 2-0 Pakistan in the series. I did see the final few deliveries of that match, and it looked very close to the West Indies. I can't remember what the batsman's name was, but they had a very good last wicket partnership. Me and Isaac have stuff in common, low as well, says Dwubs there in the chat, but Bender Walsh is not too happy with that one. Just got the bounce a little bit wrong. They have got a few more men outside of the ring now with the power play being over. Maxwell goes bang, and that one is going all the way. The first 6 of the day for Glenn Maxwell. Probably not the last as well, and it is a maximum there for Maxie to get himself his 3rd boundary of the day. He is the only player for the Melbourne Stars who has been able to hit any boundaries, and he has got 3 of them almost back to back as well. But the Walsh is just getting that 1.5 fully length, and Glenn Maxwell said, yep, that one will do. And that one's probably gone about 80 metres there as well. And we have got the 6 emoji and the jab from Sebastian G. 16 for 2, not looking good. And into the 5th over as well. Says, no, mum, that's another one on Glenn Maxwell's legs. Oh, it's been dropped by Lloyd Pope. And that would have been Maxwell gone. That would have been a huge wicket to have. But he has put it down there. Lloyd Pope just didn't quite run in enough to be able to cut that one off. That would have been a huge wicket for the Sydney Sixers. Daniel, you saying don't worry about it, Dawsh's mate, but that could have been the chance to get Maxwell out early. We will remember that. I'm going to write it down as well. 16 runs for Glenn Maxwell off 10 deliveries. I'll remember that when he has his 100. He'll go 16 off 10. Unfortunately, was Lloyd Pope. Just ended up just not quite getting to it. Bounced straight out of the palms there as well for him, and he will not be too happy with that one, Lloyd Pope. DeWash's now, it's hit by Larkin, and that is going to be the dot ball there. But you cannot afford to put down Glenn Maxwell in a game. Definitely not as at his home ground at the MCG. Lloyd Pope, he tried to get to it. He ended up just going straight through the hands, though, unfortunately, and did end up putting it down. And they are just talking to Daniel Hughes at the moment. They're saying it was unfortunate that Lloyd Pope did end up putting that one down. He almost ran in enough to be able to take it, but unfortunately for him, did just end up falling short. DeWash's once again will be bowling here. He did go for only a couple runs of his first over. That's a nice shot from Larkin. Head out mid-wicket, and there may be 2 available here for them, and that is exactly what they will be able to get. Cut off in the deep by TC Tom Curran. And it is just the 2 as well. I'm craving all of these right now as well, says Todd's there. And the chat, so we got the taco, the burrito, the pizza, the fries, and the burger as well. Looks like a decent enough meal, that is for sure. At the moment, Tom Curran, he will be a crucial member of the bowling attack for the Sixers as well, because at this stage, I mean, they've got Stephen O'Keefe, Ben DeWash's, Chris Jordan. They've also got Tom Curran, like I mentioned. Lloyd Pope will also be an option for them. It's going to be whipped off to the side by Larkin down to the man at fine leg, and he has been able to field that one nicely. That's the thing. They've also actually got the option of Dan Christian if they decide that they do need a 6 bowler, if anyone is going for a few. And also we've got the Hussein again with 4 economy. Brilliant bowling from him. Not so well from the others part as well. Says Sebastian there. And also we have got there. I should be able to stay at the end of the game. Don't need to be up early as well. And of course, the Ashes are going to be in full effect tomorrow, which is going to be very exciting. So anyone who is new to the channel and you are keen for a little bit of Ashes, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We have got there. And don't forget the drinks as well. Says Zwabs there in the chat as well. But Maxwell being put down early on 16 runs when he was dropped by Lloyd Pope. And also we've got there Bon Appetit in the chat as well. Now looks like 145 plus as well. But it was 83 metres for Glenn Maxwell. Didn't even look like he had to swing too hard to be able to strike that one, Maxwell. But it still went well and truly off the bat. And it did go all the way for the 6, the first 6 of the day. And like I mentioned, Glenn Maxwell, the only man at the moment who has been able to hit a boundary for them. Lloyd Pope now being brought into the bowling attack. Nice shot there by Larkin out through cover. But it's going to be cut off in the deep by TC. And they are going to get back for the 2. So nice shot from Larkin just to keep himself getting closer and closer to that 100 strike rate. Currently sitting off 8 runs on 13 deliveries. I hope the Sixers win as well. Says Bob's I think the team bat first normally has advanced put pressure as well. So yeah, that is going to be the big factor for them if they can try and keep that pressure on. Nicely bowled by Lloyd Pope, but it's gone through the gap, and that is going to be racing away for 4 there for Nick Larkin. Nice shot, and also they have been doing good in my perspective as well. Says Dwubs there, and also 152 for 5 there for Novmonth's prediction. And Larkin getting himself up to 12 runs now of 14 deliveries. This partnership here for them, I feel like if they can bring this partnership right through to the 10th over for the power surge and they take it early, perhaps this partnership could get 50, if not 100, between the 2 of them as well. Lloyd Pope at the moment being expensive in the early stages of his bowling. First 3 deliveries have gone for a total of 6 runs for that man so far. The Sixers, they've been doing very well this season. They are currently sitting in 2nd, sitting in 3rd. It is actually the Melbourne Stars. So whoever wins this game, if they get the bash boost point as well, they will advance themselves. Oh, through that gap. Once again, Larkin just gliding it down to 3rd man. And that is going to be another 4 runs at the moment. It is Lloyd Pope. He has already gone for 10 runs off his first 4 deliveries. Sloppy fielding at the moment, a drop catch and a misfield as well. Says Aiden there, and 161 for 7 is the guess from Dwabs there, or the prediction from Dwabs. It's gone straight through that gap. That's not a big gap either. And at this stage, Lloyd Pope, he is not looking too happy with the way that ball is rolling out of his hand at the moment. He's already gone for the 10 runs. Where's this one going? Larkin whips it to the leg side, and this is looking like it will be going straight to deep mid-wicket for just the single. Jordan Silk has been doing some phenomenal things in the field so far. We've seen him take just absolutely incredible catches, also saving sixes from taking place. There was one a couple of days ago that he pretty much jumped backwards, somehow still threw the ball back into the field of play and stopped it from going all the way for the maximum. But at the moment, 37 for 2 here. Lloyd Pope, nice delivery there, and that is going to close out his over. A little bit expensive for himself, but it is going to be now 38 for 2 here after the 6 overs for the Melbourne Stars. So nicely starting to rebuild here for them. They were only going at 3 runs and over for their power surge, and then from there they have been able to go on and get themselves another 26 runs, I believe it is, from the last 2 overs, which is very impressive indeed. We have got there. Looks like it will be 150 plus as well. Says the cricket lovers there. But at the moment, they are saying about Joe Burns, he is not quite going to get the opportunity for the Melbourne Stars. He is at the Melbourne Stars for this season rather than the Brisbane Heat, which was where he was located last time. I might go to bed and watch some old Kiwi lads being beaten by England in Rugby Challenge 4 low as well. That is also, I mean, they were good memories in some regards. The last time that we actually had all 3 of us playing Rugby Challenge, and then I'm hoping to be able to get all 4 of us together for one this weekend, or not this weekend, sorry, but over the Christmas break, being able to get something going with all 4 of us. Tom Curran now steaming into Glenn Maxwell. Both batsmen sitting on 17 runs. That's a little bit too short. Maxwell, he hasn't got all of that, but it is going to be just enough, and it's going to be racing away to the boundary. Good shot from Maxwell once again. So just curious, how do I flirt with Perry when I meet her? When I meet her, I don't know what to say. Any ideas, Hamish, for when I see her next time as well, says Aiden. That is a great question to ask a single man of about 10 years, Aiden. I'll be honest, but I guess make sure that words do come out. That's a good start, or else you just sit in there staring at her, and then that's probably a restraining order. Why don't happen? It will be great to see all you guys back together again for a Christmas special as well, says Doves. That is the plan at this stage. We want to do some sort of podcast type thing for the Christmas break. It's going to be a nice shot there from Glenn Maxwell. That races away to the boundary, and now the Melbourne Stars, they are starting to find their momentum. Maxwell moving up onto 25 of 13 deliveries. Larkin sitting on 17 of 17, and at the moment it doesn't seem like any of the Melbourne Stars bowlers are safe. Say Stephen O'Keefe has probably been the most economical out of everyone, and Anderson and Broad back then. I haven't seen the lineups. Apparently both of them are back for that game of the Ashes tomorrow that we will be covering on the channel as well, and it should be an exciting one. It is a day-night test, which does mean that we do get to watch the pink ball in action, and someone who you think of as soon as you think of the pink ball, that is Mitch Starc, of course. Been doing very nicely for himself. Maxwell hits it down the ground, and he gets just a single, but someone else I'm excited to see in action for the pink ball test is actually Jai Richardson. Last time, I believe he got himself about 6 wickets when he was a part of a day-night test squad. The Melbourne Stars at the moment, like I mentioned, those first 4 overs only went for the 12. Then they were able to hit themselves 14, 12, and then 9 or so off that next one. I believe it was 8 so far off this over. So they've been very impressive so far. And Judith is there in the chat as well. Do I tell her that she's beautiful and would love to get to know you through a cup of coffee or a drink? My shout as well, says Aiden. I feel like that could be a decent shout. Let's see how that one does go. Well, yeah, as well, we have got there. Wasn't Perry supposed to be on the cover of Cricket 22? I think she was replaced as well. See Sebastian. Yeah, who have they got on the cover instead at the moment for Australia? I'm trying to think. Was it Healy that they have got on the front? I'm not too sure, but at the moment, Aaron Finch, he is still on the touchline. He will be gutted that he isn't able to play in the BBL so far, but it does seem like he is quite enjoying the commentary role that he has been given here. Glenn Maxwell, he is going to be at the non-strikers end just for that delivery, and Larkin once again going to go for the dot. The last thing they need here is a run out. We know that Stoinis and Maxwell had a little bit of a mix-up last time that the Melbourne Stars were out batting, and unfortunately, you know, that's the last thing you want is 2 senior players of the team ending up running each other out in that regard. But now 6.5 overs down at the moment for them, 47 for 2. They're actually moving up quite nicely here. They will be trying to get themselves that bash boost point, because whoever wins this game, if they get the bash boost point, they have secured themselves a very good victory, and they will be up to the first place position as well. But now Tom Curran bowls a slow ball. Larkin cuts it out 3-point, and that's going to be another couple runs there. Stephen O'Keefe cuts it off in the deep, and they are going to be able to get back for the 2. And also we have got there to here, Z.A. bro, where are you from? I am from New Zealand. So it is currently sitting at 9:44 p.m. here for myself for this BBL game, but I am absolutely loving it. It is very exciting getting to see every single game that we have so far. 49 for 2 at the moment after the 7, so they're going at an economy or the current run rate of 7 runs per over. And the current partnership is sitting at 43 runs, I should say. And I mean, if she says no, I might cry as well. Says Aiden, be sure if you do that, don't do it in front of her. Be sure to kind of go off to the side a little bit. And also, we have got the It's Meek landing as well. Says Sebastian there and Sup. You know me as well. Says Hunter, welcome into the live stream, mate. It is great to see you once again for this matchup of the BBL. Hope you have been well. I don't think we've seen you for a little while as well, Hunter. So I hope you are keeping well for yourself, mate. At the moment, they are just showing a whole heap of fours. A lot of them have actually been almost backwards of the wicket. Stephen O'Keefe going to have to bowl his third over now, which does tell you that it is going to be in that situation. Do they take the 2? No, they just get the 1 as well. We have got their wicket as well, says Paddy Wagon. I feel like Stephen O'Keefe does need to be able to pick up 1 here. He's hit him 1 for 8 so far. He has been the most economical. It is Larkin on strike. So I would say O'Keefe, second last delivery of this over, he might be able to get himself 1. And also, why not in front of her? It's good to show emotions as well. Says Aiden, I mean, if you fall down some steps and then do it, she might actually help you up. Don't fall down some steps, though. That is not good advice. Just in case she just ignores you and then you've just fallen down some steps for no reason. Question as well, says Brandon. Fire away, mate. Stephen O'Keefe once again just going for the single there off that delivery and wicket call, as I says, motivational team. So, yeah, I am going to say not this ball, but the ball after. So when Stephen O'Keefe's going to be able to get it. I feel like I will well and truly get it wrong there. Nice cut shot from Maxwell. Going into the deep. Cut off by Tom Curran. Yes, no called. And it is going to be Larkin now on strike. Just getting through for the 3 singles so far of the O'Keefe over. So this ball here is the one that I did say that he would be able to get a wicket. And also girls like it when you show emotion as well. Says Ellie Hills there in the chat. But now it is going to be Stephen O'Keefe bowls it. Larkin hits the ball. So he is, unless it's a run out, I am going to be well and truly wrong there. James Vince fielding it nicely. Looking a little bit stiff there, James Vince. At the moment, it looks like he has been putting in some good sessions in the nets, perhaps, trying to get himself in some good batting form. But the predicted scores at the moment, 10 and over from here on out, gets them 176 at 10 runs and over. Like I mentioned, I feel like Maxwell, he will be looking at that and want at least 160. He's going to be swinging hard at the ball and once again into the deep, out to Tom Curran. 5 singles in a row at the moment. Oh, bro, I think Brisbane Heat win in Sunday as well, says Ryan. So that will be the game that they are playing. I will quickly go like this, and I will go like this as well. We have got the next 2 fixtures over the BBL, and it's going to be up against the Thunder and then the Scorchers playing the Hurricanes as the later game as well. It is a nice shot, and it is once again a single. Good over from Stephen O'Keefe, just going for the 6 runs, trying to keep it a little bit more economical. He has already bowled 3, and he has only gone for the 13 and also picked up that big wicket early on. It was Joe Clark who was out for a duck, but these are the next 2 fixtures that we have got. So we've got a few days off while we have got the Ashes taking place, and also we have got that Please Don't Spoil the Action. Let's wait until Amish reacts. It's just a prediction. Make sure to mention it as well, or if it's just a prediction, there's Sebastian there, and also we have got the I'll fall down the stairs and she helps me up. I'll be like your beauty, distracted me, and it's great. My knees falling for you as well, says Aiden there, and also we have got the average score 140 as well, says motivational team there as well. So yeah, the MCG. It's hard to hit boundaries. We've seen so far that Larkin and also Maxwell have both been able to. We have got their Taylor in the chat. I said, do you as well? So I will need the second half. Oh, do you have a score prediction as well, says Taylor? So I said at the start of the innings, 160 is how many I'm thinking. Hope X Factor player. Oh, hoping X Factor for the Sixers as well, says Sky Broom. So I believe they have got themselves. Oh, who are the 2 that they've gone with? They've got the very tall man, who I can't quite think of his name. It's Jack someone, but I can't think of the second half of his name there. It is going to be now Dan Christian. Will be running in for his first over. A little bit leg side, and Larkin whips it away down to fine leg. And it's just going to be the one Lloyd Pope able to cut that one off. He will still be dreading the fact that he did put down Glenn Maxwell when he was sitting on 16 runs off 10 balls faced. So 108 matches here for Dan Christian. He's still chugging along. 82 wickets he has been able to take for himself so far, and 2 5-wicket hauls, including 5 for 14 as his best one. Good idea, Hamish, even though I could look like an idiot and the other girls might laugh at me as well, says Aiden there. And also motivation, 141 star score as well, says motivational team. How many runs do you think they will, or sorry, how many wickets down do you think they will be, motivational team? And how many runs do we think Maxwell will get, ladies and gentlemen? He's currently sitting on 50. He's sitting on 29 of 17. The partnership sitting on 50 of 36, and he is on strike. The Dan Christian nicely glided down to third man, and that's going through that gap as well. This is going to be cut off nicely, though, by Stephen O'Keefe, but they get back for the easy two. It's a flat deck. Par is like 170 as well, says Skybroom there in the chat. And also I'm predicting Melbourne for the TAB live phase as well. Says this news down, I think 159 for 7 and also a 9 down for motivational team there. And just pretend that you're dying, mate, as well. Tell you that you've got 3 months left. It should be enough to convince you to stay with you after the 3 months gone. Tell you you've been cured as well, says Sebastian. Is that the best idea, Sebastian? I think 155 plus, says Cricket Lovers as well. And also no worries for still RB Single Amish. A lot of fish in the ocean for you as well. Says it was Kevin at the moment. Yeah, there's not a lot of water around inside of my lounge, though, I will say. So we'll have to go out and find a fishing pond. I think for that one, I'm changing to 167 for 5 as well. There says Paddy Wagon. Now it is going to be Larkin on strike, sitting on 23 runs of 24. Dan Christian so far gone for the 4 runs off his first 3 deliveries of this over. If he can get out of it without any boundaries for him, I would say that he's sitting in a pretty good position there, Dan Christian. But now he is going to be steaming him once again. It's always bowled him. Dan Christian picks up the wicket. I believe it hit the bat of Larkin, and he did end up playing it on, and Dan Christian picks it up as well, 147 for 8. My prediction as well. And also we have got this Samoa versus Argentina. Do you think we need to see it? Questions as well. Says Brandon, I mean, it would be a decent fixture. And I know that the 7s, when we do get into January, Samoa will be returning to the 7 circuit. And unless I buy a Gatorade and say I thought, you need a drink because I'm thirsty for you. Oh, you need a drink because I'm thirsty for you as well. Says Aiden there, what is going on here, Hamish? How did we become the game as well? Says this news there. Hard to say about that. It's going to be Larkin out bowled by Christian. 23 runs of 25 deliveries. And now it is going to be Hilton Cartwright making his way out to the middle by the looks of it. And I think my plan is better than the cheesy chat of lights as well. Says Sebastian there. Also, we have got their wicket as well. And they're from motivational team. It was indeed Larkin on his way there. They have slowly gone from a massive over of hitting that 14. And then it's slowly been going downhill for them. And then that is when the wicket has fallen. And Dan Christian was the man who was able to get good. No spoilers, everyone, as well. And they're from Kai. And also, are you going to do 7s this weekend or when as well, says Brandon. So the 7s does not start up until late January is when it is coming back. But once it is, I believe it's in Malaga, Spain, and we will be covering those games on the channel. Hilton Cartwright, he's got 999 runs for himself in 58 matches. He only needs 1. Bear Pro is coming back as well, says Brandon there. I would say hopefully within the next couple of weeks or so, once we are kind of in the swing of things for the Big Bash and also for the Ashes as well. But Cartwright, tell you what, it almost went straight through him. They're going to be able to get the single there. But I believe it was a leg by. So Hilton Cartwright will not receive that run. And he does still sit on 999. Oh, they did give him the run. So it is going to be the 1,000 runs there for him. And also we have got that 149 or 141 for 9. My prediction it out. And that chat says man as well. And that was, of course, the wicket, the big wicket of Nick Larkin, who they definitely didn't want to lose this early on because they have already lost 3 wickets now for the Melbourne Stars. Dan Christian has gone for the 5 runs, but also picking up that wicket minus 180 for 7 as well, says Kevin there, for the prediction of how many runs they are going to be able to get. But Glenn Maxwell going to be on strike here for the final delivery of this 8th over, the 9th over. We're actually flying through this match so far. Seems to be going match after match after match in the BBL. We've got a couple days off, though. Going to be hit down to the man at short third man, and that is going to be the single to close out the over. Very good one from Dan Christian. That is 2 overs in a row that have only gone for the 6 runs, and they were able to pick up the wicket of Nick Larkin. And also we have got there, can you see my video? I'm going out to my live stream. I'm 2 minutes later as well, says Brandon there. And also we have got there, also they'll remain in Spain after the Malaga week is done. They just have slightly to Seville as well there. So it is good that they are having kind of back-to-back in the same region. It does give you a little bit more time to be able to get used to the conditions. Unless I get a tattoo that says ADV 97 EP8, meaning I love it, Lisa Perry, and her shirt number is 8 as well, says 8, and that might be something for like a 10-year anniversary or something along those lines, perhaps for after you've been dating for a while. And my predicted score is 155 plus as well, says Cricket Lovers there. Just having a chat to Daniel Hughes. It is going to be Moses Henriquez, ladies and gentlemen, who is going to be bowling himself here. The captain, 91 matches he has played, and he has got himself 18 wickets in total, so not a huge amount of wickets falling in favour of Moses Henriquez, but feels like this is a perfect time to be able to bring himself into that bowling attack and see if he can break through and get maybe this massive wicket of Maxwell, and total 145 there in the chat. That's a big full toss there from Moses Henriquez, perhaps just a little bit of a rusty one, as he isn't bowled this far in the season of the BBL as well. Just a little bit too full, and now will be Hilton Cartwright. Now, we all remember that 6 that Cartwright hit. I believe it was last season where he went absolutely bang, and they didn't have the ball tracker, but it would have been 100+ meters from its growl They agreed that might be a bit too far as well. Says Aiden there. Moses Enriquez, he's actually got the golden cap at the moment for the most runs. It's a slower ball Yorker from Moses, but did end up just a little bit too far on the full toss side. Is Chloroform a discount during the Christmas season? Asking for Aiden as well, says Sebastian. I wouldn't know. Oh, okay. Tom Curran at the moment is on the touchline. I hope that he is all right, because it looks like maybe he's got himself a little bit of an injury. They certainly won't want to lose him for this matchup as well, Tom Curran, because he is a very talented player. It's the slow ball once again from Enriquez. Does he actually? I keep on saying it's a slow ball. It was 101 Ks. Is that just how fast Moses Enriquez bowls? Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Can he push them through at about 115, 120? Or is this just a normal pace here for Moses Enriquez? Maybe this is why we haven't really seen him bowl too much in the past. He doesn't really get them at a huge pace, but it seems like so far it's been relatively effective. Oh, yeah, that one went through a little bit quicker for Enriquez, putting a bit of effort in. And that one was 126.7. So he just answered my question himself there, Enriquez. Yeah, at the moment, he has only gone for the 3 runs so far. And also the real problem is, even if she does land up helping me, I might be in hospital with a broken bone after I fell down the stairs. And I don't know Sebastian as well, says Aiden there. Yeah, see, that's why the steer idea probably is better on paper than it is in effect. That's going to be once again bowled nicely by Moses Enriquez. Once again, another single. This is a very good over for a part-time bowler in Moses Enriquez. It seems like this is just really to keep that economy rate starting to go back down a little bit. It is 50-50 on the live win probability of who is going to be able to win this game between the Sydney Sixers and the Melbourne Stars. But Glenn Maxwell, he's got a lot of power. That man, he's sitting on 35 runs of 22 deliveries, 4 so far, and the 1-6 in the early stages. It's nicely played there down the ground, and Glenn Maxwell scampers through for the single. That's the end of the over, and it is going to be 66 for 3 here for the Melbourne Stars. So that is how many runs that they will need for the Bash Boost points. So we will write down there 67 for the Sixers to be able to win this game, or win the Sydney Sixers Bash Boost point thing that we keep on messing up the name of. But we are at drinks now, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It is hugely appreciated, you guys all being here for this one. We're currently sitting on 36 likes. We are trucking along very nicely. Well, this one, my predicted score is 155 there as well. So we're seeing quite a few different scores. Normally along the same lines, like everyone is sitting around that 150 to 170, that type thing. But we've had someone say 200 a little bit earlier on. We've had 180s, 140s coming in as well. So that's all over the place at the moment. And also any other ideas to get a date with Barry, anyone as well. And there, I would say, oh, it's a good question. I guess Instagram's a good start as well, and also 141 for 9 there from Motivational Team for his prediction of this one. And also I'm asking everyone who's following rugby league, please be careful what you say online about the Brett Finch situation. We could have serious legal issues otherwise. Thank you as well, says Sebastian. I feel like for myself, I appreciate that warning, because I haven't even heard a single thing, but we will just leave it at that, I guess, just for now. And I will have a look afterwards and see what it is all about. But we're sitting on 36 likes, so we're working our way over very nicely towards that 100. But the second Ashes test, that was almost a sentence. Second Ashes test is what I was trying to say. Australia versus England is going to be live from the Adelaide Oval tomorrow at 5 p.m. I believe it is going to be when the first ball is bowled. And also we have got that K-pop in the chat at Said I as well. Welcome into the live stream and also Instagram. So you say slide into her DMs as well. Says, and I guess that is a decent opportunity for yourself, I guess you could say. See how it does go. But Moses Enriquez at the moment having a very economical first over, only going for the 5 runs. And they've actually taken Lloyd Pope out, and that is going to be for Hayden Kerr, who will be getting replaced, or will be brought in. So I assume that is because they have decided they've got enough bowlers here. Actually see Jackson Bird in the background. Is he still playing, or is he in the coaching side of it for the bowling? Ladies and gentlemen, do let me know. But Lloyd Pope, he did put down a catch earlier on, and also went for a lot of runs, so he is not too happy at the moment. But now it is going to be Hayden Kerr who does get the opportunity to bowl here. I didn't actually realize that if you end up having someone in the terms of like Pope getting replaced here, I didn't realize you were actually allowed to have another bowler as the X-Factor player come in and do the bowling. You had to Google who he was, and okay as well. Says no, I'm there, and also Hamish. Unless everyone could do me a favor and suggest me on Discord to message her as well. Says it was Aiden there in the chat as well. Yeah, I guess I'm not too sure whether or not she does have Discord. Is she a gamer? I wouldn't even be able to tell you about Hayden Kerr at the moment. 9 matches, and he has been able to pick up 4 wickets. So at the moment, They are just rotating their bowlers big time here. Glenn Maxwell, he's looking primed and ready on strike. Tries to hit that one hard out through point, and it is going to be going straight to the man there. And the deep for Ben Walsh just kept to the single. Very good bowling so far from the Sydney Sixers, trying to keep them below that 160 total. And Hamish, what do you think? Can Melbourne put 150 fighting total on the board? And looking at this pitch in the second innings, would it be hard to chase for Sydney as well? Says Coding, it's always tough with the long boundary to be able to chase down a big total. But I think at this stage, this game is well and truly, like, that's the thing. They're sitting on 51% chance of the Melbourne Stars winning this game. I would say where they are sitting at the moment, if they get Maxwell out, Sydney Sixers probably go up to about a 70% chance of being able to win this one. But the live odds, they will be changing throughout the whole match. That's going to be almost cut onto his own stumps there for Elton Cartwright. Good throw in the deep from Josh Philippe, but unfortunately did end up taken off the bail. So it is going to be the one that they were able to run through, and now it will be back on strike. Mr. Maxie Glenn Maxwell, 37 runs so far he is sitting on. Tom Curran at the moment, they are just showing there. It looks like maybe some sort of hip or something like that. He is kind of holding his back there, so hopefully that is nothing too serious. We've actually seen quite a few injuries coming as of late there. We did see in the match yesterday, Joel Paris for the Hobart Hurricanes did pull up a little bit lame. Still at the bat at the end of the innings, trying to protect that kind of net run rate as well. Nicely bowled there by Hayden Kerr, and it is going to be the fine edge going down to the man at fine leg, and that is just going to be the two as well. No, I meant everyone on my Discord chat, we have all slid into our DMs on Instagram and say give them a chance to take you out for coffee as well. Says Aiden there. I guess you could try and go with something along those lines. Although she might pick it up as spam if there's like 50 of them as well. So we would have to be careful in that regard for it as well. But we'll be able to find a way someday, I'm sure. If we just get big enough in the cricket, I'll just slide the question over if we do ever get a chance to interview, I guess. But Maxwell at the moment sitting on 39 runs off 25 deliveries. Adam Zampa there on the sideline alongside Marcus Steiners, who has got a smile on his face, which is good to see. That's a good shot down the ground from Maxwell. Well cut off, though, by the skipper, Moses Henriquez. And that has saved the 4 runs. And still trying to keep it tight in the early stages of this match for the Sydney Sixers. And also we have got their retired rugby league Raiders legend who is massive. Okay, I see in that situation, Sebastian. So yeah, we won't be reading out too much about that one as well. At the moment, Cartwright sitting on 4 runs off 5 deliveries. Like I mentioned, this man, he can hit a long ball, and he has done it in the past as well for Hilton Cartwright. He pitched up nicely and just hit down the ground for the single. Or sorry, it was actually the dot ball. Well bowled by Kerr, 131.8. So that's pretty good pace for himself, being able to get it straight through. Even though this is his very first over that he has been bowling. So Tom Curran, he was replaced in the end. I think he is still on the touchline, and it was Lloyd Pope, actually, who they did end up replacing for Hayden Kerr, the X-Factor player. But now at the moment, 71 for 3, still 1 delivery left of this over as well. Nice and slow. And that one there, Hayden Kerr doesn't go through, and that's another over, only going for the 5 runs. 52% chance now for the Sydney Sixers to be able to win it, and it is 71 for 3 after the 11 there as well. And I can, is there any way I can subscribe 1,000 times to make you look very big as well? Says, and I don't think so. I feel like YouTube would be like, right, why has he got 100 or even 1,000 subscribers all from the same location? They'll probably put us under investigation perhaps for that one as well. But at the moment, they are just showing Glenn Maxwell. Nice little yawn. And as well, we've actually got the fire going today. It was a little bit chillier. It was raining earlier on in the day as well. So it is relatively warm in here at the moment. But Glenn Maxwell at the moment, most sixes in the Big Bash League. He is sitting on 86. Not out at the moment in terms of how many innings he has been able to play. 100 sixes for him. Chris Lynn, though, it's just a major way above the rest of them. And Chris Lynn, he is going to be playing in that match up against the Sydney Thunder. That is coming in the near history as well. But 173 for Chris Lynn compared to the 100 of Glenn Maxwell. It just shows you how hard Chris Lynn does hit the ball as well. Finch sitting on 86. He is actually on commentary at the moment there. And now it is going to be Maxwell. He has moved himself up onto 40. Dan Christian way down the leg side there with the wide. And that is going to be called as the wide by the umpire as well. Dan Christian at the moment, he has bowled 1 over. Gone for the 1 wicket so far. He has been able to pick himself up. And that was the wicket of Nick Larkin, was able to bowl him in the last over, and then also gone for the 7 due to that wide that he did just bowl there. We will have to wait and see. Joe Clark at the moment, I feel bad for him at the top of the order. They will probably put in Joe Burns for the next fixture just because it seems to be every time Joe Clark just seems to not quite be able to get going and does end up in the position of going for 0 runs. It's going to be hit over the head of Dan Christian and just the one as well. And also your voice is sounding better, Hamish. The water must have worked as well, says Robert Miller. I think it has. Just having the glass of water and also just resting for quite a long time in between the live streams as well, I think has helped out big time. Like I've probably gotten about 26 hours of sleep in the past 2 nights or somewhere around there. So I think that has also helped me out and it will keep me well and truly revitalized for the Ashes and also the BBL that we have got later on in the week alongside the Champions Cup that we are going to be covering on the channel as well. At the moment now, it is going to be Dan Christian, currently still the veteran, steaming into the crease every time he gets the opportunity. That's going to be the shot down the ground from Cartwright. It's in the air, full short though. And Chris Jordan, it outspins him. It spun straight round Chris Jordan, and that is going to be the 4 runs for Hilton Cartwright. We mentioned earlier on that there's a little bit of spin on offer for the surface out in the outfield. Seems like it is the same thing because Chris Jordan just well and truly misread that one. And it did end up rolling all the way to the boundary here. So Dan Christian, it did end up getting it nicely out to that long on region. And in the end, Chris Jordan, he just overran it. And then he couldn't quite get the footing back. He missed it with his hand and it did end up. He tried to crawl after it, but wasn't quite able to. And now Cartwright whips it off his legs there. Once again, looking like it is going close to the boundary, but Silk able to cut it off in the deep. He's a very good fielder for that one as well in the last 2 nights. And Cable Guy as well says a snooze there in the chat. I'll mention anyone who is new to the channel. Be sure to like and subscribe. We are going to be back with more of the Ashes and also with the BBL when it does return in about 4 days' time because we have got to wait just a little bit longer before we get to see the next game of the BBL. But when it does come around, we will not be disappointed. It is going to be the Brisbane Heat taking on the Sydney Thunder. That is at 9:40 p.m. on the Sunday. Once again, going to be whipped off the pads there for Maxwell, and it looks like they will they get 2? Yes, they do. Good throw from Jordan Silk, but he isn't quite able to stop that one. And then the next game that we do get to see, it is the Scorchers, and they will be taking on the Hobart Hurricanes. But quickly looking through the table, whoever wins this game, more than likely, if it is the Sixers, they will move into first, even if they don't receive that bash boost point due to the net run rate. Whereas for the Stars, they probably do need that bash boost point to be able to have just a little bit higher than the Perth Scorchers. But either way, whoever wins this game is going to be sitting in at least second on the overall BBL table. That's going to be a nice pitched up delivery from Dan Christian. Hit down the ground though, straight to Chris Jordan, and he hears the crowd. He's got a big smile on his face as well because they are all cheering for him each time he is able to get it. He gets the round of applause from the crowd as well. He gives them a round of applause back. Or as well, he is loving it at the moment for the BBL. I could send her an email to her manager as well and ask him how much it is for me to spend a day with me and for a cricket live stream as well with the Kiwi lads and me as well. Says Aiden there. I mean, it would be interesting to find out what they do come back with. But Chris Jordan, he's got a big smile on his face, and I feel like that's the only thing you can do in that position as a player, because if you end up taking it too seriously, the crowd will just keep on ripping into you. As our knock says the snooze, who is there, mate? But that is the end of the 12th over, and now it is going to be 82 for 3 here for the Sydney Sixers, and their bowling efforts, they have been looking pretty decent. It's the Melbourne Stars who have got a 54% chance of winning this game from here on out, or if it's at least, I can probably get you a contact as well, says Robert Miller there. And also Robert would really, do you have Discord? It's I'd love to chat for a bit later, brother, as well, says Aiden there in the chat. And also I've got the Cable Guy, says the snooze there as well. At this stage, Cable Guy, who I guess I should ask for that situation. But that is the first big over that they've had in about 4 overs here for the Melbourne Stars. So if they can go early on, they're taking on the power surge by the looks of it. So these next 2 overs could end up going for around that 30 mark, which will help them push towards that 160 or go, or 160 or so, I guess I should say. At the moment, Chris Jordan here is going to be bowling the first of the 2 power surge overs. They probably would have gone TC Tom Curran for the other one, but unfortunately for him, since he did end up with that injury, he does not get the chance. Yes, I do have Discord. Does the Kiwi lad as well. Says it, Robert. I do indeed. We have actually got a Kiwi lads Discord server, I believe. But my Discord name, or what is my Discord name? I think it is BOOTHY capital O1, maybe, or little O1. I think it's something like that, but it is Boothy O1, I believe, more than likely for my Discord name there. But it is going to be now Chris Jordan, who is going to be bowling this over. He only went for the 2 runs off his last one. So that is very impressive indeed. But Hilton Cartwright going to be on strike now for this first delivery. Other power surge just tries to smack the ball hard, just wide of the men who were around the ring, I should say, and the Warships able to cut it off in the deep. Is now going to be the big man, Glenn Maxwell, on strike, sitting on 44 runs of 29 deliveries, 4 fours, 1 6. Now, you guys will remember, I did say that a little while ago that he was on 4-4s, 1-6. They haven't really been able to get the ball away to the boundary too often as well. And also, they do, Robert. We can have a chat later on. Discord, what's your username as well there? And also, I see Rob Aussie has joined the Discord server as well. But now Glenn Maxwell, he's looking around the field trying to find himself those gaps. Chris Jordan might be smart to make this a slower ball. Oh, it's going to be hard by Maxwell. Oh, it just falls short of Jordan Silk, who is going to be scampering through. And they are going to be able to get back for the 2 runs. Almost the chance for Silk to be able to pick up that big wicket of Glenn Maxwell. That is twice now that he has almost been gone. But both times they have done decently to be able to just fall short of Jordan Silk. And if it was available for him to be able to catch, he would have been able to really make his way into that one and be able to take it. Because Jordan Silk, he doesn't misfield too many of them as well. When he does drop the ball, there's normally a reason for it. And it isn't because it's gone straight to the hands. It's normally because he's probably done a hammy or something, not being able to quite get to it. But Chris Jordan now slow ball. Maxwell strikes it hard down the ground. That's going round. Moses Enriquez, he's going to have to chase this one. He has done nicely, though, and he has cut it off for just the 2 runs. Good chase in the deep from Moses Enriquez, trying to save every single run that they do want to here for the Sydney Sixers, because they don't want to chase down too many runs, that is for sure. Because anything more than 150 on the SCG, or the MCG, sorry, will be very tough as well. We have got the R&I from Paddy Wagon. Chris Jordan at the moment, it looks like he is trying to go relatively full with it at the moment by the looks of it. Now, Chris Jordan, he has gone for 5 runs. It's a good delivery. Was it too wide, though? Yes, it was from Chris Jordan. A little bit unlucky there to be called a wide. But Maxwell, he is sitting now on 48 runs of 31 deliveries for himself. My water has bubbles in it. It's like sparkling water. Bit fancy. I got there, took the liberty of putting aggro, the hand puppet, on the Discord Hamish as well. And then there says David Damon. Also, we have got there, they won't hit the Sixers, just in spite of me as well, says Sebastian. I feel like it was probably not the best timing due to the fact we're at one of the longest grounds in Australia, if not the longest as well. But Maxwell, he's got power. Maybe he can get one over here. It's a beautiful Yorker there from Chris Jordan, though. It has just kept to the single so far for Jordan. He has bowled the first 4 deliveries of this one, and he has managed, like they are showing there, the nerf speed. But what does that mean? What has just happened at the bottom of the screen? I have no idea what that is about for the nerf speed ball. I don't think I've seen that before so far for the BBL, so I'm not too sure whether that's a sponsorship type thing that they have got going on at the moment. But Maxwell moves himself onto 49 of 32 deliveries, and also we have got their T20 snipe shots as well. Says the snooze there in the chat. At the moment now, Chris Jordan, he has got 2 deliveries left of this one. Gone for 7 so far of the first 4. But if they get out of this power surge without going for a round, I'd say 20 to 25, they'd actually be pretty happy with. Anything less than that is a huge bonus. Big hit down the ground from Cartwright. Straight to Moses Enriquez, though, who was fielding at mid-off. And they have got 1 more delivery left. Maxwell on strike, sitting on 49. Can he bring up his 100 in this game, ladies and gentlemen? Do let me know. Do you think Maxi... Well, I was going to say, do you think Maxi's got the power? But I feel like that is an easy yes. But it's whether or not he has got the precision to be able to go on and get himself the 100. First of all, he does need himself 1 more run here to be able to bring up the 50 for Maxwell. Off 33 deliveries, it would be Maxwell half century as well. Says Prestige there. He is going to be on strike. The current one for Glenn Maxwell just hits the ball so hard. That is for sure. It's going to be now the closing ball of... Oh, it's a nice delivery there for Chris Jordan, and that is going to be the 50 runs for Glenn Maxwell. Probably not how he would have wanted to bring it up. No, it's a leg by. So it is going to stay at 49 there for Glenn Maxwell. That's the end of the 13th over as well, the first over of the power surge. And Maxwell will be still sitting on 49. We have got there. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Cheers for the support as well. Says Sebastian, you heard the man. If you haven't already, sure to hit that like button. It is hugely appreciated. All you guys tuning in, week out for these live streams. We are currently sitting on a total of 43 likes. Our live stream goal is always to hit that century. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button. 72% of you have said that it is going to be in that situation of 72% for the Melbourne Stars in this situation. Also, we have got there, Hamish. Didn't you say you and the family went to watch a match at the MCG? We did indeed. The Boxing Day test a couple years ago for New Zealand versus Australia. We did actually end up going over there and watching it. That's the thing, the Boxing Day test, that's just around the corner for the Ashes as well. This time, it is going to be Australia taking on England, which should be a very exciting one as well. Who was it last year? I think it was Australia versus India last year as well for the Boxing Day test match. But this is how it's going to be sitting for the test schedule of the Ashes. Maxwell hits a hard down the ground straight to Moses Enriquez. Doesn't clear the field. He does still remain on 49 runs. Bender Walsh's at the moment sitting on 17 runs off his first 2.1 overs, and also able to pick up that big wicket early on it was actually Marcus Stoinis, the first ball that the Walsh's bowled, was able to get a little edge of Stoinis's as well. Nerf will light up 8 matches in KFC BBL as well. Now, there's going to be a little bit leg side, and Glenn Maxwell, he will get 4 runs for that. You cannot bowl there if you're Bender Walshers. And also, beginning with the season opener on December 5th, when the Sydney Sixers take on the Melbourne Stars at the Sydney Cricket Ground as well. See that it was a Robert Miller. I'll line up 8 times beginning with the season as well. So is it like a competition type thing, as in like you have to spot all of the times that it has lit up, or is it something along those lines, Robert, or something else there? And so you see that Virat Kohli and Rohit, so you got to see Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma as well. No, we were the year just a little bit prior, so we were ending up. We got to see Trent Boult get that wicket of Joe Burns very early on in that Test match, and also, so we got to see the Kiwis take on the Aussies. So it was 2019, that Test match that we did go to, and it's always a good night when there's rugby and or cricket and a few beers. That one's going to be going through once again. And Maxwell, he didn't just bring up his 50, now he's sitting on 57 of 36 deliveries. So he looks like he is in a hurry at the moment to get towards that 100. Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, will he get the 100? And if so, how many runs will he end up with for Glenn Maxwell? At the moment, 13.3 here for the overs gone so far, but he does bring up 6 fours, 1 6 as well from IC 2019 as well. And it's like a place where you can win like a giveaway at the grounds during innings break games as well. Says Robert Miller there. Okay. So it is any time that it is at the MCG that they do end up having it, I guess. But yeah, we have got the Champions Cup coming this weekend as well to wash us. Oh, that's in the slot for Maxwell. He's got plenty of it, or does he? It's a long boundary. Oh, Chris Jordan not quite able to get to it there. And it does fall safe for Glenn Maxwell. I think the Stars will end up with 170 as well. Says Neil the dude there in the chat. So at the moment, Chris Jordan tried to get back to that one, just couldn't quite cut it off though. And Glenn Maxwell once again does fall safe. That's the thing, the MCG, it is a very long boundary. It's a mighty stadium and an Olympic stadium. I worked in Melbourne for a year and watched the ABs play there once as well. Says David, when was the last time the All Blacks played at the MCG? David, do you know that statistic? Because I assume it would have been a little while ago. Chris Jordan looks like he might have a little bit of an injury to his left arm as well. They've already lost the other Englishman, Tom Curran, in that bowling lineup. But now it is going to be Glenn Maxwell on strike to Walsh's, going for 10 runs of his first 3 deliveries. That's just whipped. And that one is going all the way. That is the maximum. And it's going to be Glenn Maxwell who has been able to get it all the way for the 6th. This is becoming a very expensive over for the second one of the power surge. Currently moving up onto 107 runs now off 13.5 overs. The Melbourne Stars a 63% chance of being able to win this game by the looks of it. And to Walsh's there, just getting the length slightly wrong. And Maxwell just able to scoop it around the corner nicely and does go straight all the way to the boundary. And we have got that 6 emoji from Sebastian there as well. And also we've got, speaking of which, the India versus South Africa series is a bloody long one. 3 tests and 3 ODI games as well, says Sebastian. So yeah, it should be a good time all throughout the night in South Africa for those matchups as well. So hopefully they do all get to take place. The Walshers there, Maxwell goes bang down the ground once again. There's no one back there, and that is a brilliant over for Glenn Maxwell. He was sitting on 49 at the start of it. Now he's sitting on 69, 29. Or sorry, I believe it was actually, was it 30 off the power surge or something along those lines? How many overs, Neil? As well says this news, and who's Munster and Leinster's game this weekend, Hamish? As well says Kevin. So Munster, they have got themselves, I want to say that they're taking on Castres, but I could be wrong there. Is it Castres that they are playing? No, I might actually be wrong. So I am going to quickly look it up to make sure that I have got the right fixtures for you. But Leinster, they have got their game. They are actually a Friday morning game, or the Saturday morning, I guess you could say, for here in New Zealand. It's when they are playing. But Maxwell at the moment, to bowl to him when there's only 2 fielders out, it's pretty much just a case of going like you're getting at least 20 runs scored off your Munster versus Castra at Thorntman as well for that one, says Sebastian. And then the other game, I believe it is Leinster. They are going to be taken on one moment. It is Montpellier that Leinster have got for themselves. And at their first fixture, wasn't it 2007? David, the last time AB's played at the MCG as well, says it, Robert. But at the moment, they have been favouring the league side a little bit more. The Melbourne Stars, we do see a massive over there with 20 runs scored off of the first over of the power surge. Went for 8, so they were able to get that 28. So that was a little bit too expensive for the Sydney Sixers liking. But what are you supposed to do when Maxwell's at the crease? I feel like you can't just bowl the ball off the pitch or else he gets a free hit. And then he would go out there and absolutely smack it for 6 as well. I don't know, it's going to be Hilton Cartwright, currently sitting on 12 runs off 12 deliveries. Maxwell is at the non-striker's end. He tried to smack that one hard there, Cartwright, but didn't get a lot of it at all. And Chris Jordan able to cut it off to just a singles. Black Caps have really struggled to win series against Australia and South Africa in both home and away. Why do you think they are underperforming or underperformed against these two teams, even in home also as well? Says Coding. I mean, at the end of the day, they're up against two very classy opposition in South Africa and Australia. So, yes, they may have played badly, but I think it's also the case of the other teams are also playing very well for those ones as well. Decent bit of water there, but now it is going to be Maxwell on strike. Tries a little ramp shot. Didn't quite work out for him, though. Well bowled by Hayden Kerr. Saw that he was changing early on. And Robert, are you more of a cricket guy or a rugby guy as well? Says Aiden there in the chat. Maxwell at the moment, they are showing the sweat just dripping from the forehead. It's probably, I would say, around that 20 degrees there at the MCG at the moment. They have got, at the moment, still on commentary, Aaron Finch. I'm wondering whether or not he is going to get a run around for the BBL before the new year. I don't think he will, though. I think that his knee has really been playing up since the end of the T20 World Cup. And unfortunately, he hasn't really had too many opportunities. It's going to be a big swing of the bat from Glenn Maxwell. It's a straight to Moses Henrique. So that's probably two in a row that he's unlucky not to be able to get to the boundary. And also, what is the MCG again, as well as this news? So it is the Melbourne Cricket Ground. It's kind of that one as well. I think Glenn Maxwell at the moment just having a bit of a chat with Aiden Kerr, who is bowling. How much of the Ashes will you be covering tomorrow as well? Says Sebastian. I am hoping to do the full day, but minimum we will be doing the first session and probably the last session as well. And it's whether or not, that's going to be another shot from Maxwell. But yeah, I am hoping to cover pretty much the whole test match. That one is going to be all the way for 6. And Glenn Maxwell does go bang once again. He now moves up onto 75 for himself. So the 100 could be just around the corner from an hour as well. And I do like all sports except tennis as well. Says it Robert there. Maxwell will probably get 100 in it there. And also we have got the Melbourne Cricket Ground. SCG is the Sydney Cricket Ground as well. Brilliant shot from Glenn Maxwell. Like they're saying, the hand speed that man has to be able to just swing through the line of the ball and just get it all the way for 6 is always absolutely phenomenal for him as well. And now it is 666 in the chat from Paddy Wagon. Be sure to use those 6 emojis if you have got them, ladies and gentlemen. But Kerr at the moment, he is under a little bit of pressure. Nice glided shot there from Maxwell through cover. And that is going to be another boundary for him. This is really speeding up now for the Melbourne Stars. 14.5 overs down, and they have brought up the 122 as well. And how did the Abbies get there as well? Says the Snooze. I assume that would have been, if we're talking 2017, they probably still would have travelled by the plane, of course. Now it is a nice shot out there from Glenn Maxwell. Just able to pierce the gap in the field. That's the thing. The first 2 deliveries, he ended up hitting it straight to 2 fielders. The next 2 deliveries, he ended up just smacking it right to either side. All one hand went off the bat there for Glenn Maxwell. But with it being as long of a boundary as it is, Jordan Silk not able to get in there and cut it off for him as well. Hooper Harlequin's play, as I says, Kevin, I could end up in that situation I could tell you, but I know that Sebastian here in the chat is a big Harlequins fan, so he will be able to tell you probably within about 5 seconds. Oh, good on you as well. Should I make a session break cover picture? You have to eat something and use the lure as well, says Sebastian. So I think my plan is going to be to do it as kind of 3 separate live streams for each session type thing, so that it does give me that opportunity in between to either set up the next one or also know exactly the kind of timed out thing. So it will be about 2 hours for each session. I think Cardiff as well, says Sebastian there, for who they are going to be playing. Another 6 from Robert as well. And it was a mighty 6 from Glenn Maxwell. 88 metres. He was able to hit that one. We could possibly look at a rain delay that one though, Sebastian, if you have got a little bit of spare time, if you wouldn't mind, because I feel like hopefully the rain doesn't affect it too much. But if it does, I would like to somehow keep the live stream going. Perhaps we play a little bit of Cricket 19 or Cricket 22 maybe while we are waiting. We might be able to start our career mode as well. Thank you for that tough game indeed. Our live stream Hamish as well. Says Kevin there on the chat, and separate streams works as well. Sees Sebastian there with the thumbs up, and now it is Stephen O'Keefe. He's only actually gone for the 13 runs of his first 3 overs, and he has been able to get himself the 1 wicket as well. And it was a big wicket early on of Joe Clark for the Duck. Maxwell doesn't have the helmet on at the moment. He is certainly feeling the heat at the MCG, just sitting it straight to Jordan Silk. That's the thing. They actually still have, not batting yet, Andre Russell, who will be able to go out there later on if they do lose a wicket and really be able to speed up that run rate. Because at the moment, Hilton Cartwright, he's going at 13 runs off 13 deliveries you send out Russell there at the end, I feel like he will certainly be able to ramp that up. And it was actually advancing there for Hilton Cartwright. So it looks like maybe he's decided that he wants to speed it up just a little bit there. And I'll make a rain delay cover then just to be on the safe side as well. Says Sebastian also, but how about we all thumbs up on the likes chat as well? That's going to be high in the air from Hilton Cartwright. Has he got all of it? Oh, there's no one out there. So it is going to be the 4 runs perfectly picking the gap. I thought for the way that it did hold up in the air that we were going to see it full safe or possibly go all the way for 6, but no one was out there for it as well. So that is going to be the 4 runs for Hilton Cartwright. Yeah, the man in the chat as well from the snooze. If you haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. 26-degree weather at Adelaide tomorrow. So yeah, that's going to be pretty hot. Is there any rain on the forecast for the next 5 days, Robert? Do let me know. But now Stephen O'Keefe, he's going to hit it straight down the ground there. Hilton Cartwright gets plenty of it, and that's going to be another 4 runs. The Melbourne Stars, they could be looking at 180 here if they keep going the way that they are, because Maxwell and also now Hilton Cartwright, I mentioned that he was going at 1 run a ball. He's certainly not going at 1 run a ball now. He has moved himself up onto 21 of 16 deliveries with a strike rate of 131. We have got the 180 score prediction. Maxwell's century as well, says Sports Sedan there. And it'll be hit to the leg side by Hilton Cartwright down the ground, and it is going to be cut off nicely. Jordan Silk, a little bit of a misfield almost from that man. And it is going to be once again Stephen O'Keefe who has been able to field it. So he's gone for 10 runs off this over, but if he gets out of this for anything less than 6, he's gone for less than 30 of his first 4 overs. But Maxwell at the moment, he is looking around for an opportunity to hit this one all the way to the boundary. Where does he decide to go? He's switching in, and he has hit it there to the offside, I guess you could call it, but it's really the onside. Well, that one as well. It's just a single to close out the over of O'Keefe, and he had his bowling figures, economy of going for 6 and over, and set him 1 for 24 there. Looking at whether they'll be taking a few drinks breaks as well. And also Novman said 185 for 5 there. Says Novman, but it was the switch, and he went extremely early there, Glenn Maxwell, to switch over. He was just having a bit of a chat there with Stephen O'Keefe as well. He's got a big smile on his face at the moment for Maxwell. 2 very experienced players as well. But ever since that power surge, they've been really struggling to keep it down to about that kind of 9 or so as well. And also we've got the 193 for 4, says Paddy Wagon there for the prediction. Also we've got the Hamali has said hi, welcome into the live stream, mate. If you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. 132 for 3 seems better than last night, but don't know how many overs right now as well. So they have got, at this stage, 134 for 3. They've got 4 overs left, so 24 more deliveries and 160 final prediction. And Maxwell to get 100 plus, no rain on the radar as well, says Robert. So that will be nice to see that we don't have any of the test match rained off. It may even be finished by the time we get the Big Bash back on the Saturday or the Sunday, actually. I think is when the Big Bash comes back, that Sunday night. Who knows, maybe the day-nighter will be all over by then as well. Hopefully not. Hopefully we do get to see it go relatively long in that one. Chris Jordan pitches that one up nicely, and it's going to be once again hit down the ground from it. Glenn Maxwell moving up onto 83 of 46 deliveries at the moment, or now 47, I should say. Cartwright sitting on a total of 22 for 17 for himself, and the predictive has actually got them sitting at 185 here for the Melbourne Stars, and also going to snipe shot for an extra 50 as well. Says that it was the snooze there in the chat as well, so that would be putting them up to around that 182, I believe, for that one as well. Extra 6s as well, says that the snooze. Let's see whether or not Chris Jordan does end up going for a 6 here. He's actually only gone for 11 runs so far of his first 2 overs. He actually bowled the first over of the power surge, going for a total of 9 runs off it, I believe it was. But now it is going to be Chris Jordan once again running, and it's beautifully bowled there. And it is the Yorker outside of off stump, and it is just the dot ball as well. Most likely to finish on Saturday, the Ashes test as well, says Aidan. But yeah, anyone who doesn't know when the next BBL games are taking place, as soon as they are happening, we are going to be covering them on the channel as well. It is going to be Sunday, 9:40 p.m. That game between the Brisbane Heat and the Sydney Thunder is going to be taking place. Both sides coming off wins, I believe, if I'm not wrong. Who did the Sydney Thunder play last time? I think they are sitting relatively up there, though. But the Brisbane Heat definitely getting their first win of the season. It was a tough fought one, but they were able to get the job done. And then it is the Hobart Hurricanes away from home taking on the Perth Scorchers, which is a rematch of the game that we did actually get to see yesterday. And it was the Perth Scorchers who were able to get over it as well. Nice Yorker once again. And it's going to be almost a run-out opportunity, but Henriquez with a little bit of a fumble. Robert has said they say 3-8 in as well, and 180 plus as well, says Gurav. And also we've got the 170 there for Hamali for the prediction as well. But it looks like he is going to be getting himself a new bat here, Glenn Maxwell. I don't know how much this will affect his batting, because, of course, when you've got your bat that is in the ball hard, as soon as you switch it, sometimes it just doesn't quite feel right. But Maxwell, I assume that this has the potential of being an even better bat, perhaps good bowling game from the Sydney team, from what I hear as well. Says this news, yeah, they've been very good so far. I mean, their run rate up against this Melbourne Stars lineup is 8.24, but they had a lot of very good overs in the middle, which might lead to being a decent enough total to chase Maxwell. Once again, it's the ball that's gone through the gap between the man at extra cover and also the man at mid-off, and that is going to be 4 runs once again for Glenn Maxwell. And also we have got there, if I ever date Perry, I promise to never gamble again, I swear as well. There's 8 of there of the tap, but Henriquez not able to cut that one off. Neither of the man at extra cover or Henriquez were able to get it. I believe it's actually Daniel Hughes. And it was just going straight through both of them. And Chris Jordan just getting that one a little bit too wrong. But then what is the right length to bowl to Glenn Maxwell? That is a problem. I mean, 4 days. I meant 4 days as well. So he's 8 in there in the chat. But now Maxwell once again, 87 of 48 deliveries here. Thunder had the Stars and Stars won as well, says Robert. So yeah, they were the team that the Stars were able to beat. And that one is going to be nicely pitched up. And that is going to be the dot ball, 16.5 of the Maxwell. Maxwell is blind player as well, says Glenn Luru. And yeah, he is certainly doing very nicely. And also, when is the next rugby coverage? It will be this weekend for the Champions Cup, I believe. Oh, we have got there not a good player as well. Says it was again. Luru at the moment, he's going all right, though. 87 of 49 deliveries. Very good innings for Glenn Maxwell, bringing up 2,300 runs inside of the BBL for himself as well. And Chris Jordan at the moment only going for the 6 runs so far. And also Maxwell has blind shots as well, says Luru, sorry. And also, I bet you could talk her to rig the games and bet in your favour as well, says Sebastian there. And now it is going to be, once again, Steeman and Chris Jordan, final delivery of his over. It's going to be glided beautifully by Maxwell. Looks like it is going to be running all the way to the boundary. And that is another one. Chris Jordan goes for the 10 runs off that one. And you mean Stars beat the Thunder because Andre's ball hit the wickets, but wasn't out as well. Says it Robert there. Also, we have got there Glenn LaRue. Gand LaRue, really, he is not a good player as well. Says Gand LaRue there. Moves up onto 91 of 50 deliveries here. Cartwright sitting on 23 of 19, and that is 17 overs down. They've still got 3 more left, and they are sitting on 144 for 3 here for themselves. That was a very nice shot. Ended up piercing the gap between, I believe, unfortunately for him, Stephen O'Keefe. He's not as quick as he used to be, and even the quickest men may not have been able to get to that one. And also Prestigious said to come on as well, and also Snipe Shot picking up as well. And there also we have got their Maxwell Tone as well there, says Prestige, sorry. And yeah, he's looking like he is getting extremely close. He's had 10 fours, 3 sixes, strike rate of 182 at the moment here for Glenn Maxwell. He is the captain of the Melbourne Stars for this one as well. Sebastian, are you mad? There's no way I'm ever going to do that. I want to see her strive and be the best she can be. I would be at every game and support her, win or loss as well. And you are killing it, keep it loud as well. And the chat says, brother Bilbo, I appreciate you being here. Mate, that's going to be Cartwright stumps. Hayden Kerr picks up the wicket. Unfortunately for him, that middle stump went flying. And that is going to be Hilton Cartwright there, who does lose his wicket. First delivery of the 3rd over for Kerr. And that is going to be the one there as well. We have got there in their own Australia team side not play many matches. You check records as well, says again LaRue. And also we have got there, you are killing it, Kiwi lad, as well, says brother Bilbo. But that is a brilliant delivery from Hayden Kerr straight through Hilton Cartwright, and he knows that it was a big mistake for him as well. And unfortunately, he puts his head straight up. Cartwright knows that it didn't quite go his way out there today. 23 off 20. I feel like this is the moment now that you decide to send out. Yes, they have Andre Russell now making his way to the crease. We have got there 150 chase. Should be a good chase as well, says this news. Although with Andre Russell now at the crease as well, I feel like Maxwell brings up his 100 and Andre Russell probably brings up about 30 plus of the limited amount of balls that he will get to face here as well. But 144 for 4. Oh, okay. Stephen O'Keefe has now got a limp as well. I did notice when he did end up chasing after that one, he did actually end up pulling up a little bit lame for half a stride before getting to the ball. That would be Tom Curran, Stephen O'Keefe. That's like half their bowling attack almost are already out injured for this matchup. Chris Jordan even had a little bit of a shoulder injury as well. Also, Russell is blind shots as well, says again LaRue. Although sometimes blind shots can get you boundaries. We saw that for the match-winning innings from Andre Russell in the last match for the Melbourne Stars. Able to hold the runs in a hurry, and definitely in this format of the game, when you've only got a total of 17 balls, you're not exactly going to play yourself in on the MCG surface. Slow ball there. It's going to be glided to third man, and they do get through for just a single there for Andre Russell, or do they? Yes, they do indeed. They were able to get the single there. And also we have got their not perfect players as well. And also we have got their your point shot as well. Says a Paddy Wagon there. But Russell able to bring himself up his first run of the match as well. He's looking dangerous for himself throughout the BBL. He ended up hitting the glove there for Andre Russell, but he has pretty much just flown over on a plane. He's only been there for 2 games and already been able to get himself over 50 runs in those 2 innings as well. Certainly helping the middle order T20 as well. Says that the snooze there in the chat. And now it is going to be Kerr who will be bowling. He was just able to get the big wicket of Hilton Cartwright. If he can pick up Maxwell, mad person as well. Says it again, the rule. Although he has been working on his temper very nicely in the last couple of years, I have noticed. That is why I think the captaincy has really helped him out, because of the fact that beforehand he would always get very fired up, but now he's pretty much got a microphone on him the whole time, so he can't really get away with sneaking in any cheeky words there as well. And at the moment, Hayden Kerr is sitting on 1 of 18 off 2.3 overs as well, and Australia does have a good record as well, says Robert there in the chat. And also we have got that. Plus, if I did tell her to rig the games, my relationship with her and her career will be over. I never want that to happen, never in a million years as well, says Aiden there in the chat. But now Tom Curran, he has made his way back out there. That is because of the injury of Stephen O'Keefe. It's a ramp shot there from Maxwell. Beautifully played. Almost goes all the way for 6, but it does go over the rope for 4. So now Maxwell moves himself closer and closer to the 100. And Bull Not See, I just hit in mind as well. Says it again, LaRue there. But 95 runs off 52 deliveries at the moment. Maxwell has moved up onto 11 boundaries so far for himself, or 11 fours, I should say. Also alongside that, 3 sixes he has been able to hit himself. The only sixes at this ground for the MCG. How he is batsman as well. Says it again, LaRue there. He's not a fan of Maxwell. Who's your favourite player? Again, LaRue, out of curiosity. I feel like I can answer that one, but it is going to be hit down the ground for Maxwell. He moves up onto 99 runs now. Generally, I guess I would be an awful sports personality husband as well. Says a bash in there. In the chat, 99 runs here for Maxwell of 53 deliveries. 9 runs so far off the over of Kerr, but he was able to pick up the wicket of Cartwright early on and at the innings as well. Hayden Kerr at the moment, he is getting smacked around a little bit here by Glenn Maxwell. And that is going to be a good close. And also, this is not player speciality as well. And there says it, Gan LaRue there. So would you prefer him at ODI then, I guess, and Maxwell Century? Let's go. Says Prestige 7 out. It's going to be Hayden Kerr. Well, it's going to be charging him once again. 9 runs so far off the over of Kerr, I should say. And Maxwell there, he hits it to the leg side. That is going to be the 100 for Glenn Maxwell. Hits it to the washes, and Maxwell is fired up, takes the helmet off, and does celebrate it at the MCG. 100 runs of 54 deliveries. Now, in the last match, he did say about the fact that he was happy that the younger players were able to go through and really help them get that win up against the Sydney Thunder. And this one, the veteran, and in this match, Glenn Maxwell picks himself up the 100 runs of 54 deliveries, 12 fours, 3 sixes. Jinx it as well, says Morcake there, and also the clapping from Sports Sudan there. And don't links it as well. And there, and also we have got all those Sixers ladies finished last this season. It's not like it could get much worse, as I said, mentioned there. And in that one now, Glenn Maxwell, that is going to be 66% boundary percentage in this innings for that man. He has been able to bring up almost 50 runs from just the boundaries. In fact, he's been able to bring up 60 of his runs. And also Maxwell, one very talented T20 player as well there, says Kevin. And yeah, that is a very good innings from the captain of the Sydney Stars, or sorry, the Hobart, no, not the Hobart, the Melbourne Stars. Usually moves up 5th on the Sydney Stars leaderboard behind Stoinis, Wright twice, Hanscom with 103. So Maxwell now sitting on 100 not out, and Virat and Baba as well in the chat. Says it again, LaRue. How's that going at the moment for the test side and the ODI? I know that him and Rohit Sharma don't seem to be able to get on the same team at the moment. Chris Jordan now going to be running him once again now for his final over of the match. It's going to be the ramp shot there from Maxwell. Goes over the man. It's going to be forward just short. And it's going to be 2 runs down to, I believe that's Jack Edwards, who has also made his way out onto the field, and Sydney batters better put in the work as well. Says the snooze, and also we have got there, well done. Says it Paddy Wagon there as well. But at the moment, it is going to be Chris Jordan just going for the single there. He won't mind that too much. But at the non-strikers end, it is going to be Andre Russell, who will be in a position of being on strike to Chris Jordan. The slower ball there, Maxwell, best innings as well. It was a Vidhan there. And yeah, very good innings from Glenn Maxwell. His highest ever score at the Melbourne Stars for himself. And at the moment, if he can get himself 2 more runs, he will actually go up there. 2 matches lost. Bro, Melbourne as well. Sees again LaRue there. Now the moment Russell is going to be on strike. 1 off 1 delivery so far for Andre Russell. Too bad. So today, blindly picks as well, says Gan LaRue. That's going to be a little bit loose from Andre Russell, but it is going to be going through for the 4 runs. He will take every run he can get. At the moment, it's hit him on the hip bone, but that is an extremely solid hip because that has rolled away for the 4 runs. 4 leg buys, and Steinis on his feet at the moment. He knows that he didn't have the best day with the bat, only getting the 3 runs off 5 deliveries, but he has certainly gone decently for his side here for Glenn Maxwell. Nice one, Maxie, especially from an all-rounder as well. Says Sebastian there on good bowls. Says the snooze there in the chat as well, but it did end up just hitting the hip of Andre Russell. Chris Jordan not too happy with that one, and a Maxwell mind so decided that's it as well. Says Gan LaRue there in the channel. Also, we have got the love from India Maxi, and also good commentary, says Vidhan. Thank you very much, mate. And yeah, Maxwell, very good innings for himself here. Andre Russell on strike, ends up hitting the ball out onto the offside, hitting it almost out cover region, even though he was trying for the pull shot there. Daniel Hughes able to cut it off. I'd say anything under 180 from here on out, the Melbourne Stars will probably be a little bit, I guess, 50-50 with 175 here is probably the minimum for them as well. And Hamish, did you know she has public profile and a private account on Instagram to request to follow as well, says Aiden there. And on Instagram says it was Aiden and how many overs at this stage. We have got ourselves 9 balls left of this first innings for Glenn Maxwell and his Melbourne Stars, sitting on 101 of 55 deliveries now. Like I mentioned, the top of that order was Marcus Steinis with 140-something down the ground there, and it is going to be once again the single. So this would be to go above Peter Hanscom if they get back for the 2, or tied with him as well. Has got to run in between the wickets. Oh, Andre Russell has fallen over there. He had to go, the big man, and 1.3 left as well, says Robert there in the chat as well. But yeah, Andre Russell, even though he's not as quick as he used to be, he still is able to go between the wickets not too badly for a big man from Jamaica as well. It was close to a run out though. He had to dive, but he didn't really want to dive. Got to spin it as well, says the snooze there. Jordan Silk almost able to get himself the run out there. And now at the moment, Chris Jordan so far, he's gone for only 4 runs off the bat and also 4 league buys so far in this over. So 24 runs off his first 3.4 overs here for him. And do let me know who you think is going to be facing the line, who will be bowling the last one. That's in the air, and Maxwell, he is going to be out on 103. That is going to be the end of his innings. So I believe he still gets that 4th place position because it is going to be just ahead of him, Peter Hanscom, who was 103, not out, but brilliant knock there from the captain, Glenn Maxwell, 103 of 57 deliveries. And now Russell, and also will be Bo Webster more than likely, who will be at the crease. But Maxwell, his first century for the Melbourne Stars. Possibly not the last of this BBL as well. Looking very safe at the crease there for him. And it was, in the end, taken by Daniel Hughes with the catch as well. Glenn Maxwell, he gets a standing ovation from the MCG crowd, I should say. 12 fours, 3 sixes, only 74 minutes at the crease. And the strike rate of 180 as well. He does put on the cap. And he is going to be going back, getting changed and getting ready for the second innings, where perhaps he will get to have the ball in hand as well for himself alongside Adam Zampa and also Case Ahmed, as it is looking like a very nice spinner's surface as well. But now Bo Webster made his way out there. 45 matches, 761 runs he has been able to get for himself with a best of 67 not out there. And congrats, Maxwell 10 out of 10 as well from Sebastian there. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Congrats, Maxwell, in the chat from Robert. And now it will be Webster on strike to the final ball of Chris Jordan's spell. Nope, we're not going to quite get to see it. He does have to run back in. I believe Bo Webster just not quite ready for that one by the looks of it. And at the moment, the umpires are risking it big time. Some of them end up cutting in front of the bowler, and they've got a good chance of getting cleaned up like they're playing 10-pin bowling if they keep on doing that. Definitely as late as they did. And also Maxie done his work as well. Said the Vidhan there, imagine if he gets like 5 wickets as well. Imagine that. That would be man of the match, man of the competition performance there from him as well. A big swing from Bo Webster. Doesn't connect. That is the end of the 19th over now. And it is 162 for 5 here. And congrats, Maxwell, as well, says Amale there. And I'm sorry, I don't think Sydney will win this game as well, says Aiden. We did see scoreboard pressure get to them a little bit in that game up against the Hobart Hurricanes, the last one that we do know of, that the Sydney Sixers actually lost their only game so far of BBL 11 that they torches. 3 wins from 3. They are sitting at the top on the 10 points. Then the Sixers sitting in second alongside the Stars, who are sitting on both 7 points. So whoever wins this game, they will be at least second. And if they get that Bash Boost point as well, more than likely straight up into number 1 as well. The Strikers and the Hurricanes both sitting on the 4 points. That's not a 4, that's a 6. And that is something that Glenn Maxwell was able to get 3 of in his batting innings as well. Then the Thunder sitting in there in 6th place on 5 points. The Heat on 4. And then the Renegades sitting there on 3 as well. The next few games that the Sydney Sixers have got for themselves at 6 days, 15 hours time or somewhere around there. I believe now it will just be the 6 days, 12 hours or something along those lines, and it is going to be the Sixers taking on the Strikers, also the Thunder taking on the Sixers. So that will be the Sydney derby on Boxing Day as well. Be sure not to miss that one. Sixers versus the Heat, and then the Renegades to start the new year off with a bang for that one as well. Then for the Melbourne Stars, it is going to be DeWalsh just bowling the final over. Big shot down the ground from Andre Russell. Almost picks out the fielder, but just falls short of Dan Christian there. It's going to be kept to just the 2 runs. Nicely done in the deep from Dan Christian, but it is going to be the Hurricanes as their first opponent in 9 days' time. So they've got quite a break here for the Melbourne Stars after this matchup. Then the Heat, then the Scorchers twice for the 2 headers, either side of 2021, transferring over to 2022 as well there. And also last T25 matches, Maxwell player as well, scores 728, 4, 16, and 40 as well. Worst player as well, says Ganlaroo. So he is not too much of a fair to Glenn Maxwell. That's a big shot from Andre Russell, but I think it is going to be, it's been dropped there by Aidan Kern, not quite able to get to it, and that is another mistake in the field. From those, I've got to bowl the ankles as well, says the Snooze there. And also Maxi take 2 wickets as well. No runs is ball 2 as well. And there, and Drew Sebastian there. And the chat we have got. And actually, if the Sixers win, me and Perry will be something before the end of the next year as well. Then also the record is not one where Steiners with 147 not out. That record is the one where Steiners with 147 not out as well. And in the world, in top 10 players as well, says it again, LaRue there, 4 deliveries left in this game. And it is a good shot once again from Andre Russell, hitting the ball hard. And that is something that he will always do when he is at the crease, running back for the 2 runs as well here, Russell, and moves up onto 8 runs off 6 deliveries. But 168 is what the Stars are sitting on here. Anything over 175, I would say, would be very tough for them to be able to catch. It is currently 65% chance of the Melbourne Stars being able to win this one. Andre Russell, has he hit a boundary yet? In his first little while, he has not. So I feel like there's certainly one coming soon for Andre Russell. With this one, sitting 3 balls left in the innings, he will try and go absolutely bang as well. He has hit it to the leg side. It is going up. He almost stood on his stumps. It's going to be 1 bounce 4 there for Andre Russell down finally, and Russell batting way too low as well, says Sport Sudan. And also that's, was that in the semis, Robert, as well there? Says Aiden there in the chat. And also we have got there, think so, Aiden. Says Robert there as well, but a good shot there from Andre Russell. Moves himself now up into the double figures here. For himself, he's got to run it forward on a full ball to hit a 6 as well. Says the Snooze. Was a nice shot from Andre Russell. He's got plenty of power. We saw him at a couple 100 meters in his last innings, I believe it was. But extremely close to standing on the stumps. And also Russell, also top 10 worst players as well. Says it again, I'm sure you can find 10 players worse than Russell and Maxwell around the world in T20, that is for sure. And it is going to be DeWalsh. Just now another bouncer missed there by Andre Russell, and they are going to be able to get through for the single. Just a little bit of a misfield behind the stumps. And also Russell is 1 player as well. Says again, LaRue, blind shots as well. He doesn't love his blind shots, that is for sure. It was the Stars and the Sixers in that game as well. Says it Robert there in the chat. And also we have got their blind shots in it as well. Now at the moment, Webster, he has 1 delivery left to face. They're sitting on 173. Anything above, well, to be honest, anything above 170 is probably a very good total at the MCG, definitely with how long the boundaries are. But now Bo Webster, final delivery here for himself. He has actually not scored a run yet off the bat. Can he get one here? It's going to be put in the slot. Strikes it nicely. Bo Webster hits it through the gap, and that is going to be the boundary. 177 is going to be how many they do need to chase down. It's 4 as well. Says it was Jadeja. Hopefully I've said that correctly. And also we have got there, you mean the worst player like Chris Gale as well. Says Aiden there, and my guess was 173. Says it was Hamali in the chat. So now we will do what we normally do, and that will be checking all of you guys' predictions as well. What do you hate me? So says Batty Wagon there in the chat. So the predictions that we have had from you guys in the chat, we did have 164 for the Stars from Sebastian, also 161 from Dwaz. We had there Kai Broom said 170 for the flat deck bar as well. So that was relatively close for himself as well. We have also got there 180 for 7 from Kevin Thomas, so relatively close for himself as well. And then also we have got there, I think the Stars will end with 170, 180, and Maxwell century for Sports Sudan. There's a very good shout. And also we have got there from Novmama 185, and then also 173 for it was Hamali as well for that prediction. So a lot of you guys were getting relatively close. 1 delivery as well, says the Snooze, although we have had all 120 of the balls, and now we are waiting for the second innings to get us underway. My score was 180, so close as well, says Sports Sudan there. And easy chase, let's go Sydney. It's all enough of me. I'm full love as well, says Aiden. So yeah, hopefully they will be able to chase it down for you, mate. But it's going to be tough to do the MCG. It's looking like it is going to be a nice surface for the spinners today more than probably the pace bowlers. So I would say Case Ahmed, Glenn Maxwell, Adam Zampa. You could probably even get away with one other bowler as well for them if you decide to give him a little bit of spin. Does Hilton, oh no, Hilton Cartwright's middle pace or kind of medium pace, isn't he? 168 for 4 is the prediction there for Nov Mum there. But now at the moment, they are just showing a little bit of a preview of the Ashes. The second match, it is going to be at the Adelaide Oval. It is going to be a day-night test, and it is going to be coming to you guys tomorrow on the Kiwi Lads channel. Australia taking on England. That is a day-night one, like I mentioned. So that does mean that it is going to be starting at 5 p.m. It is going to be all action, all out pace. That's the thing. It's 7 hours of cricket a day, 6 hours, 3 sessions, but we are going to be covering as many of them as we can, as many as the vocal cords will allow, and it should be a very exciting one, leading us in to perhaps the deciding test match, the Boxing Day test match, if Australia are able to keep their undefeated streak on the day-night test matches as well. I see that they have brought back Patrick Starr as a series, which is nice. He has got his own one after SpongeBob SquarePants by the looks of it. Yeah, also got there. It was the BBL game after the Boxing Day test as well. Watch Philippe to score 100 as well, says Aiden. With the correct bats, perhaps he can get himself over the line here for himself and get another century in this game. I believe the closest we've been to 2 centuries in the same game was probably Matthew Wade getting 93, and then Colin Munro going out there and getting himself the full 114 not out, the highest score ever for the Perth Scorchers as well. And do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, how many runs do you think the Sydney Sixers will be able to get? Yeah, I remember that innings. It was like, it was must have been like that just before the finals, Robert, as well, says Aiden. I think we may have even covered it on the channel as well. I could be wrong there. If I am, I do apologize, but I think we might have covered that one on the channel. I can't quite remember, though. I have to wait and see. But Josh Philippe, will he be able to get himself the 50 in at this innings? Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like that's the thing, Josh Philippe, very talented player. It's going to be tough for him. That is for sure. Can he get himself 50? I'm wondering whether or not he can do it. Yeah, I've got there. They will get the win as well. Says that it was there from Aiden there in the chat as well. But do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who's going to be the leading wicket taker for them as well in this game for the Melbourne Stars. They have got Adam Zampa. They've got Case Ahmed, Brody Couch, good young up-and-coming bowler. Nathan Cortinile as well. Glenn Maxwell, Andre Russell, Bo Webster. You name it, they've got about 7 different bowling options here for them if they do need them. So it is going to be very interesting to see who can really step up in that bowling innings and get themselves close. We have got their 178 for 5, says the Snooze. So he is saying that they will be able to chase it down. Game 20 of 61 as well. And there says Robert in the chat as well. So we are already up to game 13 of the BBL. It has been absolutely flying by. We have got a couple of days off, though, from the BBL action, as they are not actually having any games while this day-night test, day 1, 2, and 3 are taking place. But after that, we're back at it on Sunday. Heat taking on the Thunder. That is match 14 of the BBL 11 competition, and it is going to be the Brisbane Heat hosting the Sydney Thunder. Should be an exciting contest. And then the game straight after that, it is a rematch of a game that we got to see yesterday between the Scorchers and the Hurricanes, in which the Scorchers were able to pick themselves up an impressive victory in pretty good fashion as well for that one. This is how the table sits at the moment, and because of that win for the Scorchers, they actually move up into first place on the table. It was actually going to be whoever won that game between the Scorchers, and also I believe they were playing up against the Hurricanes, weren't they? Whoever won that game was actually going to be moving into first place. The Bash Boost points is actually something that has been carrying the Hobart Hurricanes. The reason they are sitting in 5th there is because they have received so many of them. They've received one in every single game that they have played, and that is the reason that they just keep on going. Same with the Strikers. Even though they're losing, they're getting those Bash Boost points, and they will be crucial at the end of the season as well for them. And I believe the Melbourne Stars, they haven't done that, though. Same as the Sydney Sixers. They are 2 sides who haven't quite been able to get that one going. The Thunder, they have received 2 of them for themselves, so decent in that regard. Good bowling as well, and 178 for none, says Aiden there. Also, Jay is killing it in the other stream, hammering Muffets left, right as well, says a bash in there. And also we have got there in the chat 177, the Snooze, 177 for 8, says Amali there, and there will be no wickets to be taken as well as the prediction from Aiden. But nonetheless, what did you think of that innings from Glenn Maxwell, ladies and gentlemen? 103 off 57 balls, 12 fours, 3 sixes, the only man for the MCG home side here, the Melbourne Stars, to be able to get it all the way over the boundary for the 6 ones. Andre Russell, 12 runs off 8 deliveries. Hilton Cartwright, 23 off 20. And then Nick Larkin was the other batsman who did get a little bit of an impact in this one, 23 of 25 with the ball in hand here. We did see Stephen O'Keefe once again, extremely solid bowling performance from him, only getting the 1 wicket, but only going for the 24 runs as well for his side after his 4 overs. The Warshes, he brought up his 50. Unfortunately, it was with the ball in hand, though, going for 12.75 and over. Picked up the very first ball. He was able to get that massive wicket on Marcus Stoinis that he did bowl. And then Chris Jordan, also same figures as Stephen O'Keefe, going for the economy of 6 runs, 24 for 1 off his 4 overs. Lloyd Pope was expensive, actually got subbed out for the X-Factor player, and that was just due to him not really performing the way that he would have been wanting to. Dan Christian getting the 1 wicket after 2 overs, bowl going for 17. Moses Enriquez bowled himself for one of the middle patch, and he was only going for the 5 runs. Hayden Kerr, 1 wicket as well for that man, and that was the wicket of Hilton Cartwright, was able to clean bowl, and we have got there Zampa Couch and Maxwell to take the wickets, and Andre Russell to take 2 as well. And there as well, so we will have to wait and see how it goes. My opinion is give Maxwell the T20 and ODI captaincy. Finch's days are over. Definitely if Finch's knee keeps on playing a factor for him. Unfortunately for him, he just doesn't seem like he's 100%. I have to say fair play to Finch, though, because he did say that the reason he can't play in this BBL so far is because he pushed the rehab that hard so that he could be at the T20 World Cup. And I mean, he was able to go on and help Australia get themselves a win in that T20 World Cup, but it paid a price on the body for him. So hopefully that knee does recover and he does get a chance back out there for the Renegades as well. But at the moment, they are just having the chat to Maxwell. He will be happy with how that innings went. And I did say, wonder if you guys remember earlier on in the innings when Lloyd Pope dropped Glenn Maxwell. He was sitting on 16 runs off 10 deliveries. And I said, I'm going to write that down because we're going to remember that when Maxwell, I think I said when Maxwell gets his 50. I didn't say a century though, but he went on and he didn't just get the 50. He was able to double it and get himself that 103 runs as well. We others got there, but with the vice captaincy, who gets it as well? Says Robert. That is a good question. I feel like they would either go, who's their keeper going to be? Because Matthew Wade seems to be in and out of that side. Same with the test team at the moment in Australia and New Zealand can both host cricket World Cups. Why is it? Why it can be true for Olympics? Why Australia just hosts Olympics and its own, not with New Zealand? I think it is just easier to have it all in the one country as well, rather than co-hosting it. Because I know that the Cricket World Cup, I think it is, or the Rugby World Cup for the women's side of it, is going to be a co-hosted thing. And Adam Zampa, Robert, as well. And there says Sebastian for who would be the vice captain. So 2 of the Melbourne Stars member at the moment. Adam Zampa hasn't been able to pick up a huge amount of wickets this year so far. Of course, Harris Ralph, he is not too far away from returning after the series between West Indies and Pakistan. And he is certainly going to be an exciting prospect for the Melbourne Stars. I remember when he came in and he got a hat-trick on the same day as Rashid Khan. And also, he was able to get himself a 5 for, I believe it was, in one of his very first innings for the Melbourne Stars. And Glenn Maxwell, he just didn't believe his eyes when he was like, pretty much how lucky they were to sign him as well and carry his ODI keeper and test keeper as well. Says Robert there. Has he ever had a chance in the T20? I know he's kind of been right on the verge as well for those T20s, definitely with the form that he's had at the Strikers recently. But you've got a lot of keeper batsmen. I feel like I'd like to see Josh Philippe as well get a bit of an opportunity in the future. But it's whether or not they pick him purely for his keeping skills or whether they go for someone such as a Matthew Wade or someone along those lines. Although Philippe has improved with his keeping. You can see him getting better and better every single week. Maybe even you go, I don't know whether or not would Sam Harper ever get a look in at international level. Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Who would you have as your top 3 Australian keepers for T20? I'm predicting Sydney to start off strong from what I hear as well, says this news. Yeah, when you've got Philippe at the top order alongside Mr. James Vince from England. A couple of his other Englishmen have been fallen over in the earlier stages, such as a Tom Curran. He has unfortunately got a bit of an injury for himself. Also, Chris Jordan looked like he was feeling a little bit worse for wear after that first inning. So James Vince is going to have to carry the English in this one. And then Moses Enriquez, the leading run scorer at the moment in the KFC Big Bash. He is going to have a big impact in the second innings as well. But I will mention anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are currently sitting on a total likes of 60 as well. So thank you all very much for that. Our like goal is normally hitting somewhere near that kind of 100 or so mark, but I'm not too sure whether or not we will get there today. But if you are new, sure to hit that subscribe button. We have got plenty more of the KFC Big Bash, and also the Ashes will be coming tomorrow. I'm hoping to line up a few special guests to have on those Ashes live streams as well to keep you guys entertained for the full day's worth of cricketing action. And Mr. Vince 10 out of 10 out of 10 as well says Sebastian there. How many runs do we think Josh Philippe will get? I know that someone said he would get 100. Do give us your exact predictions. I'm going to say he gets 58 runs. 58 or less than 10, I think are the two that I'm going to be going with. James Vince as well. Is that like James Bond? By the looks of it there as well from Sebastian. But yeah, I will say either 58, I think it was predicting TAB to fave the Melbourne Stars or the Melbourne Stars as well, says the Snooze. So yeah, at the moment, the Melbourne Stars, they have got a 71% chance of being able to win this game, but they are going to need some very solid batting from the top order, the Sydney Sixers here, and they cannot afford to lose any early wickets. As soon as you lose Philippe, Vince, and Henriquez, this game is all but over for them. So they need to make sure they stick it out at the crease, and they do just keep on working hard and trying to get towards that total. That's the thing. The Bash boost point, they will only need themselves a total of 68 to be able to receive that. They only went for 12 runs off their power surge as well, or their power play for the first 12 overs, or the first 4 overs, I should say, of that power play. So we will have to wait and see whether or not that will be the case for this one as well. But Philippe, 58 or not too many at all. And also I'm going to say James Vince will get himself 28 in this one. 8's a common number at the moment because they do need 68 to be able to chase that down. I'm just going to quickly write all those down. And then Moses Henriquez, he will only get himself 13, we'll go with for this one as well. 3 loss shouldn't be too bad for the silent ones to shine as well. Says that it was the Snooze. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. They have still got Daniel Hughes, who is yet to really fire. Jordan Silk as well. Dan Christian, very experienced. I don't know whether or not Tom Curran will be batting as high up the order as he would have been. They've also got being brought in, I believe they actually brought in Jack Edwards because of the couple injuries that they did have. But the Sydney Sixers, they will need 178 runs to win this one. They will need 8.9 runs per over as well for them to be able to get the job done. Maxwell now leading his side out onto the field. Steinus at the moment just getting a bit of tape on the fingers or the whole hand as well. Looks like he's getting ready for a boxing match, Steinus, because of how much he has got. How are you, bro, as well? Says Robbie, I'm doing very well, mate. Thank you very much for tuning in. Who do you think will be able to win this game? Do let me know in the chat as well. Adam Zampa, Case Ahmed, Glenn Maxwell, all options for the spinning. And it looks like Glenn Maxwell will be opening the bowling with himself here. By the looks of it, he has decided that that will be the way to go. And opening the batting here for the Sydney Sixers, I assume more than likely they will end up in that situation of still going for Philippe and Vince, and that is exactly what they have done. We have got there, reckon they can do it, Kiwi, as well as his brother Bilber. I mean, it's tough. I'm thinking back to when they got that 215, and I think at the moment the Melbourne Stars are the favourites, but I'm going to say Sydney Sixers. If they don't do it, they will get within 15. I think it's going to be very close for that one. Good work, Hamish. I'm on the grave shift tomorrow, so I'll be tuning in as well. Says the Snooze. So yeah, we are going to be covering the Ashes for you guys as well. We've never actually done a full test match or anything along those lines, so hopefully it does go smoothly, and the vocal cords do also go smoothly for those ones as well. But I'm hoping to have a few guests lined up for those live streams as well to keep you guys entertained with a whole heap of new action. Few new faces, few familiar faces. Familiar? That doesn't sound right. Familiar. Similar, I think was the 2 words that I was trying to say. Familiar is not a word. Put it on a shirt, though. Who knows? Maybe one day it will catch on. But Glenn Maxwell, he will be bowling the first over of the match for the Melbourne Stars. Does love backing himself inside of that power play low as well. Says the Snooze there. 91 matches, 35 wickets taken for Glenn Maxwell, and a best of 3 for 26. He has been able to bring up the century, perhaps. Like someone mentioned, imagine getting a 5 in the same game that you do get yourself a century as well. They have got Andre Russell warming up in the background. They have got Adam Zampa, Case Ahmed, and also a few of those other pace bowlers who have a good opportunity. Josh Philippe once again hits it in the air. Oh, it's just lobbed. The man who was on the ring. Why wasn't he on the ring? That's the big question. I think he was walking in just a little bit too far, and Glenn Maxwell is not happy there with Case Ahmed. Unfortunately, if he was on the ring, he would have been able to get that one, but he was just a few too many steps in, and because of it, and Glenn Maxwell, he knows. I think straight away, Glenn Maxwell, he did end up in that situation of saying that he should have been back there. Philippe straight down the ground, 4 runs. Maxwell looked straight at Case Ahmed and said, that one's on you, mate. We have got that familiar plus similar equals familiar as well. And also we have got there Somalia as well in there. From it was the Snooze, but Glenn Maxwell hit straight back down the ground by Josh Philippe. Perhaps that is the early lifeline that Philippe needed to be able to go on to get himself a massive total. But at the moment, 6 for none here for the Sydney Sixers. Philippe is going to be hit in front of the stumps. A little bit too high, I think, for that LBW shout. And just a little bit down leg as well. So at the moment, it is 6 for none after 0.3 deliveries here. Maxwell could have had that massive wicket of Philippe. They are just looking at it one more time. Yeah, I think that one was missing the leg stump there as well. Philippe now on strike, whips it to the leg side, and they will be able to get themselves an easy single. Andre Russell cuts that one off nicely. Now, I am going to I don't want to, but I'm going to count that as a dropped opportunity. I'm going to have there a 0 for Josh Philippe, because I did the same with Glenn Maxwell when he was dropped on 16. Is that drop there of Josh Philippe going to be the difference between him getting himself into the position of getting 100? James Vince at the moment, 49 matches, average of 31.65, and his best is 98 not out. I remember that match. It was either last year or the year before, and the bowler actually bowled a wide, so James Vince didn't get a chance of hitting the 100. It's going to be nicely edged down. Too short fine man, or short third man, sorry. And it is just a single there. So Maxwell going for 7 so far off his first over. That's the thing. If he goes for a boundary here, it's almost as many runs as the Melbourne Stars had off 4 overs that the Sydney Sixers have been able to get in just the 1 over of their power surge so far. Philippe whips it to the leg side. Sorry, it's actually Vince there. And that is going to be the end of the over. And they have been able to get themselves 8 for none off the very first one. Decent start to the match for them, but it could have been a big wicket earlier on of Josh Philippe if Qais Ahmed had been able to take that catch, but it just went a little bit over the head. They are just looking at that one. I think Glenn Maxwell, he was more frustrated at the fact that I feel he would have sold Qais Ahmed, maybe go back a little bit further so that you were on the ring, but he did end up just a little bit too far in. Qais Ahmed, not a lot of height to the man as well, but a decent first over from Glenn Maxwell. Did get hit down the ground over his head by Josh Philippe for the 4 runs, but overall, I feel like they won't mind that one too much overall there for the first over of the match. They do need around that 9 per over right from the start, right from the word go here for the Sydney Sixers. So it is going to be so important that they do keep that kind of strike rate ticking over, or else you get into the chasing the 12s, chasing the 15s, and then all of a sudden you just got to go bang, 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 bang. But Brodie Couch, he's been going bang, bang, bang recently, been able to pick up a few wickets in his first few games of the BBL career. Pitches it up nicely. And James Vince going to be working it off his legs. Do they want the 2? No, they just take the 1 there for the Sydney Sixers. Behind the stunts for this one, Joe Clark. The good news for Joe Clark is at least he has been keeping well, because the batting side of it has not been going his way, but he hasn't really made too many mistakes behind the stumps. And I guess that might be another reason why Joe Burns might not get to open, because they would still need another keeper. Who else have they got, the Melbourne Stars, for the keepers? Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen. And now Brodie Couch here. He is going to once again be steaming in. So he's been able to pick up a few nice early wickets, and they haven't exactly been terrible batsmen either. They've been some of the top guys around the competition. And now Brodie Couch steaming in. He does like to get them down there about 135, 140, normally on a good day. And that is going to be nicely delivered. 138, smack bang in the middle almost for Brodie Couch, but they give them a little bit of a round of applause. Like I mentioned, they've got Zampa, they've got Qais Ahmed, and they've also got Glenn Maxwell, who can bowl himself. It seems like there's a little bit of turnover on offer on the surface at the MCG. Massive boundaries as well, which does mean most of the time when you hit the ball in the air in the outfield, it does end up falling safe, just because there is that much space that no one really does end up catching up to that ball. I've got a couple men in the deep at the moment. Nicely bowled there from Brodie Couch. Once again, good pressure building for him. And at the moment, it is a 70% chance of the Melbourne Stars being able to win this game, ladies and gentlemen. So they are sitting very nicely indeed to be able to go on and get themselves another win. And if they do somehow defend that bash boost point of 68 runs, it will be how many they do require for the Sydney Sixers. If they defend that bash boost point, that will mean that they will go straight into first place if they do end up getting that win as well. But Bo Webster just swapping to the other side of the pitch. I believe he's now on leg side rather than the off here. Brodie Couch once again. It's going to be whipped away nicely by Josh Philippe. Cut off in the deep though. Good fielding in the end from Larkin, who was able to stop it from going to the boundary. And that's the other thing. We haven't even seen Hatcher so far throughout this year. And he was one of the bowlers who were like one of the up-and-comers for the for the Melbourne Stars last year. Liam Hatcher, I believe it was. He hasn't actually had an opportunity to play as of yet. So I don't even know if he's still at the Stars. I believe he is. So I'm wondering when he will get a chance. But at the moment, the way that, this youngster Couch is going, I don't know whether or not he will get himself too many opportunities. That is going to be glided there by Philippe straight through the gap between third man and backward point. And that is going to be the 4 runs there for Philippe to get himself moving up almost into, yes, he is in double figures now, moving up onto 13 off 8. Melbourne win as well, says Sports Hunting Live and Wicket Time Bro as well. Who do you think will be able to get the wicket? Sports Hunting Live, do let me know. Hilton Cartwright, Nathan Court-Denial, Seb Gotch, Liam Hatcher, Hinchcliffe, Nick Larkin, Glenn Maxwell, Tom O'Connor, O'Connell, See, that's the thing. They've also got Big Billy Stanlake, who hasn't had an opportunity, Marcus Stoinis, Adam Zampa, Joe Burns, Sam Rainbow, Joe Clark, Case Ahmed, Sam Elliott, Bo Webster, Harris Ralph, Andre Russell, and then also Dayanal as well. They've got a big squad for the Melbourne Stars. Nicely placed there by Philippe, and this is going to be the 2 runs here for himself to close out the over, and that is 15 runs off 9 deliveries now for Philippe. This end of the second over, and it is 17 for none here. Well, there's a hello, bro. I'm from India as well, says Alone Boy. Welcome into the live stream, mate. Hope you are doing well, and hope you are excited for not just the Big Bash tonight, but also the Ashes that are going to be taking place tomorrow. It is going to be a day-night test match. Oh, okay. They are saying that Stephen O'Keefe there, he will be out for the next couple of weeks at least with the injury that he has got himself. So if he is back, it will be very surprising within the next couple of weeks. So that is not good news for them, as he was almost taking back that golden cap for himself for the wicket takers. Now it looks like Adam Zampa, he is going to be bowling inside of the power play as well. They have got the 4 overs at the start, and then you have got the 2 power surge overs that you are allowed to take a little bit later on. Their current run rate, 8.5, required run rate, 8.94. So they are right on track at the moment for them to be able to get the win, possibly. The Sydney Sixers, although Adam Zampa, 79 matches, 89 as well. I'm India, bro. Read comments, bro. And tell your name and country as well. Says Alone Boy. So I am from New Zealand, and my name is Hamish as well. And also some people just call me the Kiwi Lads because it is a little bit easier to spell, I think. But yeah, pretty much. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're back for the Ashes tomorrow as well. But it is going to be a very exciting one. Definitely with the closing of this match for the Bash Boost target. They do need themselves 67 runs to be able to get there. It's going to be pitched up there nicely by Zampa. Whipped away by James Vince. Hits a deep mid-wicket. And it is just going to be the single. So now Philippe will have the strike. Now him and Zampa. That's going to be a good battle because both of them love to play aggressively. Philippe doesn't like getting kind of held down at one end. Zampa doesn't like really giving the batsman too much width unless it's part of a strategy to try and get himself a nice early wicket up against Philippe. Perhaps he bowls it quite well, quite wide outside of off stump for this one. Got quite a few tattoos on the arm at the moment for Adam Zampa. Where is he going to be going? See, he's got all the fielders up on that offside, so it could be a little bit of a double bluff. But Josh Philippe versus Adam Zampa, 2 dismissals so far, does put it on the stumps, and it is going to be just hit to Bo Webster. But Philippe, at the moment, he is one of those guys who won't like to be stuck at the end for more than a couple balls. Normally, we see a very aggressive shot from Philippe when he does feel like he is starting to get held down by the batsman, or by the bowler, I should say. And Adam Zampa now bowls it, whip to the leg side, and it's going straight to the man once again. Webster, fielding 2 from 2, and the pressure will start to build a little bit. It is currently 3 balls down into this over for Adam Zampa, and he has only gone for the 1 run so far. Once again, it is going to be Zampa. He actually had a very good final over for them in their game up against the Sydney Thunder. Did end up saving the match for them, even though there were a couple dropped opportunities. That was a big sweep shot from Philippe, but doesn't quite connect with it, but does still get himself the single. 95.5 kilometers per hour there for that delivery of Zampa. And also we have got there the face palm as well from the snooze there. And now it is going to be, like they're saying, just a little bit skiddy for Adam Zampa there when he does end up really throwing it through there. He knows how close he was to being able to get that wicket there, Zampa, but just didn't quite get it through. Now it is going to be James Vince at the moment. He is sitting on 3 of 4, and he has actually got James Vince out once in the past as well. James Vince, it's a hard. Did he step on his stumps there? No, not quite. And they are going to be able to get the single. Tell you what, he was very close to it as well by the looks of it there, James Vince. Very good over from Adam Zampa, though, only going for the 3 runs with the 1 delivery left. And this one as well, he's his time, he starts tomorrow at 9 a.m. In your morning as well, says Robert there. So yeah, it's going to be a nice early morning start in India for the test match between Australia and New Zealand. But yeah, you will be able to catch the whole day perhaps for that one as well. It's going to be pitched up, shot down the ground from Philippe, straight to Glenn Maxwell. Brilliant over from Adam Zampa, and 20 for none now for them as well. Hello, Mr. Indian Man as well, says Amish Spencer there. But a good start to the match so far for the Melbourne Stars. That over certainly brought it back nicely for 6.67. And there as the current run rate. The Stars at this point were sitting 2 wickets down, and they did have 10 runs on the board. So they actually had double the runs with none of the wickets coming alongside them as well. So it's nicely done so far from the Sydney Sixers, but they cannot afford to lose any more of these early wickets like we saw from the Melbourne Stars, because they were 5 down in the end. They actually came back very nicely in that matchup. It looks like it will. It will now be Nathan Cotonile. Geez, I went really out of focus there, didn't I, when I was yawning? But 59 matches, 69 wickets with an economy of about 7.5. They wouldn't be minding that too much to have the final over of the power play as well. It is a specialty to be able to bowl during a power play with only 2 men back. That is not quite where he wanted to put that one. Andre Russell able to cut it off in the deep. Well fielded there by the big man, and that is going to be kept to just the one as well. He gets the high five from Webster. Good effort from Andre Russell. They are just talking to Glenn Maxwell once again. He did have a phenomenal innings, 103 runs for himself. He did go out right at the end, unfortunately, but it did mean that Andre Russell, he was also able to get himself about 12 runs off 9 deliveries for that one as well. But Philippe sitting on 16 off 13 as well there for Josh Philippe. It's going to be on the leg side. He does whip it round, and now Andre Russell going to have to replicate what he just did. Fields it in the deep once again and does keep it at just a single. And also we have their Modest out there as well. So I assume that would be James Vince if he was on strike. Who do you think will be able to get the wicket there, Mod? Do let me know. At the moment, Cotonile is bowling. They have still got Adam Zampa. Kaiser Ahmed has not had an opportunity yet. And also we've got the caught out. I got caught out so hard at rugby training tonight with a lovely Bronco as well. Oh, that's the one you just got to keep on running back and forth, isn't it, Hamish, if I'm not wrong? Those are not very fun at all. Definitely when it's like just getting the first one. That's a nice shot there from Vince. And it has found the gap there. And it is going to be racing away to the boundary there, James Vince, with a nice shot off Cotonile as well. And you've got the out, as what says Mod there. And the chair as well. Although that one, it was in the air from James Vince, but it did fall safe. And he was able to hit it over the boundary. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are currently sitting on a like total of 62 as well. So let's see whether or not we can push towards that 75 by the end of 10 over. So if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is going to be James Vince here. It looks like he's in some decent form for the early stages of his innings also. But 26 for none at the moment. This power surge definitely going better than it did for the last time for the Melbourne Stars. Giving himself a little bit of room, and that's going to be whipped off the legs, and that's going to be 4 more runs for the leg by as well. As Maxwell bowled, he did bowl the very first over of the match. Did end up going for, I believe it was 9 runs in total, or 8 runs. And then there was an early chance that they almost had Josh Philippe out, but unfortunately just falling safe for the Melbourne Stars. Where we have also got there in the chat, it was hell as us. Hamish Spencer, how long did you have to do it for? Hamish, do let me know. But Cotonile just getting that line a little bit wrong, and it did end up hitting the hip of James Vince. And you could hear the aggression from Cotonile. Not a happy man at the moment, that is for sure. He's already gone for 10 runs off this one, although only 6 of them go against him, of course, with those leg buys going against the keeper instead, which is pretty harsh because Joe Clark couldn't do a thing or two about that one. Now, once again, good shot there. It's in the air, and it's going to be taken, and Bo Webster gets the wicket. And that is going to be James Vince now on his way. 9 runs of 9 deliveries, and he is going to be out. Cotonile picks up his man as well, and James Vince, he is not too happy. Early wicket falling for the Sydney Sixers, and now they are going to be sitting on 30 for 1 here. Cotonile, he struck it all right there, James Vince, but just didn't quite have the room to free up the arms, and it straight down Bo Webster's throat. And it was a great shot in the end in terms of for the Melbourne Stars, because they were able to pick up that wicket as well. And 5 times my time was around 6 minutes and 10 seconds as well, says Hamish Spencer there. But yeah, that wouldn't have been too fun for the kind of, is it pre-season at the moment, Hamish, that you are into, or have you got a game coming up? As well, do let me know. But 9 off 9 there for James Vince. It is going to be the first wicket falling here for the Sydney Sixers, and now it does have them as a 26% chance of being able to win this game with this partnership between Henriquez and Philippe. They have got talent, and they have certainly got a good chance of being able to help out their side and win this game, but we will have to wait and see. Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who is going to be the next wicket that does fall for the Sydney Sixers. That's if they lose another wicket, or will these two be able to bat right through and possibly win their side this match? But it is going to be Cotonile once again now. Will be finishing off his over. Just the one more delivery left, and it will be Henriquez who is on strike. Was able to have a decent over with the ball in hand, only going for the 5 runs. Doesn't normally bowl too often, Henriquez. But did decently. I guess it's always the second innings, isn't it, that the yawns start to come in as well. Now it is going to be Cotonile, nicely blocked there by Moses Henriquez. They run through, and once again, Cordonal is not a happy man. We can just hear him swearing flat out. I believe it is preseason in terrible humidity as well. It was 30 degrees. It was my first Bronco since early last year as well. So yeah, that would have been very fun at all. But the end of the power surge here for the Sydney Sixers, and they are going to be sitting on 31 for 1 after the 4 overs, or maybe 30 for 1. Are they 30 for 1 or 31 for 1? Thought they moved up to 31, but I could be wrong there as well. But pretty much it is going to be that they're ahead by about 20 runs or so at this point in time, with the way that they did go in that power play, and also some playing some backyard cricket time watch Kiwi stream as well, says Kevin. So yeah, hopefully you are enjoying a bit of backyard cricket. Are you more of a batter or a bowler in the backyard? I know that I probably used to be more of the batting, although I was decent with, you know how you put the tape on half of the tennis ball so that it swings all over the place. I feel like I was decent at controlling the swing of that one as well. But now it is going to be Case Ahmed being brought into the bowling attack. Bash boost target. They need 67 runs to be able to chase this one down and get themselves the extra point. If they get that extra point, there's a chance they could go to the top of the table here if they do end up winning this one. But at the moment, it's going to be ticking up nicely, and they are up to 32 for 1 after 4.1 over. I thought that they were 1 run behind there, and also we have got there about 10 of us fainted. It was a war zone as well, says Amish Spencer. Geez, 10 of you. How many of them were on your team, Amish? Because I feel like once 10 of you go down, surely it's about time that you do call it a day. But that one is going to be going into the deep, and once again, it will be just a single. So at the moment, doing decently, I almost said, which is doing nice and decently. I'm combining all of the words today by the sounds of it. 1 for 33 here for the Sydney Sixers. The next 3 men that they have got who will be going to the crease: Daniel Hughes, Jordan Silk, and then also Dan Christian as well. Okay, so Ahmed, that's a shot there from Moses Enriquez. He gets all of that one, and it's gone all the way for 6 there from Moses Enriquez. Good use of the feet, gets to the pitch of the ball, and then sends that one back over the head of a Case Ahmed as well. Batsman Hamish, hit ball everywhere. I use tennis ball for safety as well, says Kevin there. Like they're saying, good bit of intent there from Moses Enriquez, who is the informed batsman at the moment. 70 people, all the grades were even there, even the Colts as well, says Hamish Spencer. So that would have been a very big Bronco. That's which, nice little bit of width on offer there for Case Ahmed, and it does seem like it is gripping in the pitch and just spinning quite nicely. This is going to be the location of the Boxing Day test. I don't know whether or not we're going to be on this pitch. Surely not. I think it will be one next to them. It's looking like a good one. Who do you think will win this game as well, says Andre. I did say the Sixers, but they have lost that early wicket of James Vince, but I will still stick with the Sixers here. I feel like 9 and over from here. We'll see how it goes. Go that Union Amish as well. And it there says Robert there. And now at this stage, it is going to be 4.5 overs down. They're already almost going around that 10 and over here. And they will have to keep on ramping it up towards that power surge if they want a chance of being able to win this game. It's pitched up nicely. Philippe gets it in the air. Who is back there? No one quite. It is going to be the one bounce. And Brody Couch not quite able to get that one. That is the second life at the moment for Josh Philippe. That's the end of the over, and it is going to be 41 for 1 now for the Sydney Sixers after 5. I made 50 not out as well. Says Kevin Thomas. So nicely done there, mate. With the bat in hand. Okay, Sama, they're just showing that 6 down the ground from Moses Enriquez. He certainly got hold of it. I believe that's the thing. Getting a 6 at the MCG, you normally got to hit it 80 metres just to clear the rope. So that's probably gone 90 there for Moses Enriquez. Well, I'm still hoping the 6 is for my life as well. Says it was 8 in there, but they are just showing him get into the pitch of the ball. Launch speed off the bat, 132.9 Ks for Moses Enriquez. Where are they playing at? As well, says Hamish Spencer. So they are playing at the MCG for this one. But then the next test match for the day-night test, if that is the one that we are talking about, it is at Adelaide Oval is where that one is going to be played as well. Josh Philippe now on strike, and it is going to be Adam Zampa once again, who does get another over. He only went for 3 inside of the power play. Pitched up nicely and hit through the gap there for Josh Philippe out to deep cover. Deep cover. Oh, but words are messing up today. Too much hydration, maybe. Hey, Hamish, are you drinking water tonight, mate? As well, I am indeed, David. I've already gone through about 3/4 of the glass so far. There we go. We are going decently at the moment in terms of our hydration. A nicely hit to the leg side by Moses Enriquez. Sneaks through for another single for himself. MSG. I hope I still play on the same track as well. Says it was 8 and there, and also cricket. Ashes will be at the MCG when it's in Melbourne as well. Says Sam Spencer will indeed for the Boxing Day test match between Australia and England, and that one could be the decider perhaps in terms of whether or not Australia retain, unless of course there is a massive upset and England win the second MCG day-night test tomorrow, Hamish. Spencer, at 2 p.m. Queensland time. Wait, is it at the MCG, the next one, or is MCG Boxing Day? And then the one beforehand, I think we have got Adelaide Oval for the next one as well. One moment we all go like this. Does this one say? It doesn't say, but I believe that the day night is at the Adelaide Oval. This one, MCG. Next one down is the SCG, I want to say. And then we have got to close it out. It is going to be in Hobart for that final match. And that is 30 days away from taking place as well. And 8 glasses of water a day, Hamish, as well. Says David there. It's not water. That's some vodka, isn't it, as well? Says 8 in there, and MCG Boxing Day. As well, says Robert. And isn't it at Adelaide? As well, and MCG is the Boxing Day as well. Says 8 in there as well. But we all go like this. And we all go like this. Nice little dabble with the ball there from Moses Henriquez. And they get through for once again another single. They haven't been able to get Zampa away to the boundary too easily in his first few. And also we've got that video live chat, please, as well. Says Urum in there as well. Although if you do want access to watch these games, cricket.com.au, they have got the highlights of these games that will be taking place straight after these ones as well. But so far for Zampa, he's gone for 1-1-1-2 as well off his bowling. Nicely hit down the ground from Philippe, but straight back into the hands of Zampa. Well fielded there as well, and that is going to be the end of the Zampa over. He's only gone for 3.5 for his economy, and that is now going to be 45 for 1 here for the Sydney Sixers as well. But Adam Zampa looking very solid for himself there. Yeah, Adelaide, I was answering him about whether this game was played as well. Says over there, and I like my boss. I'm working at 5 a.m. till 8:30 a.m. now. Good as well. Says Amy Spencer. Oh, so you'll be able to watch. Will you be watching some of the Boxing Day test and also the next one after that? And also, I guess, the Adelaide Oval one that is coming up, the day-night test, although you'll probably be sleeping for that day-night situation so that you can end up in that situation of being up and about for the next one as well. But Adam Zampa at the moment, he's only gone for a few runs, and it seems to be... Seems to be when he drags it down a little bit too much there, Zampa. That is when he goes for the run as well. Yeah, Adelaide. And the chat as well, says Robert. But currently sitting 22 matches in, 23 wickets for Andre Russell in his BBL career. He's sitting at 33 years of age. And he has also been doing decently for himself to be able to get himself a few runs so far. And BBL 11, it's going to be whipped off the legs there once again for Moses Henriquez. And also we've got that, Hamish. Should I send the email to her manager to see what she says about her joining us for a stream as well? Says Aiden, I would hold off just for now about sending messages to emails of managers and whatnot, just because it could be a little bit interesting in terms of the timing to try and get it happening as well. We have got there, by the way. Did you see Man City's performance last night against Leeds? Did they win, Sebastian, or did they end up losing? Do let me know. It's going to be pitched up. Philippe just plays a classic cricket shot, but it's going to be almost a run out at the non-strikers end. I'll send you in a Kiwi Ladder contact how to get in touch with cricket players. He's a YouTuber as well. Says that it was Robert Miller there. And now at the moment it is going to be Glenn Maxwell. He's still all smiles at the moment there, sitting on 12 runs off 9 for Henriquez at the non-strikers end. Philippe sitting on 21 off 20 for himself as well. And 7-0 for City as well, says Sebastian. So yeah, very good performance there. That is for sure. Andre Russell now. Josh Philippe, a little bit of a nothing shot, but it is going to fall safe. And Maxwell is going to cut it off as well there. And also we have got there Marion in the chat. Welcome into the live stream. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are going to be back for the BBL when it does return after a couple days of the next Ashes Test match. It is going to be the Brisbane Heat. They will be taking on the Sydney Thunder at 9:40 p.m. And then the Scorchers, they will be taking on the Hurricanes. And that will be taking place at 9:15 p.m. as well. So both of those ones will be taking place during the final session of the day for the 2 Ashes Test matches. But by then it could end up being at the end. And also we have got there. Sounds good, Robert. Thanks. I would really appreciate it as well. Says Aiden there in the chat. At the moment, Glenn Maxwell will be very happy with this over of Andre Russell so far, only going for the 3 singles. And this is very similar to what we got to see from the Sydney Sixers from about that 9 or so over, or probably about 8th actually. It was probably 8th to about 12th or so, where it was just a very good kind of situation of them just going back to back to back. Is that a catching opportunity? It did hit the gloves of Philippe, but it is racing away to the boundary for the 4 runs. Do you think the Stars will take this? Well, says Andre, I'm still 50-50. The Sixers have a 33% chance of winning this game. I think they're setting a very good start to the innings here for them to be able to go on and possibly get themselves a win. We have got the Manchester United game was cancelled though due to COVID in the UK as well, says Aiden there. And he's back at 5 p.m. tomorrow for the Ashes this time as well, says Robert Miller there as well. But now it is going to be nicely played. And also we have got there as a night test, really a night test as well. It kind of is and it kind of isn't. I think it is finishing at 9:30 p.m. Australian time, if I'm not wrong. It finishes at 12 here. So it's pretty much, it starts at 2:30, and it ends at 9:30, I believe it is, or somewhere around there as well. But that is the end of the 7th over now, and it is going to be 53 for 1 here for the Sixers. At the moment, we have got there 67% says the Stars. Others say Sixers as well, says Robert Miller. So, yeah, at the moment, it's going to be interesting to see how it does go. Like you mentioned, 67% chance of the Stars winning this game. I'd probably have the Sixers just a little bit higher than that at this point of the innings. We have got there. It really depends on how long Philippe and Enriquez can stay at the crease. They're the big dogs of batting alongside Vince, who has fallen as well. Says Sebastian exactly right now. Case Ahmed going to be coming in for his first delivery of a second over. Nice shot there from Philippe, gliding it through the covers once again. And England should have a lot better team with Anderson and Broad back as well, says Aiden. Yeah, hopefully it will be going a little bit longer than just I believe it got to the day 4 morning session, didn't it? Or the afternoon. Did they get to the afternoon in the last one for Australia versus England? Nicely hit down the ground. Good shot from Moses Enriquez, but it is going to be kept to just a single once again. They will need a few more boundaries in the coming overs here. And absolutely Aiden as well there. And the chat says, Sebastian, yeah, it's a day and a half for the first session. The second under lights with a pink ball as well, says Robert Miller there. And I know that there are quite a few Australian bowlers. Mitchell Starc, who does love himself a pink ball situation. Also, Joe Richardson, it finished just after lunch as well, says Aiden there. And hey, guys, or hey, dude, what's up? Melbourne Stars. It's my favorite team, so I came here as well. Says Game Changer. And yeah, at the moment, they're sitting decently with that 100 that Glenn Maxwell was able to get himself the it's actually the 5th most that any Melbourne Stars player has been able to get. 103. He did end up going out, advancing down the wicket there for Moses Enriquez. Well bowled by Case Ahmed, and 4 singles so far off this over. Philippe sitting on 29 of 25. They need 10 more runs in the next 14 overs to be able to get that bash boost point for themselves. But it was nicely bowled by Case Ahmed. At the moment, they have got some very good spin bowlers for the Stars. Case Ahmed now pitches that one up. That's in the slot though, and Philippe goes bang. That is going all the way for 6 there. And it is a brilliant shot. It's gone down the tunnel as well. That ball is gone at the moment, but Philippe, that would have been an 85 or so metre hit. And now it makes the over of Case Ahmed go for 10 so far off the first 5 deliveries rather than the singles on that one as well, and sixes as well, says Sebastian. And also we have got that 14 overs, says Paddy Wagon there. And at the chat, and also we have got there. Well, I have to go knock my head on a pillow as well. I'll see you tomorrow for the Ashes if you're doing it as well. Says so much to say we will see you then, mate. And also Philippe is on fire, and it just finished. I'll finish just after lunch as well. And then also it's also for the bash boost point as well, says Paddy Wagon. It is indeed. So after 10 overs, so 14 balls it is that they have got left. So 13 now, and they do need a total of 4 runs. That's going to be Philippe gliding it through point, and this will be at least another 2 runs to close out this one. They're going to be taken nicely in the deep by the Terminator, Hilton Cartwright. They're going to be taken on the 3 here. Going to be a run-out opportunity. No, a great run in between the wickets. And Philippe now moves up onto 38 off only 27 deliveries. That is the end of the 8th over, and they are sitting 66 for 1 here for themselves. So unless something absolutely crazy happens here, they are going to be able to get that bash boost point, which will mean if they win this game, they will move into first place above the Scorchers. And if the Stars win this game, I believe they will just be missing out. But they are showing the Australia Test 11 for the Adelaide Test match. Harris, Warner will be the openers. Labuschagne and also Steve Smith, the 2 buddies at 3 and 4. Travis Head had a very good innings last week, and he will be open to continue that form as well. Then Cameron Green is going to be at 6. Alex Carey is the wicketkeeper. Pat Cummins, the captain, with Starc. Jai Richardson in for Josh Hazlewood, and then Nathan Lyon will be a Gazza at the bottom of the order, and he will also be a bit of a whiz with the ball and for that day-night test match. So we don't know exactly what England are going with yet. I don't believe so, but we'll have to wait and see how it does go now. It is going to be whipped off the legs of Josh Philippe once again, taken by Glenn Maxwell, and it is kept to just a single. Imagine waiting for 3 hours to use the 6 emoji in a test game. Then you take a loo break, and it happens just then as well. Says Sebastian, yeah, that could be an unfortunate one. Perhaps we do need some sort of, that's the thing. There were quite a few ducks in that last matchup, so maybe we need a 0 as well, or a dot. Just a random little tiny dot, although saying that there is already something that you can do for a little tiny dot. You can just press a full stop for that one as well. But this is the England test squad that they have got. They actually only showed it for about 3 seconds, so they are not rating it big time for the Australians, but it has been hit down a deep third man, and it is going to be taken there by Nathan Courtenay. So they haven't actually announced their playing 11 yet for England, but they have got themselves in that side. Joe Root, Rory Burns, also Haseb Hamed will be opening the batting more than likely. Double Milan, Ben Stokes, Ollie Pope, Josh Butler, Chris Wokes, Ollie Robertson, Stuart Broad, James Anderson, and Jack Leach as well So they haven't really got many spinning options, or a duck as well, says Robert Miller there. And the chat, but at the moment, the coverage for that will start at 5 p.m. tomorrow for us here in New Zealand. Philippe whips it off his legs, and once again, going to be hitting it straight to the man in the deep. Hilton Cartwright, his arm must get tired from just throwing that ball in all the time, but he seems to do it with pretty good efficiency every single time. Hilton Cartwright, Brody Couch at the moment going for 3 singles to start off his over as well. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It is hugely appreciated, all you guys being here for these live streams. We are sitting on 69, so we were going for 75 by the end of 10 over. So if you haven't already, be sure to leave that like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. Henriquez once again whips it off his leg, and that is going to be kept to the single as Cortinoa was able to cut that one off. We have got there. I thought about making a duck emoji, Robert, but I thought it would be too rare of an occurrence as well. Says Sebastian there in the chat as well. At the moment, we have got there Joe Root, Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad, Rory Burns, Joss Butler, Hasib Ahmed as well, Jack Leach, Darwin Milan, Ollie Pope, Ollie Robinson, Ben Stokes, Chris Wokes. There it is, the Kiwi lads as well. Says Robert. So yeah, they've got some very talented players as the options for England, and also Sixers will win with 7 balls left and 3 wickets. That's going to be uppish a little bit. Oh, it's a misfield though from Zampa, but he did get enough on it to slow that ball down, and it is just going to be the single for Philippe. So the Sixers, they have gained that bash boost point, and cheers Robert as well, says Sebastian there. So pretty much that means, as the table sits at the moment, we will go to it very quickly, and we will show you guys. This is before this matchup. So now the Sixers, they are sitting on 8 points. So even if they win this game by 1 ball, anything in between, they will still be going up to the first place position above the Scorchers. If the Stars win this game, they will need to win it comfortably if they want their net run rate to go high. Moses Henriquez missing that ball, but more than likely the Stars will go into second if they do end up winning this game up against the Sydney Sixers as well. That is the end of the 9th over, and they are sitting 72 for 1, so going at 8 and over here by themselves. And also we have got the EU and a chat from Robert there as well. But Josh Philippe at the moment sitting on 41 runs off 30 deliveries, looking extremely sharp for the Sydney Sixers once again, getting closer and closer to that half century. I've got the lone boy, said wicket in there as well. Who are you hoping does go out, mate? Do let me know. And who do you think will be able to pick up the wicket as well? Josh Philippe at the moment, 3 4s, 1 6. Now, it was mentioned earlier on that someone did say about with Maxwell getting 100, maybe Josh Philippe will be able to get himself the 100 as well. I'm going to see whether or not we have got it. I don't think I did actually start that one, unfortunately. But there is a decent chance of Josh Philippe being able to go on and get himself that half century. And you are, you're very welcome. Okay, so it's not just you. I don't think I've ever worked out what that stands for as well. So I always just say it as you as well. But now that is very good to know. You're very welcome. As well as how it's pronounced, that's going to be Zampa hit down the ground from Henriquez. Has got all of it, and it does go all the way for 6. Tell you what, it didn't look like he got a lot of that one, Henriquez, but that has gone all the way, and that is now going to be 78 runs here for the Sydney Sixers for just the one no spamming, mate. Also, please don't drop spoilers. Thank you as well. Says Sebastian there, but it was a good shot down the ground from Moses Henriquez, who has hit himself his second 6 of the day so far. We'll put it on the legs a little bit there. Almost Joe Clark with a stumping opportunity and the 6 there as well, says Sebastian. So we've had a total of, I believe it is 6 sixes so far throughout this match, which is actually probably a decent number for the MCG. Normally we don't see too many of them as these guys. It's a big old hit for them to be able to get up there. A little glided shot there from Moses Henriquez. Takes the single down to short third man. And at the moment, the Sixers, they are looking relatively comfortable here. 50-50 for the chances of them being able to win this game. So it just shows how quickly the odds can change when you start putting a partnership together. And they are sitting dead even in terms of the odds for the TAB as well. I do see that I did just have a look at, but Philippe sitting on 41 of 30 deliveries now. Henriquez sitting on 25 of 18. Philippe advances, strikes it nicely out through cover to Hilton Cartwright once again, and that is going to be the single for him once again. So not really taking a huge amount of risk here for either of these batsmen. Like, that's the thing. They both have the power to be able to clear this boundary, so they just are waiting for the perfect ball to do so. Was Aiden that called Philippe to get the 100 as well? Says it right there. So perhaps he could be 100% spot on at this stage. 16 runs ahead for the Sydney Sixers. Stepping across his stumps, Moses Henriquez just gets it over the head of Andre Russell, and that is going to be another 4 runs for the Sydney Sixers. 57% chance now for them to be able to win it in Zampa. This has been an expensive over in terms of his standards. He has gone for 12 already. And Moses Henriquez at the moment stepping all around the crease. Just hits it over Andre Russell. Wasn't quite able to get up off the ground there. It does mean that it is going to be another 6 runs. Do we have enough members to add a wicket emoji as well, says Sebastian? I think we can add one if we replace one of the ones that we have got at the moment, I believe. Oh, that's going to be close down, and this is going to be Henriquez on his way. Adam Zampa picks up the wicket of Moses Henriquez, and now that is going to be the second wicket. 57% chance of the Sydney Sixers. I'm waiting to see how much that changes now that Henriquez is going to be on his way. But yeah, pretty much, I believe we have to be able to get 2 more members before we're allowed to add 1 more emoji, if I'm not wrong. So because of that, it will probably be easier to replace one that we don't use too often. So perhaps the rugby ball one could be on the cards. Yeah, Adam Zampa, he was very happy with being able to get that wicket. And Moses Henriquez, sorry, he is not too happy. Not going too well. So at the moment, they are advertising a chicken Big Mac. Don't know whether or not we've got them here in New Zealand yet. See, now 41% for the Sydney Sixers to be able to win this on OMG. It feels like I should time myself out. It was an accident, lads, as well. Says a vision there as well. It's perfectly timed in some kind of roundabout way. But at the moment, Daniel Hughes, he will be making his way to the crease. This is going to be important for this batting partnership for them as well, to be able to keep this one going for them. But this is going to be almost drinks here for the Sydney Sixers. And they are going to be, actually, that is the last ball of the over. So 10 overs down at the moment, 84 for 2. They're going decently. They're about halfway there for what they are going to be requiring for being able to win this game. But the Sydney Sixers, they have just lost that wicket of Moses Henriquez, and he is certainly going to be one of the keys for them in this batting lineup. So with them gone, anything can happen, but that one was going to be plumb. Unfortunately for him, just got buried in his crease. For Moses Henriquez was very deep in it as well. And then it ended up hitting the pad as well. We have got the 6 there in the chat from Robert as well. Now, Joe Clark, he's very excited with that one. We're just seeing this one on the replay in terms of the ball tracker. I believe this one should be out here. Yes, it is indeed. It was hitting almost middle and leg stump, I guess you could say, halfway in between. It was taking out the bail. That was a good decision from the umpire to give that one as out. And now 2 down here for the Sydney Sixers, who replaced O'Keefe as well. I believe they actually went. Originally, Tom Curran had to make his way back out there, but they also had Jack Edwards, I think, made his way out there as well. And then also, I believe Hayden Kerr is out on the field, so I'm not actually too sure who they have got who will be batting last in that starting lineup. But it's going to be Steve O'Keefe at 10, apparently, and then Hayden Kerr. So I believe it was possibly, I think it was actually in the end Jack. What's his last name? I've forgotten his last name already. Jack Edwards, who did go on as a kind of a replacement fielder, I believe it was, for Stephen O'Keefe. But the X-Factor player that they did replace was Hayden Kerr, who did make his way out there, and that was for Lloyd Pope. And so I can make a wicket emoji to replace the ball as well. Also people seem to like the 6 emoji. I guess we'll keep it as well. Says Sebastian there in the chat. Yeah, it does look good for that one as well with the Rockets as well, as you certainly need to hit the ball hard at the MCG. That's gone through the gap, and that is going to be now Glenn Maxwell going for the 4 runs of his very first delivery. Philippe moving up now onto 46 of 32 deliveries here for himself, looking good. And he has made it look relatively easy to make his way up to that 46. Had a couple early chances to be able to get him out. On the duck is one that comes to mind, but they weren't quite able to stop him from piercing that gap there. He's going to swing hard. He hasn't hit that one hard at all there, Josh Philippe, but it does fall safe of the man, and it is just going to be the single down the ground. Once again, Maxwell going for the 5 runs of his first 2 deliveries, almost more than he did go for in his first innings, or in his first over, I should say. Back to 47% for the Sydney Sixers to be able to win this game. So it is literally just going like this at the moment, like it's a seesaw. Philippe sitting on 47. Hughes has not faced a delivery yet, and he is moving now on a 0 of 0. Maxwell, I feel like with the surface at the MCG, there's a little bit of turn available for these spinners. So perhaps this will be a nice one for Maxwell. Ooh, ended up spinning it into O'Keefe. Into Hughes. And it is just going to be the single down the ground to Andre Russell, cutting it off. Not the best throw there back to Glenn Maxwell, but it still made his way there. So the Sixers at the moment, they have got a 52% chance of being able to win this game, according to the Fox Cricket win viz as well for themselves. It is going to be advancing almost for Philippe. He hits it down the ground hard, and it is going to be fielded by long on. Once again, Bo Webster out there and is able to cut it off. I feel like they're about par at the moment in terms of the fact that they've got their current run rate at 8.61. Their required run rate is going to be 9.21, and they do still have those 2 overs of the power surge, which we did see 28 or 29 runs from for the Melbourne Stars. So perhaps it could be the same here for the Sydney Sixers, although they will be waiting just a little bit longer, give Daniel Hughes maybe 5 to 10 balls under his belt before they decide that they do want to go for it and take on only the 2 fielders outside of the ring as well there. Maxwell pitching it up nicely. Daniel Hughes pushes at the ball there. Probably lucky it didn't turn too much, and it is going to be hit to deep cover with Court Denial able to cut that one off for his side nicely. Again, anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are going to be back with the Ashes that will be taking place in a very short moment. It is starting tomorrow, and it should be a very awesome fixture. Then the game after that, it is going to be Boxing Day. That one will be taking place. The third test match could be the decider. Philippe there. He's hit that one straight down the ground. Oh, it's a beautiful shot going straight through between the 2 men out on the boundary, and that is going to be the 50 there for Josh Philippe. 52 runs off 35 deliveries, and that is going to close out the 11th over as well. But Philippe brings it up. 52 off 35. 5 fours and 1 6 for him, and the strike rate going very nicely for Philippe as well. So we will go like that, and we will go like that as well. But 96 for 2 here. So in a good position to be able to go on and win this game. But Josh Philippe has been looking, ever since he made his way to the crease, he's been looking solid with the shot straight down the ground. And even when they had those 2 men down there, it looked like for a start, he didn't hit it that well, but he certainly got enough of it and was able to pierce the gap very nicely there. Told you Philippe will make 100 watch as well. There's 8 in there in the chat. Perhaps he will be able to get the job done for the Sydney Sixers, who are actually favourites now to be able to win this match. They are sitting on 54% chance of being able to win it, but it was a great shot down the ground to be able to bring it up. I'm thinking blue or green is the wicket coloured colour, or emoji's colour, to contrast with the Sixers red as well. Says it was Sebastian there. So it could be an option. Perhaps you could have, I guess it's quite hard to replicate Bales, isn't it? Or not really Bales, but I guess would you have it as like the stumps going flying, or would you have it as just yeah, I guess what would it be? And also we have got there, Hamish, if God comes to you and said to you, I will take one thing away from you for a day, will it be food versus internet in today's modern age? Which thing would you choose and why as well? Says Coding, that is an interesting question. But I guess that's the thing. What weekday are we sitting on, or is it the weekend, Coding? Because I feel like the thing is, I can probably, like, it depends if there's no rugby or cricket on. I feel like I can go 24 hours without internet pretty easily. I just won't upload for a day. But then if it's on the weekend, then it would be a little bit harder to decide with all of the cricket and rugby and whatnot that we have got on. But now there's going to be Andre Russell there. Going to be just a single there hitting the leg of it, Josh Philippe, and they move up now on to 98 for 2. At this stage, the Melbourne Stars, I am going to get up and see exactly where they were sitting at this point of their innings. I feel like this is relatively even at the moment in terms of the factor that, here it is, the comparison. Both having only 3 wickets lost for the Stars, 2 wickets lost for the Sixers. I thought that would be pretty much 50-50. And then the comparison, they're actually sitting about 21 runs ahead at the moment for the Sydney Sixers. And wouldn't you miss us as well, says Robert Miller. Yeah, I think it would. And that is going to be a wide. So that will not be helping out Andre Russell too much there. And food, I can just go camp for ages as well. Says a Paddy Wagon there. Hi, Lads. The live stream was 59 minutes, but I will do it in 11 minutes. Video, same with the other live stream as well. Says Brandon. So it sounds like you are well and truly busy for tonight, mate. But yeah, that one was well and truly short from Andre Russell. So understandably given as the wide there. But we are currently sitting 99 runs here for the Sydney Sixers. Only 1 away from the 100. And that is going to be the 100 brought up there. They've brought it up a lot quicker than the Melbourne Stars were able to. So I feel like that is why they are sitting 57% chance of winning it as well. I said I should just add the word wicket, as that can happen if you get out caught or bowled, in which case the stumps are not disturbed as well, says Sebastian. It is a tricky one because I know that I think Isaac tried to make a wicket one, but because of how small the writing is, like on them type thing, normally if you have any more than a couple letters, it is very tough to read, which is kind of why we went with the New Zealand and South Africa ones the way that we did, with the 3 as well. It's nicely bowled there by Andre Russell. Just a single once again. And Joe Clark fields it behind the stunts we have got there. I think the Sixers have this one as well, says Andre there. Yeah, they are looking very good early on in this innings. The Sydney Sixers, they have got 11.4 overs down. Maxwell still has 2 overs that he could bowl. Brody Couch only going for the 15 off his first. Samper has got 1 over left. Courtenay's got 3, so I feel like he will bowl out, and then it's whether or not Case Ahmed gets a couple as well. Nice delivery there by Andre Russell, steaming into the crease, 132.1. It's a good delivery from Russell. He doesn't normally get into that 130 range too often at this stage of his career, but when he does get it in the right spot, he can certainly still pick himself up wickets for themselves as well. Like they're saying at the moment, one of these young guys just, I couldn't even speak there for a second there. I agree, but trust me, it's very hard to make those small bails visible as well, says Sebastian there in the chat. That is true as well. I guess the other option is probably, it's hard to do because it would look like a middle finger, but I was going to say having the umpires kind of finger like that, but I feel like people will think that it's a middle finger emoji perhaps as well, but nicely bowled there by Andre Russell, steaming it through once again. Daniel Hughes not able to get the bat on it. 101 for 2 here for the Sydney Sixers. They are going to need 77 runs of 48 deliveries. They have still got their power surge that they will be able to take at some stage. Kaysar Ahmed at the moment keeping their hands warm just in case he does need to have a little bit of a bowl later on in this one. Adam Zampa also has still got the over up his sleeve. So it will be interesting to see whether or not both spinners do get to bowl out completely. Court denial, we've still got 3 overs left. I feel like that is almost a confirm. I've got the Stars winning this match as well, says it Robert there in the chat. Court denial now, he is going to be charging it. It's a ram shot there from Josh Philippe, hitting the gap once again. Oh, it's almost belted down on the boundary by, I believe it was Kaysar, but he just wasn't quite able to cut it off. Oh, actually, it was Marcus Stoinis there. I feel like that is a massive bit of praise to Kaysar Ahmed there, saying that he's got the frame like Marcus Stoinis, and also we have got their Fiji 7 versus France 7, went to extra time and a full time was 28-21, and it was the women's Fiji win as well, says Brandon there, but Stoinis just overrunning that one a little bit too much for himself, the big Stein. He did work very hard to cut that one off, and then he just missed it with his hand. Unfortunately, it did go through for the front. 4 runs, I should say now. Philippe hits it out towards the Seagulls, taken nicely by Cartwright in the deep. Out deep square leg, and it is once again going to be the single. So Philippe moves himself up onto 58 of 39. They're going to need 72 of 46 balls here for them to be able to win. And also we have got there who you got winning as well. All I can promise you is that it will definitely have a wicket emoji by the Ashes stream tomorrow as well, says Sebastian, which will be very exciting, and we will definitely have to get it in there so that we are ready to go. We have also got the are you using OBS Studio for this live stream, and are you on PC or laptop, and overall are you a computer geek, as most streamers are as well, says Skating. So pretty much for if I'm using OBS, I am not. I am on StreamYard instead, which I do find is just a little bit easier with my poor internet connection that I do have at times. Then I am on a gaming PC, but I don't actually game on it, so it's just really a PC. It's got a green light, looks all right, similar to the Melbourne Stars for that regard. And then the third one is a computer gig. I only got this one because it's got a green light and it looks all right. So that probably answers your question about being a computer geek or not in that regard. Like, I don't know how these things work, but they just work for myself, luckily. Like, that's the thing. I got a new headset. Doesn't even work, unfortunately. Not very well anyway. And now caught the Nile there. Going to be up in the air for Daniel Hughes. It's over the head, though, and it is going to be 6 runs. He's ended up breaking one of the sight screen things by the looks of it. And it is going to be a nice shot there for Daniel Hughes. Hits it all the way to the rope, and that is going to be 112 for 2 now. For themselves, they are sitting. Daniel Hughes using the pace of the ball. Was it very nicely done there by Hughes. That is his first 6 of the day. That's almost his first boundary as well. Yes, it is. And now he moves up onto 11 off 9 deliveries as well for Daniel Hughes. So looking sharp in the early stages of his innings as well. That's going to be off the edge. Sometimes you get a little bit of luck. It is going down to Steinis, who has been able to field that one. And my team sometimes streams, they have a better PC than me as well. Says it Nov Mum there. And also we have got, I think the Stars will be caught in the 19th over. And I honestly believe that England will win the second test as well. Says it was Sebastian there, and also the 6 from Sebastian. Yeah, they've certainly got with Stuart Broad and Jimmy Anderson. If those guys, when was the last time they played a pink ball test match? Those two do let me know, ladies and gentlemen. At 58 for 39 as well. I see Australia winning the second test as well. Says Robert there. That's not the best shot there from Philippe. That's going to be the end of the 13th over now, and it is 113. Oh, is that a no ball? It's a no ball. Too many men outside of the ring here. It's a free hit. Oh, that's not nice there. Long on, they did say was outside of the circle, which does mean it's a free hit for having too many men outside of the ring. That is actually well done by the umpires to pick up on it. But you are certainly a geek in all sports live commentary as well. Says it coding there. Now this is a free hit for the Sydney Sixers. This is certainly going to help them. I believe it was Andre Russell. Just didn't quite get back into the ring like he was supposed to be. And now it is going to be the free hit. Court denial, bowls it towards Josh Philippe. Philippe hits it hard. Doesn't get all of it though. And they are just going to be able to get themselves the 2 extra runs, which is actually 3 because they did get the extra run as well. Your commentary is too late. I hope you are watching live as well, says Dale. So pretty much because I am on Sky Go so that I can listen to it through my headset as well and hear kind of all of the noises. I'm about 30 to 40 seconds behind live TV as well. And Anderson and Broad played pink ball test last year or last and this year in India as well, says Cody there. And also we have got there the Sixers have this one, as well, says Andre. And also we have got there the English 7 versus Ireland 7s at this. Was a good game, as well, says Brandon there. But that was a good shot from Daniel Hughes. Was able to hit himself his first boundary of the day. At the moment, Philippe has been able to hit 6 fours, 1 6 as well. But that is the end of the 13th over, and they are sitting 116 for 2. The power surge perhaps will be just around the corner for them. See, that went 81 metres. It looked like he just glided it. As well, I was going to, okay, fine. You are doing a good job as well, says Daryl. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated you being here for this live stream. Let's go, Sydney, says Aiden as well. They have got a 73% chance of being able to win this match now. And the current run rate is up to 8.92 here. And their required is down to 8.86. So they're actually ahead of the cusp at the moment. And they have got a 69% chance, according to the Fox Cricket WinViz, for them to be able to win this game. And tomorrow, no video as well. Says up Brandon there on the chat. But now it is Glenn Maxwell having a little bit of a conversation, making sure that the field is set the way that he does want. You don't want to be in that situation of having one too many men outside of the ring as well. But Brody Couch going to be bowling once again here. Stepping across the stumps, and it is going to be caught and bowled there for Brody Couch. And he picks up the wicket of Daniel Hughes, and that will change the momentum into this one once again. But Brody Couch once again picks up a wicket. He is on fire at the moment in his debut BBL season. And it is going to be Hughes out 11 runs off 10 deliveries. And he is going to be on his way as well. Nicely bowled. Daniel Hughes just got done by the slow ball. Ended up hitting the top of the bat, almost on the splice. And then Brody Couch takes it nicely, pouches that one. And that is going to be the wicket there for the Melbourne Stars. Daniel Hughes just ends up chipping it back to him. Brody Couch, good follow through to be able to take that one as well. And Bo Webster was right there. What happened in the game as well, says Brandon, it was the wicket. And it was Daniel Hughes who was out, caught and bowled by Couch, and now gone for 11 off 10 deliveries. And now the Sydney Sixers are sitting 116 for 3, with Jordan Silk now making his way to the crease. It's going to be interesting. This kind of has slowed them down a little bit in terms of they're almost sitting at the exact same stage as the Melbourne Stars were at this point in time. I am going to actually check how many runs the Melbourne Stars were sitting on after 15 overs and see where they will be matching up once we get to that one as well. So after 15 overs, they were sitting on 123 for 3 as well. So 123 for 3. The Melbourne Stars were sitting on as well. And we've also got there, I've got a lot better plan. I accidentally fall and then on top of Perry from the Stars as well. And then apologize. Be like, please, can I buy you a drink? I'm so sorry as well. Says, I don't know, though landing on top of her may not be the best idea, because then could end up with a restraining order. Like I mentioned, you don't want to go down the restraining order path. You just want to go down the slightly accidental throw yourself down the stairs. What do you think of that idea, Irish, as well? Says Aiden there, but nice delivery once again from Brody Couch. So a wicket and a dot straight away. So this is changing the momentum of the game. I've mentioned momentum many times throughout this fixture, but it is a big one in the chat as well, says Brandon there. But Brody Couch with a brilliant catch there for himself. The Melbourne Stars, if anyone is wondering who they are playing for their next fixtures, it is actually in 9 days' time that they get another chance. So they'll get a nice little holiday. They will be able to watch all of those Ashes matches as well. Nice shot there from Jordan Silk, cutting it to backward point, but cut off nicely by Marcus Stoinis in the deep. Then their next game is going to be up against the Brisbane Heat. That will be Chris Lynn versus Glenn Maxwell. So that will be a very exciting one. Scorchers versus the Stars, and then Scorchers taking on the Stars once again. 2 in a row for those two sides playing within 3 days of each other for those two fixtures. Then looking at the Sydney Sixers also have got the Adelaide Strikers. That is going to be taking place at 9:15 p.m. in about 6 days' time. We will get to see that one. So they've also got a little bit of a break while we do have the Ashes taking place alongside it. Sydney Thunder versus Sydney Sixers. The Sydney Derby will be in full effect. Brody Couch there, a little bit of a short ball. It's hit Jordan Silk there in the midsection there by the looks of it. And Sixers versus the Heat will be on Wednesday, the 29th of December, and then January 1st will be the Sixers taking on the Renegades as the first game of the new year as well. We have got there, probably get arrested, Amish, if I did that. Probably, more than likely, yes. And she may be watching the Kiwi Lads as well. Imagine that. She'll be like, hey, I know you from the Kiwi Lads comment section as well. And Amish, you are so consistent in terms of daily uploads on YouTube, YouTube likes, consistency in channel growth. Can you tell me how much views you get in real time and in one day, please? I'm very curious as well. Says Coding, normally if we don't do a live stream, we get about 1,000 views a day or somewhere around there. Whereas with a kind of, with the live stream or anything like that, well and truly booster or Josh Philippe, he got struck really hard in the grill there. And he does not look too good at the moment, Josh Philippe. And it looks like this is going to be one that will take a few minutes. Glenn Maxwell, he is looking concerned at the moment. Change of pace for Brody Couch, and it's hit him in the neck there by the looks of Josh Philippe has said, and who will be winning as well. That's the thing. If this is Josh Philippe gone, this could be a massive game changer for them as well. Was a slower ball. Philippe tried to turn. Oh, and it actually went up under the grill. Side of the neck into the chin, and that is not too good there for Josh Philippe. He will be rocked. That doesn't look too good for him as well. And also we have got their Sixers will win as well. Otherwise, it's 100% Stars winning as well. Says it is Daryl there in the chat. But I think Josh Philippe, they will have to take all of the precautions here to make sure that he is all right. He did get struck very hard. Kind of hit the neck and then went into the chin, I believe it was, for Josh Philippe. That will leave a bruise at the moment. We'll have to wait and see whether or not he is... Okay, he has got... At this stage, he is still conscious for Josh Philippe, but it looks like he will be in a little bit of pain for the stage as well. We have got the Izzy down on the ground. Luckily, he is still on his feet, which is always a good start to this one. But Josh Philippe, he ended up getting struck. I guess that ball came in, and it kind of ended up hitting the shoulder into their type region as well, which didn't look too good for him. I wanted to say why you do that as well. There's a Brandon there in the chat for that one as well. And now at this stage, I'm hoping Josh Philippe will be all right. He has already got 60 runs off 42 deliveries, but of course, player safety is the first thing that they will be looking at. He has already hit 6 fours, 1 6 in this one, the strike rate of 142. And it looks like he is going to be all right here, Josh Philippe. The last thing you want to see, though, is one of those delayed concussions. And who do you think will win Kiwi Lad as well? That's a good question. I feel like at this stage, if Philippe continues and doesn't end up getting a little bit too rocked for that one, because we have seen sometimes it can end up with you getting in that situation of being a bit hesitant, and then you can end up losing your wicket. But I'd say from here, it is still going to be the Sydney Sixers who will be able to get the job done. I like Perry, but can I please take you out for a cup of coffee? Oh, I'd be like, Perry, can I please take you out for a cup of coffee if she was watching? Please don't break my heart, little paw, or little heart. You're incredibly beautiful, and I would be my biggest honor to take you out as well, says Aiden there in the chat. And it's so scary to see after Phil Hughes' death incident. It's so scary, Amish, as well, says Cody. Yeah, you never like to see any player for that matter get hit in the head, and he's just done the ramp shot there, Josh Philippe, and hits it for 4 straight away with the next delivery, and Brody Couch has gone to the boundary there as well. Subscribe to the Kiwi Lads as well, says Brandon there in the chat as well. But 38 watching. Oh, sorry, not 38 watching. I was going to say 38 balls required, but we are now down to 37, and now it's gone down to 36 as well. So 36 balls to win this game, 55 runs required, and true coding as well there. And the chat says Robert. But it is a nice ramp shot there from Josh Philippe, and also we have got there who will win Kiwi Lad as well, says Lila. I think it is still, for myself, the Sydney Sixers who will be able to get this job done. It was a nice ramp shot there from Josh Philippe, almost going all the way for the 6 runs, but does just get the 4-7 off the over, but Couch able to pick up that earlier wicket in there as well, and me as well. Says that Brandon there, but 123 for 3 here after the 14 overs. And now Case Ahmed, he is going to be bowling. He's already gone for 23 runs so far off his first 2 overs for himself. So he's sitting with an economy of 11.5. And like they are asking, is it a shot that everyone in the junior levels are playing now for the ramp shot? Because it is a hard shot to perfect. But it seems like Josh Philippe has well and truly got the hang of it. Sydney should win if Philippe stays in there. If he goes out, it's the Stars as well, says Aiden. Yeah, Philippe can stay around at the crease for the next couple overs while they have the power surge when they do decide to take it as well. Now it's a ramp shot there from Jordan Silk, deciding that he wants to get involved with it as well. And it is going to be the 2 runs between the wicket. Jordan Silk very quick between the wickets as well. We have got their do each team play each other 2 times in the BBL, Hamish. They do indeed. So we have got a total of 61 games. That is including all of the playoff games and everything along those lines. Philippe wicket will be path to heaven for the Stars as well, says Daryl. Yeah, they do need to get him out. They probably even, to be fair, with his speed between the wickets, Silk is also a danger man because he will be able to get you 2 runs when you probably should only be able to get 1.5. And that is going to be where those extra runs that they do need will be made up as well. They do need 53 runs off 35 balls here to be able to win this game. The Sydney Sixers, if they do win it, they will be sitting top of the table. Nicely bowled there, and it is going to be through the gap and at the deep, and it is going to be cut off nicely by, I believe it would have been Nick Larkin there. And Hamish, how is your name, or how you named your Kiwi or channel Kiwi Lads? It's so cool as well. That's cutting. So pretty much we were actually originally called the Musketeers on it as well, because that's kind of what our group was called at school in terms of what everyone just referred to us as well. But then we realized there are about 500 channels called the Musketeers on YouTube. So we were like, what can we do that's unique to us? I think that's kind of where the emojis have come from as well, in terms of our mindset is always, what is something that we can do that is unique to our channel. That's why you've got our faces. That's the emojis. That's why we've got a little inflatable All Black that you can have as the emojis as well, because we do want to have it that it's got that like kind of personalized feel. That's a shot down the ground from Philippe, but I think it's going straight to the man. No, Andre Russell going to be able to cut it off there. And at the deep, and also we have got that Forza Horizon 5 as well, and you are amazing. Says that game changer there. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated you guys all being here. If you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are going to be back tomorrow, like I mentioned, with the Ashes. 75 likes on this live stream as well. That is pretty awesome for us in this situation, and I do appreciate every single one of you for being here at the moment. Case Ahmed, going to be a little bit of pressure on him. Head out to the man at cover with Adam Zampa, and they do get through for once again another single. And also the Kieran emoji there from Robert. Indeed it is. So I feel like that is one thing that going forward in the future as well, we want to find a way of continuing to have it unique, like in terms of not just emojis, but also the content that we're doing. Like, I don't think I've seen anyone play a game with all 4 people playing Rugby Challenge in the same room. And that is something that I want to have the first video on YouTube for, with me, George, Daniel, and Isaac as well. And we also got the Kieran in there from Paddy Wagon. It is going to be now 15 overs down, 130 for 3 now for them. So they are going to need 48 from the last 30 balls. They are well ahead in terms of what the Sixers were at the 15 overs. I did mention that they were sitting at around that 123 or so for the 3 wickets down at this point in time as well. But the big thing is, at this point, the Melbourne Stars had taken their power surge. And I believe, are they going to take it here? Cotonal, he is going to be bowling it. I hope that they consider it soon, because as soon as you lose that big wicket of Josh Philippe, then all of a sudden they will regret the fact that they didn't take it just a little bit earlier on. But it is going to be Cotonal. He's still got 2 overs left. Zampa's still got 1. Case Ahmed's got 1, but he has been going for 10. So far, Andre Russell, he will probably get 1 as well. After your channel reaches 50k subs, Hamish, you can release your channel merchandise on Amazon. People can buy t-shirts with the Kiwi Lads logo as well. Says Coding. So perhaps one day we will be able to get that going. I know that lawn mowing service is probably the first one that you guys want. Some of you guys will know that reference from one of the Bunnings NPC streams that we did on the channel a little while ago. But Cotonal now, it looks like they do want pace on the ball at the moment for Jordan Silk to be able to hit this one all the way to the boundary. It's going to be whipped off its legs, and now this is looking like they will be able to get through for the... No, they just take the 1 there. It's well done to cut it off in the deep. And just a single, 131 now for themselves. Do you want to do a Forza Horizon 5 every Wednesday? Because Isaac wants to play as well as Brandon. Does he? Have you messaged him, Brandon, or do you want me to ask him if he wants to play? Do let me know. But 3 overs down at the moment for Adam Zampa. Picked up the 1 wicket and also gone for 19 runs with an economy of 6.33 here for Zampa. So he is certainly going to get maybe even the final over the match. They have done that before. Going to be hit down the ground there from Josh Philippe, straight to the man. A little bit of a misfield, though, from a couch, but they did not take the single, and Philippe will still remain on strike. 67 runs of 48. 47 deliveries it is, and want you as well. Set up Brandon there in the chat. I know that Isaac has been playing a little bit of Forza Horizon 5. He may have even completed the game at this point, Isaac. He's been a very busy boy. And there we go. But now Philippe's still on strike. Cotonal gives himself some space. Hits it straight down the ground, and that's gone 4 runs there for Josh Philippe. Maxwell tries to chase it down, but that is just another classy shot from Mr. Philippe, who is opening the batting. They should take it the power surge before it's too late as well, says Aiden. Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like those last couple overs as well, like I can understand why they're saving it as long as they can, just so that you can really use it to your advantage in those last few overs. But then there's also that factor of sometimes it is those 2 runs that you are able to run in the field of play that can win you a game, and you can play as well, says Brandon there in the chat as well. But Josh Philippe, like they're saying, he's picking up the length extremely early. He's had it again hard. It's going near the field. Oh, it's going through the gap. They don't even need to take the power surge at the moment for Philippe. He's been able to get himself another 4 runs. And now Philippe, he moves up onto 75 of 49 here. They need 39 runs of 26 deliveries for them to be able to get the win here. So he will need a little bit of the strike here, Philippe, if he does want to bring up his 100. But this would be a very impressive performance, not just from Philippe, but from the Sydney Sixers to be able to chase down 177 at the MCG. They have not taken their power surge as of yet. And Nathan Cotonal, not too happy with that one. And everyone told Philippe, I told everyone Philippe will get his century as well. Says Aiden there, he only needs another 25. And Maxwell is in a little bit of a race with him at the moment to see who can get there first. Cotonal going for 9 runs so far. It's going to be hitting the leg of Philippe, and they are going to be able to just get the single. So for the Melbourne Stars, Glenn Maxwell got it 103 of 57 balls. Philippe is sitting on 75 of 49 balls. So it's very close as well. I'm really looking forward to the Ashes, Hamish, as well, says David. It should be very exciting to see who will be able to win that second one, the pink ball test match as well. I'm really hoping that I will be able to get into that situation. I've gotten a few guests on the channel throughout those hours because it is going to be 6 hours a day of non-stop cricket. He hasn't got it yet as well. Says that Paddy Wagon there. And also, Hamish, have you noticed YouTube now changed its logo right now as well? That's going to be hit straight to Jordan Silk, it's straight to Zampa, sorry. And as the dot ball, and also we have got there now too, that celebrating 1 trillion views of Minecraft content. Have anyone noticed in the chat? What is that? Very cool as well. Says coding there, and does Batman with most, batsman with most runs get the gold hat as well? Pretty much it is not just for this match though, it is the overall competition. So at the moment it was Moses Henriquez who did have the most runs so far of the BBL. I believe after this match it will actually update on the BBL's website. I might try and bring that up for you guys so we can see exactly who is sitting where, because they normally have like leading run scorer BBL 11 stats. We will go and we will see whether or not we have got the kind of leaders in terms of the runs. So far it is Moses Henriquez. After 3 matches, he is sitting on 175 runs for himself, and Josh Philippe sitting on 160 at the moment. I'm wondering whether or not that is updating as we speak, because if it is Josh Philippe, he will be getting closer and closer, only 15 away from being able to catch up. Yeah, hit on the neck. They're just showing it in slow motion. Didn't look too nice at all for that man. Yeah, I noticed coding as well. Says it Robert there. He had a bit of a drink there for Josh Philippe. He's looking not too bad at the moment, but his best, his high score is 83 for himself. The high score of Moses Henriquez, 76 so far for this year. And Adam Zampa now going to be bowling his last over. Pitches it up, hits straight back down the ground from Philippe, just straight in the gap. And that is going to be the 4 runs. Once again, he just loves it when the ball is pitched up there for Josh Philippe. Goes out there, goes bang as well. And he is able to do that one very nicely. So I don't think this one is updating live by the looks of it there. So we'll see whether or not I can find one that does have kind of like the BBL stats in terms of who is right up the top of the BBL. Once again, trying to hit it nicely out through cover there. Goes straight to Andre Russell. Run out opportunity. Not quite able to get it though for that one as well. It was very close. So at the moment, for the top scorer, what year are we in? This is not the right year. I think we are in last year's competition by the looks of that, because it's got Alex Hales as the top run scorer, but that is certainly not what has taken place for the BBL this year. We have also got that Karen in the chat. Says David, that was not the best throw from Andre Russell, unfortunately, and he knows it as well. That could have been a run-out opportunity to get out the very quick-footed Jordan Silk, who will now be on strike. Zampa, 5 runs off his first 2 deliveries of this one. 33 more runs needed for the Sydney Sixers off only the 22 balls to be able to win it. Sydney should win. If they lose it, it will be a miracle as well. Although Zampa, he's still got 3 balls left, and he can certainly pick up wickets when he is bowling well. Hit down the ground to Maxwell, who does cut it off for the single there once again. But do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, how many balls are going to be left at the end of this match for the Sydney Sixers? Will they be able to chase it down with around an over left, or will it be a little bit less in that regard? I'm still wondering whether or not they've taken the power surge. I don't believe they have as of yet. Little bit of space there for Josh Philippe. Hits it in the air. No, it does fall short of a Bo Webster. Once again, it is Henriquez as well. Will you be streaming the Ashes tomorrow as well, says Xavier Brown? I am indeed. We are going to be doing a few of the sessions, if not every single one of them, while we have got the BBL on a break. So be sure to stick around for those ones as well. Should be some exciting cricket. England versus Australia. We did see Australia take the first Ashes. See whether or not they do get themselves the second test match at the Adelaide Oval in an undefeated streak at the moment for Australia in pink ball test matches. Going to be a good one. It should be very high scoring as well, possibly on an Adelaide surface. Should be very nice, but that one is going to be, once again, another single of Adam Zampa here. And at the moment, it just doesn't seem like the momentum at all is going the way of the Melbourne Stars. They need a wicket, and they need it soon. 148 for 3 here. Adam Zampa, final delivery before he has finished his spell. We have got there in the chat as well. I have a feeling they will use it in the last 2 overs as well. Nicely cut there, almost through a gap for Philippe, but it is cut off to New Zealand. Have Big Bash League as well. We don't really have, I guess you could say, the same level as the Big Bash, but we've got the Super Smash, as it is called, which I think has about 6 to 8 teams from around the country type thing. And they play T20. They also have the 50 overs that they play, and then also some 4-day cricket, I believe. It's kind of similar to the domestic scene in Australia, how you play the 3 different formats with your squad as well. But that is going to be now the power surge. They are going to be taking it on now. So they've decided with 3 overs left, you might as well leave just the final over and see how it does go for yourselves. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. At the moment, Josh Philippe, he is looking very good. for the leading run scorer of this competition, perhaps. But Maxwell at the moment just trying to set the field for himself as well. We have also got that they have just taken it as well, says Aiden. So they are going to be sitting with a required run rate 9.67 here for the Sydney Sixers to be able to get the job done. It should be doable. Can you update the score on your screen as well? Says Laugher at the moment. We are 17 over. It sometimes does lag a little bit, but now it is back up to the 17. They do need 29 runs off 18 deliveries here. Andre Russell only going for an economy of 6 off each of his first 2 overs. This is going to be a big moment, like they are asking Glenn Maxwell. Do they go for the wickets here on the power surge, or do you go for more of a defensive field and try and stop them from really being able to make their way forward? And this one, wide Yorkers is the call there from Glenn Maxwell for what he wants Andre Russell to be able to bowl. But can Andre Russell put it in the slot that he needs to? Philippe is sitting 17 runs short of his own century. We saw Glenn Maxwell get 103 in the earlier stages of this match for the Melbourne Stars. Can Josh Philippe be able to bring up his own 100 here, and a match-winning 100 it would be for Josh Philippe? Wide Yorker, nicely bowled there. And it's going to be just a single. Philippe able to get off the strike, and Silk now sitting on 10 off 10. So he hasn't really been flying at 1,000 miles an hour there, Jordan Silk, so far, but flies at 1,000 miles per hour between the wickets, which is a very crucial thing in the later stages of this game. 28 needed off 17 balls. This one's going down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen, at the MCG, the location of the Boxing Day test, which will be starting on the 26th of December for that one. And it will be finishing extremely close to the new year as well. As you can see, December 30th is when that one finishes. Then it's January 5th to January 9th. That one will be, I believe, at the SCG for that matchup. And then the closing one, it has been confirmed that it will be played in Hobart. So hopefully at Blundstone Arena, that is going to be a very good one as well. Good shot down the ground from Jordan Stroke. Stands to deliver. I called him Stroke there. I think I was trying to combine Stroke and Silk, but that was a brilliant shot down the ground. And Andre Russell, not too happy with that one. Didn't quite get the line and length right. Was a little bit too straight. And Jordan Silk just hits it hard. Straight back over the head of Andre Russell. Like Glenn Maxwell was saying, that one's got to be wide. If you are going to be bowling it there as the half volley, Jordan Silk just nails it down the ground. And that is going to be now making this closer and closer to 1 run. A ball required for the Sydney, or for the, for the Sydney Sixers. Jordan Silk once again trying to pierce the gap. It's a run-out opportunity. Not quite able to strike it, but Jordan Silk would have been out if that one had hit the stumps for Bo Webster there. That could have been the chance that they needed to change this game, change the momentum. 87% chance of the Sydney Sixers winning from here on out. 16 runs needed for Josh Philippe to get us 100. 22 runs left on the board. Can he bring up the 100? Ladies and gentlemen, Bo Webster, if he had hit the stumps, he would have been gone from a long way. Do you watch the IPL? I do try and watch as much of it as I can. Big full toss there from Andre Russell. And once again, Philippe will get off strike. And Jordan Silk will have the last 2 balls possibly of this first over of the power surge. Now, for the power surge of the Melbourne Stars, they were able to bring up, I think it was 28 or 29 runs. Whereas the Sydney Sixers so far, it's been relatively quiet for them. They've been able to get the 7 off their first few deliveries of Andre Russell, who has still got another over in hand after this one. But yeah, I do try my best to watch a little bit of the IPL. I'm hoping to watch a little bit more of it this year than I did get to see for the last year's one, or I guess you could say next year. Oh, Case Ahmed there, stuck on the ground there. Just wasn't quite able to throw that ball in. He was getting told to throw it there. I don't believe, yes, they did end up getting through there. And Max, I was saying there, he was keen to bowl in the power surge, but then decided against it in the end. But Case Ahmed, it did end up falling just safe. And then from there, he just didn't quite throw it to the right end. Glenn Maxwell is the only Aussie that still has a contract over there. All other Aussies didn't get a contract. Do you know who the new teams have signed yet? Xavier Brown, do let me know, because I know that a few of them are allowed to kind of get the first pick options, aren't they, of the table, I guess you could say. So he's played that well. Josh Philippe, it could have ended up in a stance, but instead now that will be the end of the over, and it is 161 for 3. Now only requiring the 17 runs off the last 2 overs here for them to be able to get the win. And also the other factor is they've still got 1 more over of their power surge to be able to get the job done. So Andre Russell, he's not too happy with that one, going for a total of 12 off that first power surge over. Philippe was up for that one as well, was the Yorker, and Philippe was able to get that one extremely nicely as well. He's 11 away from his century. He's going to be extremely close by the looks of it, but he might miss out depending on how it goes. Kale Rahul and Shreyas Iyer will captain the 2 new teams as well. says it was Siddhartha. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how those two guys go as the captains. I feel like KL Rahul, he is certainly a good player when he is at the top of the order. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. And who do you think will win this at the end of the game as well, says Andre? I feel like from the start of the innings, I said the Sydney Sixers, and I am going to stick with them throughout this one as well. There are a 91% chance of it being able to win this game. James Vince at the moment, he has got 98 not out. That is the highest score for a Sydney Sixers batsman. At the moment, if he gets himself up onto 97, Josh Philippe, he will be up there in second as well. And also, we have got their Stars will win this game. Go Sydney as well. Or had the Stars to win this game as well, says Victor. And also, we have got their please go for Stars. Cheers for them. My family is cheering them. Come on, Stars as well in the chat as well. And now it is going to be what to wait on the league side. Once again, Silk finds a bit of a gap. It's going to be cut off there by Courtenay in the deep, though. And go Stars as well, says Iron's World there. At the moment, 15 runs required here for the Sydney Sixers off 11 balls. We have got there go Sixers as well. Right, I'm back. Someone had to go at me on Big R stream and I had to deal with the gentleman as well. Says I mentioned there in the chat. And also told you about the stats, told you about the stats above Hamish as well. Says Robert there in the chat. And also we have got there go Stars as well. One moment, I will try and find that one, Robert. That's well for Henriquez, was it? Who is leading the golden cap at the moment. It is going to be nicely struck there by Jordan Silk straight out to the man at deep mid-wicket. And once again, it is just going to be the single, nicely bowled by Courtenay. This is going to be so important that they come out of this over without another boundary. Because if they have a boundary off this one, then you're pretty much a runner ball. The rest go Stars as well. And the chat there as well. At the moment, Jordan Silk sitting on 19 off 15. He's at the non-strikers end. Philippe, 89 off 57. Like I mentioned, the highest score ever for the Sydney Sixers. 98 not out for James Vince. I believe that was last season, if I'm not wrong. Philippe hits it down the leg side. It is well done there by Joe. It's going to be called a wide, actually. I thought Philippe was able to get a little bit something on that, but it is going to be instead called as the wide against them there. And also we have got there go Stars in the chat from Ian's World there in the chat as well. He is going for the Stars in this situation. Who is going to be able to close out this last over? That's the thing. This is the last over of the power surge. 2 wides, though, is certainly not what they would have been wanting there. But the Sixers, they need 12 more runs off 10 balls for them to be able to get themselves the win here. 166, they are sitting on only 3 down as well. That's a shot down the ground from Silk. He hasn't got all of it, but it is going to be going into the gap. Bo Webster cuts it off in the deep for himself. I just feel bad that Maxwell has to carry his team and still loses as well, says Brandon Hill. Yeah, it's going to be rough that he will be missing out on a victory here, unless, of course, they can somehow get themselves a massive wicket here. And also we have got there, again, Luru as well as Etaha in the chat as well. Philippe sitting on 89 off 57 deliveries. And also Maxwell century is a waste as well, says again Leroux. Although, to be fair, it's still on the leaderboard, mate. And, of course, I know as yourself, you will love yourself a leaderboard. And, I mean, Glenn Maxwell now at the top, or in the 5th place position. He has put himself on there, the only other man to do that so far this year, Colin Munro. And also Mitch Marsh. Nicely fielded in the deep for Elton Cartwright and Sixers for the win. Come on as well. Says it was Andre there. And also we have got there. So it looks like my mum or my love life will happen before the end of the next year as well. And the Sixers will win. I've won all or nothing Hamish as well. Says Aiden there in the chat. Currently sitting 8 from 8 runs. Or 8 from 8 balls, I should say, as well. With just a few good twos coming their way. Seems to be that they're just ticking over quite nicely here for them as well. And at the moment, 89 of 57. I don't think Philippe will be able to get himself the 100, unfortunately. So he will be just missing out. And it will be Glenn Maxwell who will have the highest score in this game as well. Other than him, though, with the way the live ladder is sitting, with that extra bash boost point, they are sitting on 8 points here for the Sydney Sixers. So with them winning this one, they will go to top of the table, back where they were for most of the last season of the BBL for BBL 10. But we're up to game 13, ladies and gentlemen. We have still got another almost 50 games. We've got 48 left of this one as well for the BBL season, including finals games that are coming up near the end of January. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe now. It is going to be Jordan Silk making his way onto strike once again, whipping it on the leg side. That's going to be nicely delivered, but it is just a single there. And Elton Cartwright able to cut it off, still needing 7 from 7 balls. The power surge hasn't been as expensive as it was for the Melbourne Stars, but Philippe is now on strike here. As if you were Maxwell, who would bowl the last over as well. Oh, that's a tough one. They've used Adam Zampa already. Does Glenn Maxwell bowl himself? He's gone for 10 and over. It's a tough one. Brody Couch. I would actually probably give it to the youngster Brody Couch Even though Andre Russell was there going at 8 and over, I'd probably give it to Brodie Couch just because he has been able to pick up a wicket. And it's going to be tough. If they're only defending 7 off the 4, if they're only defending less than 7 off the final over, I don't think it will make a huge difference for who they decide to go. Definitely if Nathan Cotonal goes for a boundary. He's actually gone for 42 runs so far today for him as well. Going to be whipped away to the leg side there. Cut off nicely, and that is going to be 6 runs needed now off the final over of the match for the Sydney Sixers to get that one. And if you are 6, why don't you take his place as well, says Paddy Wiggin there. It was Gan Leroux there, but at the moment, Philippe is sitting on 90 of 58 deliveries. For him to be able to bring up his 100, he needs to get himself a 4, and then it will be another 6 would get him the 100 here for him. But if he brings up 2 boundaries, 2 in a row, that would end up bringing him to the same total as James Vince did for a couple BBLs ago as well. Also, we have got there in the chat, Maxwell hit only blind shot as well. And also, we've got to agree, Paddy, how will he go if he replaces Maxwell as well? I feel like we would hear a lot of quacking. That is for sure. At the moment, it is going to be Case Ahmed who gets the final over. That is going to be a big call for the Melbourne Stars here. Sydney Sixers, they need 6 runs to win. Feel like it's very risky, but maybe you're trying to play that little bit of the stumping game as well. And also today, Maxwell fell lot today, he know as well. So he hit mad and blind shots as well, says again Leroux. I mean, if he didn't hit the mad blind shots, as you call them, though, they wouldn't have got into 150. So it was probably one of those interesting ones. Quacking little lady at the park with some bread as well, says Braden there. And the chat now it's going to be Case Ahmed. Bowls it a little bit down the leg side. It's going to be lofted here from Josh Philippe. It's not quite falling safe. And it is going to be the relay. They will get back for the 2 runs. Almost a chance for Case Ahmed to be able to pick up the wicket of Josh Philippe. He moves up onto 92 now. And like they're saying, if Josh Philippe gets himself the 2 runs here, and then he hits a 6, he will be able to go all the way. And also, what's a blind shot as well? Says Ali. I think he's just doing a little bit of the, kind of close your eyes, hit and hope kind of thing. It's going to be hit down the ground from Josh Philippe. Do they get back for 2? They just take the single there. So Philippe, he will be at the non-strikers end here as well. And Philippe is an excellent player as well, says it again, Leroux. And that's it as well. At the moment, he's sitting on 93 off 60 deliveries. Won't quite get to what Maxwell was on for his innings, but 24 for Silk and 18 balls he has faced. But he is going to be getting these last couple as well for himself, unfortunately. Case Ahmed now trying to set the field. All they need to do, really, is just end up really stopping the Sydney Sixers from hitting a boundary. They want to try and build up that pressure. If they get a wicket right now for Case Ahmed, perhaps it changes the outset of the game. It's hit down the ground, and it is just going to be the single air as well. Could we see a super over? Ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be Josh Philippe, who is now on strike, sitting on 93 off 60. He's dropped his bat there for Philippe as well. But now Tom Curran at the moment just having a chat on the sideline with a couple other injured players, Stephen O'Keefe and Chris Jordan. They didn't look like they were going too well, unfortunately, in terms of the injuries picked up. Philippe hits big. That's going to be 6 runs. That's going to be 99 not out for Josh Philippe there. He wins the game for them, and that is the biggest amount that they have been able to get themselves for the side of the Sydney Sixers. In terms of an individual play, he moves up there 1 run above a James Vince, and that is going to be the win for the Sydney Sixers. They win it by 7 wickets, 2 balls left. I have no clue what blind shot is as well, says Kevin Domas there, but Sydney Sixers win by 7 wickets, and I believe James Philippe might have just been able to get himself that golden cap. Now, he did go through some pretty tough times because he did get smacked in the side of the head with that ball earlier on. At the moment, Josh Philippe, what a shot that is, just smacks it down the ground all the way for 6. And I feel like he has gone on the way that he did start. What a game this was as well, says Paddy Wagon. Also, Philippe missed the century by 1 low as well, says Prestige. Yeah, extremely close for him to be able to get it going, but unfortunately for him, just missing out by half an inch for Josh Philippe there as well. They might be on something, not sure as well, says Paddy Wagon there in the chat. But nonetheless, we will have a quick look and see how it is sitting in terms of the leading run scorers in this competition. But the Sydney Sixers, they will overtake the Perth Scorchers, and they will be sitting on 11 runs now as well. And also, someone actually predicted that he was going to get a century as well, says Prestige there. I believe it was Aiden said that he was going to be able to get himself up to 100. Very close for him in that regard, but they were able to get the win there for the Sydney Sixers. Aiden did as well, says Robert there and in the chat as well. But I'm going to see whether or not we can see who is sitting the top in terms of the players for the stats so far. And at this BBL, normally it's quite easy to find the stats, but it seems like this does not like me at the moment. And also we've got that Trent Bolt versus Tim Sally, which is overall best bowler and all formats for Black Caps as well Well, that's a tough one. That is a very tough one because both of them have their own individual skills, and also one of them's right-hander, one of them's left-hander. So I feel like having both of them is like just a complete package, I guess you could say, in that regard. But at the moment, K-Sami, he'll be a little bit disappointed going for the 6 of the final one, and game came down to the wire. Very entertaining game. Cheers for the stream, Hamish, and everyone watching as well. Says Sebastian there, but nonetheless, we have got ourselves an exciting bit of times in the future because the Ashes are just around the corner, and we will be covering it on the channel as well. So I do thank you all very much for tuning in. Anyone who does want to know the Ashes schedule in terms of when all of the matches are taking place, it is going to be the 16th of December through to the 20th, and that is going to be the day-night test. Those times are in New Zealand time as well, for anyone who is wondering. Australia taking on England in the second one. Then the third game, the Boxing Day test match, Australia taking on England. That is back to a normal hour for us here in New Zealand in terms of the just day test match, I guess you could say. And then also the 5th to the 9th, that game is going to be at the SCG, followed by a game at Hobart to close out the Ashes series as well. But this is the table before the game did take place. And now the Sixers, they receive the full 4 points available, and they will shoot up here into first place now. So they have done very nicely for themselves there to be able to take that first place position back. And Josh Philippe, 99 not out after 61 deliveries, 11 fours, 2 sixes as well. So it was very close to him being able to go all the way. Hamish, cheers for the commentary, you legend as well, says Braden there, and have a good one. Back at you, mate. And I do hope to see you a little bit later on. Thank you, Hamish. See you for the Ashes as well. Thanks, Hamish, as always. Sees it coding as well. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning into this live stream. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. By the time we get to the next live stream of the BBL, I'll have all of the stats in terms of the leading run scorers, leading wicket takers as well. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all for the next one.